In a fantastical realm teeming with formidable sects and powerful beings, Xiao Wuji finds himself reborn as a constable in the town of 7 heroes. The pursuit of eternal life proves exceedingly difficult, compelling Xiao Wuji to siphon the lifespans of others. Whether one is the leader of the martial arts world or of the imperial court, should they stand against him, their vitality will inevitably become his own. Awakening abruptly, Xiao Wuji rises from a coffin, bewildered by his circumstances. Had he perished? As the realization dawns that he lies within a corpse, a cold sweat breaks out upon him. This body is not his own. Clad in azure garments and black boots, it is evident that these are not his usual attire. Formerly a mere web novelist, he now inhabits a robust physique, characterized by iron-like bones and well-defined muscles, a testament to rigorous physical training. Had he traversed realms, or was it a soul transference? In that instant, an unfamiliar set of memories floods his mind. The constable Xiao Wuji from 7 Heroes Town. This is my identity. Surveying his surroundings, he discovers himself in a modest funeral hall. Though he has died, he is not entirely gone. A bitter smile crosses his face. Who would have imagined that he would inhabit a corpse? According to his memories, the original owner succumbed to sudden illness. Yet, Xiao Wuji senses that the cause of death is far more complicated. In the prime of life and a seasoned martial artist, how could he have perished without any warning? Lost in thought, a wave of dizziness engulfs him. A spectral tome materializes before him, inscribed with the title The Sutra of Longevity. The Sutra of Longevity? Believing it to be a mere figment born of his frail state, he watches as the tome opens of its own accord, revealing lines of text. Name, Xiao Wuji. Realm, postnatal level 1. Martial arts, 13 guardians cross-training, level 1. Lifespan, 5. What does a lifespan of 5 signify? 5 years, 5 months, or merely 5 days? Just then, the number shifts to 4. Could it be 4 hours? A chill runs down Xiao Wuji's spine, realizing that he has barely arrived in this new existence only to face imminent death once more. At that moment, a commotion arises nearby. Hastily, he reclines back into the coffin, feigning death. A middle-aged man dressed in casual attire enters the hall, gazing upon Xiao Wuji's lifeless form. This man, Zhang Ergu, is a subordinate of the original body's former station. When the tree falls, the monkeys scatter, following Xiao Wuji's death. None of his former flatterers have come to pay their respects. Yet, Zhang Ergu appears to be a man of loyalty. Lying within the coffin, Xiao Wuji muses on this. Would sitting up suddenly frighten Zhang Ergu? As Zhang Ergu inspects the pallid figure in the coffin, a ruthless expression crosses his face. Lord Xiao, do not blame me. Blame your own straightforwardness. Of all the people to offend, you chose the young master of the Qixia sect. I had no choice but to poison your soup. Dying from poisoning is preferable to having one's body desecrated. In your next life, remember to be more discerning to avoid a tragic fate. Clenching his fists within the coffin, Xiao Wuji feels a surge of resolve. It turns out that this despicable wretch poisoned his broth. How foolish of him to think that Zhang Ergu was a man of deep loyalty. But who, pray tell, is the young master of the Qixia sect that Zhang Ergu spoke of? Xiao Wuji briefly perused the memories of his predecessor. 3 days prior, Xiao Wuji had encountered several disciples of the Qixia sect bullying a tea-selling woman at a tea stand. Unable to bear the sight, he intervened, unwittingly inviting calamity upon himself. Among the assailants was the young master of the Qixia sect, who, fearing the consequences of attacking an official in broad daylight, covertly issued a bounty for Xiao Wuji's life. Upon learning of this, the head constable Wu Sheng harbored murderous intent towards Xiao Wuji to curry favor with the Qixia sect. Under Wu Sheng's instruction, the lackey Zhang Ergu poisoned Xiao Wuji's broth. The original host succumbed to the poison, and thus, another Xiao Wuji traversed into this realm, a resurrection of sorts. Upon uncovering the truth, a surge of righteous fury coursed through Xiao Wuji's veins, igniting a tempest of emotions within him. Zhang Ergu, you are doomed. Wu Sheng, you are doomed. Qixia sect, you are doomed. The more anger he felt, the more composed he became. As Zhang Ergu turned away, the deceased Xiao Wuji silently rose, fixating his gaze on Zhang Ergu. In the next instant, a large hand shot forth like lightning, covering Zhang Ergu's mouth. Zhang Ergu's pupils dilated, terror flooding over him like a tide. Then, Xiao Wuji's voice echoed in his ear. Surprised, are you? What a delightful shock it must be to awaken from the grave. Hearing Xiao Wuji's voice, Zhang Ergu struggled desperately, unable to comprehend how Xiao Wuji, whom he believed he had poisoned to death, could still be alive. If Xiao Wuji lived, then his own demise was imminent. Whimpering, Zhang Ergu pleaded for mercy, invoking thoughts of his elderly mother and his 3-year-old child. He did not wish to die. Xiao Wuji was a martial artist of the acquired realm, while Zhang Ergu was merely a common lackey, having only practiced rudimentary techniques, far from being Xiao Wuji's match. It was Wu Sheng who compelled me to do this. Spare me. Xiao Wuji effortlessly snapped Zhang Ergu's neck. In the next life, strive to be a better person. Zhang Ergu crumpled to the ground, lifeless. At the very moment of his passing, a line of text materialized in the Longevity Sutra, eliminated the lackey Zhang Ergu, gaining his remaining lifespan of 11 years. Upon reading the inscription, Xiao Wuji's eyes gleamed. He could acquire the remaining lifespan of his foes through their demise. In the next instant, he noticed his own lifespan extend by 11 years. Zhang Ergu's total lifespan was 41 years, at 30 years old. He had 11 years left to live. After Xiao Wuji's act of retribution, those 11 years transferred to him. In this era, the average lifespan of common folk was merely 30 to 40 years. However, martial artists were different. Those at the pinnacle of the acquired realm could live to be a century old, and those who broke through to the innate realm could easily surpass 500 years. It was said that the powerful eunuch, Lord Xiao, lived for 9,000 years, while the emperor of the great Jing dynasty was hailed as eternal by all under heaven. Gazing upon the lifeless body of Zhang Ergu, Xiao Wuji slowly exhaled a breath. The world of martial arts is fraught with peril. The original soul was a promising constable from Qixia Town, yet met his demise at the hands of a mere petty figure like Zhang Ergu. At this moment, although his lifespan had been extended to 11 years, the threat still loomed large. Zhang Ergu lacked the audacity to independently poison a constable. Behind him was the instigation of Captain Wu Sheng. The relationship between the original soul and Wu Sheng was far from amicable, and it had come to light that Wu Sheng had intricate ties to various factions within the martial world. A protective umbrella? Collusion between officials and bandits? Xiao Wuji furrowed his brow, recognizing that Wu Sheng, a practitioner of the 7th level of acquired strength, would not be easily dealt with. Should Wu Sheng discover that he had survived, he would undoubtedly resort to every means at his disposal to eliminate him. His gaze fell upon the Longevity Sutra. System. Grant me enhancement. With a focused thought, Xiao Wuji unhesitatingly channeled 10 years of life essence into the 13 Bodhisattvas horizontal training technique. Chapter 2. Max level 13 Bodhisattvas horizontal training technique. The pages of the sutra began to flutter before Xiao Wuji's eyes. Lines of text emerged from the Longevity Sutra. Infusing 10 years of lifespan. Commencing cultivation of the 13 Bodhisattvas horizontal training technique. 13 Bodhisattvas horizontal training technique breaks through the 3rd layer. Dragon, elephant strength. 13 Bodhisattvas horizontal training technique breaks through the 6th layer. Jade bone, indestructibility. 13 Bodhisattvas horizontal training technique breaks through the 9th layer. Blood like flowing juice. Achieving the pinnacle of the 9th layer. In an instant, Xiao Wuji felt as if he had diligently practiced the 13 Bodhisattvas horizontal training technique for a decade. A surge of formidable power erupted within him, permeating every sinew and bone. His complexion shifted to a mottled hue as he expelled a mouthful of foul, toxic blood. The poison administered by Zhang Ergu was finally expelled. After this purging, Xiao Wuji felt as though he had been reborn. An overwhelming sense of ease enveloped him, and even his breathing became remarkably smoother. His previously pallid visage transformed, taking on a more appealing hue. Gradually, Xiao Wuji clenched his fist, feeling a tremendous force coursing through his being, as if a single punch could fell a ferocious tiger. His martial arts realm in the Longevity Sutra had ascended to the 2nd level of acquired strength. Experiencing the power of this newfound level, Xiao Wuji was filled with elation. The original soul had toiled for 2.5 years to attain the threshold of acquired strength. Yet, Xiao Wuji, having just traversed into this realm, had, with the aid of the Longevity Sutra, ascended to the 2nd level in mere breaths. His progress was akin to being propelled by a rocket. This rapid advancement was, in part, thanks to the decade of lifespan gifted by Zhang Ergu. Otherwise, he would not have so swiftly elevated the 13 Bodhisattvas horizontal training technique to its 9th layer pinnacle. The notion that one could seize lifespan through murder, how reminiscent of those in the demonic path. Xiao Wuji mused. Theoretically, as long as he continued to kill, he could acquire boundless years. Zhang Ergu's treachery had indeed sealed his fate. However, Xiao Wuji felt no inner turmoil at the prospect of ending Zhang Ergu's life. Yet, he could not indulge in indiscriminate slaughter of innocents. Furthermore, the lifespans of common folk were fleeting. Individuals like Zhang Ergu who reached the age of 40 were indeed rare. In contrast, martial artists could live for over a century. The demise of a single martial artist outweighed that of 10 Zhang Ergus. After a while, a cacophony erupted from outside. Captain Wu Sheng entered the morning hall, accompanied by several constables. Moments ago, there seemed to be some commotion in the morning hall. Could it be a resurrection? Quick look. Xiao Wuji's body has vanished. How could this be? Is it possible for a corpse to rise and flee on its own? When Wu Sheng discovered that Xiao Wuji's body was indeed missing, his expression shifted dramatically. The corpse that should have been lying in the coffin had mysteriously disappeared. replaced by Zhang Ergu. Captain, Zhang Ergu is dead. What? Wu Sheng was taken aback, for it was Xiao Wuji who had been dead, not Zhang Ergu. He had been perfectly alive until now. Who could have killed him and placed him in the coffin? Could it be the vengeful spirit of Xiao Wuji returning to claim retribution? At that moment, Xiao Wuji's voice suddenly echoed. Captain Wu, were you looking for me? Startled by the sound, Wu Sheng turned sharply, only to behold Xiao Wuji, who should have succumbed to poison, standing before him in good health. Xiao Wuji, I thought you were dead. Are you a man or a ghost? Wu Sheng stood frozen in disbelief, his gaze fixed on him. Thanks to you, Captain Wu. I have recovered from my ailment. Xiao Wuji replied with an air of calm. Wu Sheng's eyelids twitched. He alone knew that Xiao Wuji had never been ill. He had died from poisoning. Did he possess an antidote? And what of Zhang Ergu? Wu Sheng inquired darkly. It seemed he had underestimated Xiao Wuji's resilience. Even after Zhang Ergu had administered half a pound of arsenic in his soup, it had failed to bring about his demise. He accidentally fell and broke his neck, thus meeting his end, Xiao Wuji stated nonchalantly, confident that Wu Sheng would not dare confront him directly. Otherwise, Wu Sheng would not have covertly instructed Zhang Ergu to poison him in a bid to eliminate him subtly. What an absurd jest. Veins bulged on Wu Sheng's forehead. Every word of Xiao Wuji's incredulous to him. To fall and break one's neck? How audacious. You dare to deceive me. You are the one who killed Zhang Ergu, aren't you? Wu Sheng's voice was stern and accusatory as he confronted Xiao Wuji. Why would I kill Zhang Ergu? Xiao Wuji retorted with a smirk that was neither one of humor nor hostility. Because Zhang Ergu poisoned you. Wu Sheng began, but abruptly silenced himself as he realized his own implication. It was he who had ordered Zhang Ergu to administer the poison. To voice it openly would be tantamount to confessing to the act of poisoning. He recognized that Xiao Wuji was surely aware of the poisoning, but fortunately, Zhang Ergu was dead and could not testify. If he insisted on investigating the cause of Zhang Ergu's death, he feared it would only ignite his own peril. The thought of Xiao Wuji seeking vengeance against him sent a chill through his bones. With his expression shifting between hope and despair, Wu Sheng commanded, remove Zhang Ergu's body. Zhang Ergu was merely a lowly functionary in the office, an occasional worker at best. Unlike him, the esteemed red-clad captain, who was a permanent fixture, the deaths of such underlings would scarcely garner attention. Wait, just as they were about to take Zhang Ergu's body, Xiao Wuji interjected. What are you planning, Xiao Wuji? Wu Sheng furrowed his brow. Zhang Ergu is indeed my dear brother and beloved friend. Thus, I took it upon myself to collect the compensation for him. Xiao Wuji wore an expression of utter nonchalance. Wu Sheng fell silent for a moment, uttering a soft good, before departing the morning hall with several constables. Damn it, how could Xiao Wuji be so resilient, surviving even the poison? Upon returning to the yamen, Wu Sheng poured himself a cup of tea, his countenance dark as thunder. His desire to eliminate Xiao Wuji stemmed not only from his connection to the young master of the Qixia sect, but also from a more pressing concern. Xiao Wuji had uncovered Wu Sheng's collusion with the Iron Palm Gang, a breach of his interests. Thus, only with Xiao Wuji's demise could he find peace. Yet, Wu Sheng had not anticipated that Xiao Wuji would miraculously recover. Should Xiao Wuji discover the unsavory dealings between the Iron Palm Gang and himself, he would find himself in dire peril, with even multiple heads insufficient to save him. Therefore, Xiao Wuji must perish. However, Wu Sheng needed to distance himself. If the six doors were to uncover his connections with the underworld, he too would face death. Furthermore, given Xiao Wuji's narrow escape, he would undoubtedly be more vigilant, making it all the more challenging to eliminate him in the future. Captain Wu, I hear that Xiao Wuji is currently investigating a case involving a flower thief, remarked a middle-aged man resembling a secretary beside Wu Sheng. If Xiao Wuji were to fall at the hands of the flower thief Chen Li, it would be splendid. Secretary Song of the Yamen had routinely accepted bribes from the Iron Palm Gang and was already in cahoots with Wu Sheng. Upon hearing this, Wu Sheng's eyes suddenly gleamed with excitement. Once Xiao Wuji was dead, he could rest easy. As night fell, Chen Li, who had just scaled the wall from the home of Wang Yuanwei, was about to flee the scene when he was intercepted by Wu Sheng, who had been waiting for some time. You possess remarkable skills. Assist me in eliminating a target. Chen Li fixed a wary gaze upon Wu Sheng, aware that the latter, being a formidable opponent, could dispatch him as easily as one would slaughter a dog. Who does the master wish to kill? The Qingyi constable of Qixia Town, Xiao Wuji. Who? Chen Li's expression shifted dramatically. Is the master unaware that attacking a constable is a grave crime, punishable by the extermination of 3 generations? The price must be increased. Chapter 3. The Flower Thief. The following day, as Xiao Wuji stepped into the yamen of Qixia Town, he was met with news of a reported incident. Lord Xiao, individuals from Litsuan courtyard have come to report. They say a note left by the flower thief, Chen Li, has appeared in Miss Rian's chamber and request your presence. An officer approached with the tidings. About half a month ago, the flower thief Chun-Li, who was wanted by the Six Doors, had roamed Qixia Town, preying upon many virtuous women. Xiao Wuji had been assigned to investigate the flower thief. However, this rogue was adept in lightness techniques and disguise, managing to evade capture time and again. This time, Chun-Li had set his sights on the courtesan Rian of Lizuan courtyard. What puzzled Xiao Wuji was why the flower thief, having already infiltrated Miss Rian's chamber, would merely leave a note. A sense of unease stirred within him. Sensing that something was amiss, lead the way to Lizuan courtyard, Xiao Wuji commanded. Only by visiting Lizuan courtyard shall we uncover the true intentions behind this ruse. Approximately half an hour later, a bustling brothel appeared before Xiao Wuji, its entrance adorned with the sign of Lizuan courtyard. The women upstairs, clad in light garments, beckoned to patrons with their delicate arms. Is this truly the ancient brothel? It appeared quite akin to the imagination. Xiao Wuji strode into Lizuan courtyard with unwavering focus. He was here to investigate a case, not to indulge in revelry. Lord Xiao has arrived, exclaimed the patrons. Is that really the esteemed Lord Xiao? What a handsome figure. If only I could share a night with him, I would gladly pay for the privilege. Such fanciful thinking. How could Lord Xiao ever be interested in mere commoners like you? Indeed, only the enchanting Miss Rian is worthy of a man of such caliber. Look, Lord Xiao has entered Miss Rian's chamber. Who would have thought even Lord Xiao would succumb to the charms of Miss Rian? Truly, even heroes falter before beauty. Just then, a clever-looking young servant approached. Lord Xiao, Miss Rian is awaiting you upstairs, the servant said eagerly upon spotting Xiao Wuji, who nodded in acknowledgement. Did you see how the flower thief entered? He inquired. The servant shook his head in confusion. The throngs within Lizuan courtyard had paid little attention. Chun-Li was adept at disguise. As long as he masqueraded as a guest, he would go unnoticed. What is Miss Rian's condition? Xiao Wuji asked. Miss Rian was startled and remains in her room, refusing to see anyone but you, the servant reported regarding her situation. Thus far, nothing appeared amiss. The most curious aspect was why Chun-Li had deliberately left a note, seemingly intent on drawing attention, which was uncharacteristic of his usual methods. With this thought, Xiao Wuji remained vigilant. By the way, what is your name? He asked. The servant paused, taken aback that Lord Xiao would inquire about him. I am called Xiao Bao. He replied. Xiao Wuji nodded and ascended to the second floor of Lizuan courtyard. Under the watchful eyes of many, he approached a room, his waist adorned with a short dagger, before pushing the door open. Bang! The sound of the door startled Miss Rian, causing her delicate figure to tremble. Upon seeing the officer in blue attire, Xiao Wuji, she relaxed slightly. Lord Xiao, she breathed, her voice fragrant as orchids. Xiao Wuji, his expression impassive, surveyed the captivating Miss Rian before him. As the star of Lizuan courtyard, her beauty was indeed exceptional, her features exquisite, her brows and eyes painted like a masterpiece. With a slender waist that could be grasped with ease and a form that was both graceful and alluring, she stirred the blood. Yet, Xiao Wuji remained remarkably composed, akin to a monk in deep meditation, unmoved by her allure. Where is the note left by the flower thief? He asked directly, his mind solely focused on the investigation. With no thoughts of women, he was destined to solve the case. It is here. The ethereal maiden, Lu Rian, cast a sorrowful glance at Xiao Wuji before retrieving the note left by the flower thief. Upon closer inspection, Xiao Wuji noticed the haphazardly scrawled characters on the paper. At midnight tonight, come to claim Lu Rian's virtue. Chun-Li, my lord, do you have any questions? Lu Rian inquired, observing Xiao Wuji's prolonged gaze upon the note with growing curiosity. He slowly shook his head. The handwriting was indeed atrocious. Chun-Li, the notorious flower thief, was a scoundrel of the underworld, certainly incapable of crafting elegant script like a scholar. Lu Rian, have you ever encountered the flower thief? Xiao Wuji laid the note aside and turned to her. No, I only discovered this note left by him, Lu Rian replied, a look of fear creeping onto her delicate features. Rumor had it that the flower thief possessed remarkable agility, which was hardly surprising. Had he been slow, he would have been apprehended and beaten to death by his victims long ago. For Chun-Li, infiltrating the Lizuan courtyard was no daunting task, and leaving a note was equally effortless. What was perplexing was his restraint in not assaulting Lu Rian. According to the records of the Six Gates, Chun-Li was a lecherous fiend. How could he possibly resist such a beautiful woman? It was illogical. At that moment, Lu Rian closed the door. My lord, I am so frightened. You will protect me, won't you? Her vulnerable demeanor stirred a man's instinct to protect. A delicate fragrance enveloped the air as Lu Rian gently leaned into Xiao Wuji's embrace, as if she were weightless, her supple form appearing as though a gentle push would send her sprawling onto the embroidered bed. Xiao Wuji's gaze remained clear as he beheld the alluring Lu Rian, a smile gracing his lips. Of course, he replied. My lord, Lu Rian called out in a voice laced with emotion. Suddenly, a hand of iron clasped her shoulder. Lu Rian felt an overwhelming weight, pinned firmly in place by Xiao Wuji. In the next instant, the chilling sound of a blade piercing flesh rang out. A wave of murderous intent surged forth. Lu Rian's eyes widened in disbelief. Her face contorted in terror as she glanced down to see a dagger embedded in her abdomen, buried to the hilt. Why? She stared at Xiao Wuji, unable to comprehend why he had suddenly turned so lethal. Without a moment's hesitation, he thrust the dagger into her body 27 times, each strike drawing forth crimson blood. Lu Rian was engulfed in a torrent of blood, her garments rapidly stained with the vivid red. She could hardly fathom that Xiao Wuji would turn against her so ruthlessly, and with such swiftness and ferocity. Shall we continue this charade, Chun-Li? Xiao Wuji's expression remained impassive as he regarded the bloodied Lu Rian before him. After a brief silence, her expression shifted to one of fierce determination, and in a voice that echoed commands, she demanded, "How did you know I am not Lu Rian?" Chapter 4. Slaying Chun-Li. 30 years of lifespan inside the Lichuan courtyard. Chun-Li, having received 27 stabs, was engulfed in a torrent of blood gushing from the gaping wounds, staining his attire crimson. His expression was grotesque, resembling that of a fiend from the depths of hell. As he fixed his gaze on Xiao Wuji with unwavering intensity. "How did you discover me?" Chun-Li pondered in bewilderment. For his art of disguise was unparalleled in the world. How had Xiao Wuji seen through it? If he did not seek clarity, he would not find peace in death. Lu Rian, a courtesan, how could she possess such large feet, and moreover, were men's boots? Xiao Wuji spoke calmly. Chun-Li's countenance shifted, and he cast a glance at his own footwear. It was unexpected that his failure to change shoes had led to his exposure. Yet, he found himself at a loss. His large feet could never fit into Lu Rian's delicate embroidered shoes. He could only conceal the footwear beneath a long skirt, preventing it from being seen. Little did he expect that Xiao Wuji's observational prowess was so acute that he would uncover such a detail. What an astute constable there was in Qixia Town. A flicker of bloodlust ignited in Chun-Li's eyes, and his expression contorted into a mask of sheer ferocity. He swiftly grasped the hidden blade concealed on his person and lunged towards Xiao Wuji with a fierce strike. The life force of a practitioner at the postnatal realm was exceptionally robust. Even after sustaining 27 wounds, Chun-Li still had the strength to retaliate. A rich crimson glow emanated from the blade. Blood fiend blade technique. Excitement flickered in Chun-Li's gaze. However, the anticipated scene of Xiao Wuji being slain in one stroke did not materialize. The strike merely tore through the azure garment that adorned Xiao Wuji, leaving behind a faint trace of blood that vanished in an instant. Chun-Li stood in stunned silence at this sight. His blood fiend blade technique had failed to breach the defenses. As Chun-Li's astonishment deepened, Xiao Wuji moved with lightning speed, seizing the blood fiend long knife with his bare hands, unleashing a formidable force that reverberated outward. Crack! The blade in Chun-Li's grasp shattered into countless fragments, scattering in all directions. 13 bodyguards horizontal training. Witnessing this, Chun-Li's eyes nearly bulged from their sockets. The 13 bodyguards horizontal training was not an esoteric martial art, but rather the most commonplace body tempering technique. The vast majority of martial artists practiced it to refine their flesh and strengthen their bones. Yet, few could truly master the 13 bodyguards horizontal training. The rigorous process of honing one's vital energy was exceedingly tedious and painful, which most could not endure. Thus, there were rarely any martial artists who had cultivated the 13 bodyguards horizontal training beyond the 3rd level, let alone those who reached the pinnacle of the 9th level. Attaining the 9th level required a minimum of 10 years of arduous training. Who would squander a precious decade on such a rudimentary technique? Unless one were somewhat unhinged. Yet today, Chun-Li had encountered someone who had perfected the 13 bodyguards horizontal training to the 9th level. And thus, he faced a tragic fate. Even the most fundamental horizontal training, upon reaching completion, bore considerable power. Chun-Li's blood fiend blade technique lacked the necessary finesse to inflict harm upon Xiao Wuji. Realizing the precariousness of his situation, Chun-Li considered fleeing. However, Xiao Wuji's powerful hand pinned him firmly in place, rendering him unable to utilize his lightness skill. Even if he wished to escape, he could not. It was only at this moment that Chun-Li belatedly realized that Xiao Wuji's strength surpassed even his own. A practitioner of the 3rd layer of postnatal martial arts. Caught in a precarious situation, he pleaded, "Lord Xiao, spare my life. I surrender." No sooner had the words left his lips than Xiao Wuji plunged a dagger into Chun-Li's heart. Chun-Li, having disguised himself as Lu Rian to ambush him, now sought to preserve his life when faced with defeat, but such a fortunate escape was not to be. After elevating the 13 guardians training to the 9th level, Xiao Wuji had but 1 year of lifespan remaining. Without taking lives, where would his longevity come from? Chun Li's eyes widened in disbelief as he coughed up blood. He had intended to feign surrender and launch a surprise attack when Xiao Wuji was off guard. However, he did not anticipate Xiao Wuji's mercilessness. A mere disagreement led to a fatal strike. As the dagger withdrew from his chest, darkness enveloped Chun Li, and he collapsed into a pool of blood. Soon after, words began to materialize from the longevity scripture. Having slain the postnatal third-layer warrior Chun Li, acquired his remaining lifespan of 30 years. Gained the Blood Fiend Blade technique, uninitiated. To Xiao Wuji's surprise, in addition to the lifespan, he also obtained Chun Li's Blood Fiend Blade technique. At 33 years of age, Chun Li had a total lifespan of 63 years, leaving him with 30 years remaining. It was indeed ironic that a notorious libertine could live to 63. Good deeds seldom yield long lives, while calamities linger for millennia. Xiao Wuji exhaled slowly. At that moment, a servant from the Lichuan courtyard burst through the door, his eyes landing on the lifeless Lu Ruyan in Xiao Wuji's embrace. Murder. The servant's face turned pale as he screamed and stumbled away from the room. Xiao Wuji paid him no mind and, after searching the room, discovered Lu Ruyan bound beneath the bed. Upon seeing Xiao Wuji's face, tears streamed down Lu Ruyan's cheeks. You must leave quickly. Someone is trying to kill you. Xiao Wuji's mind stirred, and he inquired, who seeks to end my life? Lu Ruyan shook her head, replying, I only overheard that someone paid him a sum to eliminate you. Indeed, Xiao Wuji sensed something amiss. It was as if Chun Li had foreseen his arrival and had disguised himself as Lu Ruyan to execute a plot against him. Clearly, someone within the authorities was in league with Chun Li to orchestrate his demise. As for the identity of this conspirator, the answer was all too evident. Yet, this individual had acted cautiously, leaving no tangible evidence behind. Nevertheless, Xiao Wuji never required proof to take a life. Knowing who wished him dead sufficed. Do not worry. The libertine has perished, Xiao Wuji remarked nonchalantly. Upon hearing this, Lu Ruyan's expression froze in surprise as she realized that the fallen libertine, Chun Li, had been slain by Xiao Wuji. Lord Xiao, there are still matters at the office. I must take my leave. With that, Xiao Wuji severed Chun Li's head and prepared to take it with him, leaving the corpse to the other officers for disposal. As Lu Ruyan watched Xiao Wuji's retreating figure, she suddenly comprehended. Wait, I am still bound. At the Qixia Town office, a flustered officer hurriedly approached Wu Sheng, exclaiming, Captain Wu, Xiao Wuji has returned. Upon hearing the name of Xiao Wuji, Wu Sheng could not help but furrow his brow. Had Chun Li's assassination attempt failed? What a useless wretch. At that moment, a tall figure appeared before Wu Sheng, a wave of bloodlust enveloping him. Wu Sheng's pupils constricted as he beheld Xiao Wuji entering the yamen, holding Chun Li's severed head in his grasp. Chun Li was dead? Was it Xiao Wuji who had slain him? A heaviness settled in Wu Sheng's heart. How could Xiao Wuji, with his innate strength of merely the first level of postnatal cultivation, have decapitated Chun Li? It was truly preposterous. Captain Wu, I have faithfully fulfilled my duty and executed the notorious flower thief, Chun Li, Xiao Wuji declared. Gazing at Chun Li's lifeless eyes, Wu Sheng felt a weight upon his heart. He had intended to use Chun Li as a pawn to eliminate Xiao Wuji. Yet he found that Xiao Wuji emerged unscathed while Chun Li lay decapitated. Ever since Xiao Wuji's inexplicable resurrection, he seemed transformed, as if he were a different person altogether. Could it be that Xiao Wuji had been possessed and reborn? But how could that be possible? Wu Sheng shook his head, casting aside these distracting thoughts. As long as Xiao Wuji remained under his command, he would have countless opportunities to dispose of him. Open assaults were easily avoided, but covert attacks were far more challenging to defend against. He could not believe that Xiao Wuji could consistently evade peril. Were it not for Wu Sheng's fear of drawing the attention of the six doors, he would have personally eliminated Xiao Wuji long ago. Chun Li was a wanted criminal pursued by the six doors. I shall report this matter to them. You may leave now, Wu Sheng stated with a grim expression, forcing a smile that did not reach his eyes. However, Xiao Wuji did not budge, standing before Wu Sheng with an unwavering gaze. Captain Wu, are you aware that someone heard Chun Li had received payment from a certain individual to plot against me? Xiao Wuji inquired abruptly. Wu Sheng's expression darkened. Was there truly such a matter? Observing Wu Sheng's reaction, Xiao Wuji inwardly scoffed. Old Deng, still playing the fool. It is said that this individual has connections with the yamen. Wu Sheng's countenance shifted, and he barked, Xiao Wuji, what are you trying to imply? How could anyone within the yamen conspire with Chun Li to harm a colleague? That is indeed what the esteemed official has stated, Xiao Wuji replied calmly. Then why are you not leaving? Wu Sheng was eager to be rid of Xiao Wuji's presence. What about the bounty on Chun Li? Wu Sheng scoffed, tossing a bag of silver to Xiao Wuji. Xiao Wuji weighed the silver in his hands, estimating it to be around 200 taels. A satisfied smile graced his handsome face. Thank you, my lord. In martial arts, wealth, Partners, law, and land are paramount. Financial resources always hold the highest priority. Skills, secret manuals, divine weapons, and life-saving elixirs all require silver. The salary of a constable may seem considerable to an ordinary person, yet it is utterly insufficient for a martial artist. Wu Sheng had expended untold sums to reach the 7th level of postnatal cultivation. The funds provided by the Yamen were but a drop in the bucket. Thus, he had resorted to colluding with the Iron Palm Gang, engaging in numerous illicit activities. Should the 6 doors uncover these deeds, Wu Sheng and his entire family would meet a dire fate. Leaving the Yamen, Xiao Wuji retraced his steps home, guided by the memories of his former self. Sitting cross-legged upon a mat of grass, a thought arose, summoning the longevity scripture. Name, Xiao Wuji. Realm, postnatal 2nd layer. Martial arts, 13 Guardians horizontal training, completed. Blood Fiend blade technique, not yet entered. Lifespan, 31 years, after vanquishing Chun-Li. Xiao Wuji's lifespan transformed to 31 years in the longevity scripture. Thus, he resolved to invest a decade to explore the depths of the Blood Fiend blade technique. Longevity scripture. I shall cultivate the Blood Fiend blade technique. In the next moment, words began to materialize upon the scripture. Infusing 10 years of lifespan. Commencing cultivation of Blood Fiend blade technique. Blood Fiend blade technique breaks through the 1st layer, entering the threshold. Blood Fiend blade technique breaks through the 2nd layer. Achieving minor success. Blood Fiend blade technique breaks through the 3rd layer. Initial mastery of Blood Fiend. Lifespan exhausted. Cultivation concluded. Is this the end? Xiao Wuji blinked in disbelief. Previously, when cultivating the 13 Guardians horizontal training, infusing 10 years of lifespan propelled him directly to the 9th layer, the realm of completion. Yet this time, he barely reached the 3rd layer. It appears that the Blood Fiend blade technique is of a higher grade than the 13 Guardians horizontal training, with significantly greater difficulty. Chun-Li had practiced the Blood Fiend blade technique for 3 years and had only scratched the surface. The Blood Fiend blade technique consists of 5 layers of mastery. However, few in the martial world can persistently train in it for decades to attain its highest realm. Another decade. Blood Fiend blade technique. Grant me more. Xiao Wuji resolved to forge ahead and fully master the Blood Fiend blade technique. In doing so, he would possess the strength to contend with warriors of the postnatal 4th layer. Infusing 10 years of lifespan. Commencing cultivation of Blood Fiend blade technique. Blood Fiend blade technique breaks through the 4th layer, achieving greater mastery. Blood Fiend blade technique breaks through the 5th layer, transcending into the ethereal. Your martial arts realm has elevated to postnatal 3rd layer. Upon cultivating the Blood Fiend blade technique to the 5th layer, you captured a hint of insight into the blade technique, but due to insufficient lifespan, you are unable to comprehend a more profound blade technique. 5th layer of the Blood Fiend blade technique, transcending into the ethereal. Xiao Wuji abruptly opened his eyes, and a glimmer of crimson light shimmered within them. The more potent the Blood Fiend aura emanating from a warrior, the more formidable the Blood Fiend blade technique becomes. This aura accumulates through the act of slaying. In simpler terms, the more foes one vanquishes, the stronger the Blood Fiend blade technique grows. It can also be nurtured through battle, becoming increasingly powerful with each kill. Viewed in this light, the Blood Fiend blade technique is exceptionally suited to Xiao Wuji. After breaking through the 5th layer, Xiao Wuji naturally ascended to the postnatal 3rd layer. In the realm of foundational martial artists, the postnatal 3rd layer is already regarded as a formidable expert. For instance, Chun-Li, at the postnatal 3rd layer, has his head valued at 200 taels of silver within the 6 doors. In just 2 days since his arrival, Xiao Wuji had surged to the postnatal 3rd layer in one breath. His growth rate was akin to that of someone with extraordinary luck. Were Wu Sheng to know, he would likely find himself unable to sleep at night. Xiao Wuji clenched his fist, a surge of vibrant energy coursing forth. Having ascended to the postnatal 3rd layer, his strength had more than doubled. He felt capable of striking down the despicable Chun-Li with a single blow. What is the essence of blade technique comprehension? At that moment, Xiao Wuji noticed the final passage of the longevity scripture. After mastering the Blood Fiend blade technique to the 5th level, could he comprehend a new form of blade technique? Gaining insight into such techniques similarly necessitated the infusion of one's lifespan. With merely 11 years of life remaining, he was uncertain whether it would suffice. Ultimately, he resolved to adopt a cautious approach. Should he invest all his remaining lifespan without achieving a more potent blade technique, it would indeed be a grievous loss. Known for his prudent demeanor, Xiao Wuji decided it would be wise to first venture out and eliminate a few nefarious individuals before returning to contemplate the blade technique. However, whom should he target? Wanton slaughter of the innocent was out of the question. He was a constable of Qixia Town, sworn to protect peace, not a practitioner of dark arts. His blade was reserved solely for the scoundrels of the martial world. Outside, the night had completely descended. The moon was high, and the stars were few, with an atmosphere tinged with foreboding. Suddenly, as Xiao Wuji lay upon the straw mat, he opened his eyes, having detected a faint disturbance from outside the courtyard. Though the sound was minimal, it was enough for him to discern that someone had scaled the wall into his yard. The audacity to trespass under the cover of night indicated ill intentions. Silently, Xiao Wuji rose and approached the window, peering through a crack to observe the courtyard. There, he beheld two burly men, their faces etched with menace, leaping over the wall into his domain. Despite their imposing physiques, they moved with remarkable agility, their footsteps silent. Xiao Wuji's gaze darkened, a flash of bloodlust igniting in his eyes. Chapter 6. Two Fated Souls in the Dead of Night. As the wind howled and darkness enveloped the land, two shadowy figures swiftly entered Xiao Wuji's courtyard, advancing stealthily towards a dwelling. Their movements were lithe and their skills apparent, as they traversed without making a sound. Soon, they arrived at the exterior of the room, a glint of malice flickering in their eyes. One of the men drew a small knife and pierced a hole in the paper window. Through this aperture, they saw Xiao Wuji lying with his back to the entrance on a straw mat, blissfully unaware of their intrusion. Now, they exchanged glances and nodded in silent accord. In an instant, they burst through the door, charging into the room like ravenous tigers, brandishing their knives and delivering a flurry of lethal stabs upon the unsuspecting Xiao Wuji. Yet, curiously, no blood gushed forth from his body. Something was amiss. The man squinted, realizing that the figure on the mat was not Xiao Wuji, but rather a straw dummy clad in his clothing. They had fallen into a trap. Cold sweat broke out upon the brow of the man as he understood that Xiao Wuji had outsmarted them. Both men retreated swiftly, seeking to escape. Just then, a chilling voice echoed from behind them. "You think you can come and go as you please?" With those words, a flash of crimson light pierced their vision, and the overwhelming aura of bloodlust surged forth, enveloping them in an instant. "Since you have come, let your lifespan be left behind," echoed the cold voice of Xiao Wuji. In a flash, a blood-red blade gleamed. One of the burly men, with a face etched with ferocity, widened his eyes in terror. Bloodlines manifested upon his body, and before a scream could escape his lips, he was cleaved in two by Xiao Wuji's blade. He collapsed at Xiao Wuji's feet, eyes wide open in death. His expression frozen in a mix of horror and despair, his colorless gaze reflecting the figure of Xiao Wuji. Witnessing this scene, another man felt a chill run down his spine and immediately knelt before Xiao Wuji. "Lord Xiao, spare my life. I have an elderly mother of 80 and a 3-year-old child. I implore you to show mercy." The man, overwhelmed with fear, wept like a 200-pound infant. "Was it Wu Sheng who sent you to assassinate me?" Xiao Wuji inquired. Indeed, if anyone in Qixia Town wished for Xiao Wuji's demise, it would be Wu Sheng. Yet these two men were not dispatched by him. "We are members of the Iron Palm Gang. This is the order of our leader. It has nothing to do with me," the man cried, tears streaming down his face. The Iron Palm Gang is the most formidable faction in Qixia Town. According to the investigations of the original body, Wu Sheng had long conspired with the Iron Palm Gang to engage in illicit dealings. Lacking evidence, the original body chose to investigate discreetly and collect proof of Wu Sheng's collusion with the gang. However, Wu Sheng had already discovered Xiao Wuji's inquiries into him. To the Iron Palm Gang, Xiao Wuji was a thorn in their side, one they wished to eliminate at all costs. Furthermore, the gang sought to curry favor with the Qingqing sect, which is why they sent assassins after him. Yet, they grossly underestimated Xiao Wuji. With a shift in his demeanor, Xiao Wuji declared, "The Iron Palm Gang has dared to attempt the assassination of an official. They have sealed their own fate." "Who are the masters within the Iron Palm Gang?" he asked. The man, unable to conceal the truth, divulged the information about the gang's experts like a bamboo tube pouring out beans. "There are 3 great masters within the Iron Palm Gang, each possessing levels ranging from the 5th to the 7th tier of the acquired realm. Each master oversees their own territory, managing smuggling, human trafficking, gambling houses, and brothels. They are always surrounded by a horde of Iron Palm thugs, rendering them untouchable in Qixia Town. Above these 3 masters stands the gang leader, Duan Feng, who possesses an 8th-tier martial arts realm. In the small town of Qixia, no one can rival him, unless they encounter the divine catchers of the 6 doors. In the realm of the Great Jing, gangs like the Iron Palm Gang are as numerous as fish crossing a river, and the 6 doors cannot manage them all." At that moment, seizing the opportunity while Xiao Wuji was momentarily distracted, the burly man leaped towards the courtyard's exit. In an instant, a slash of bloody blade energy swept through. The next moment, the Iron Palm thug successfully vaulted over the wall and landed outside the courtyard. However, before he could revel in his escape, he felt an unsettling emptiness in his lower half. Looking down, he was horrified to find that his body below the waist had vanished. His upper half lay outside the courtyard while his lower half remained within. He had been cleaved in two. Due to the swiftness of Xiao Wuji's strike, the man felt no pain, meeting his end on the spot. After vanquishing the second-tier martial artist Lu Laosan, Xiao Wuji acquired an additional 7 years of life essence. Similarly, by defeating the second-tier martial artist Li Wang, he gained another 8 years. These two short-lived souls combined only contributed a mere 15 years to his lifespan, as their prowess had been artificially enhanced through the Iron Palm Gang's potent concoctions. Such elixirs might unlock a warrior's latent potential, yet they exact a heavy toll on one's longevity. To the Iron Palm Gang, ordinary members were merely expendable resources. Unexpectedly, Xiao Wuji also acquired the unnamed footwork technique, albeit not yet mastered. Despite the lackluster combat skills of these Iron Palm warriors, their agility was commendable. Having trained in the unnamed footwork, they moved with the grace of a swallow, gliding like the wind. This finesse is what led them to be dispatched on the assassination mission against Xiao Wuji. After disposing of the two corpses, Xiao Wuji returned to his quarters and opened the Longevity Classic to commence his training in the unnamed footwork. Infusing 10 years of life essence into his practice, he soon broke through the first layer, achieving the lightness of a swallow. Progressing further, he surpassed the second layer, mastering the Lingbo Weibu, and then the third layer, attaining Xinxing Baibian. By the 10th year, through diligent practice and profound insights, he created a unique lightness technique known as Fuguang Luiying. In an instant, an overwhelming surge of cultivation experience and enlightenment flooded into Xiao Wuji's being. As if he had genuinely honed his skills over a decade, his movements became ethereal and unpredictable. Suddenly, he opened his eyes, and his figure vanished from the room, only to reappear in the courtyard outside, astonishingly leaving no footprints behind. Fuguang Luiying was indeed an extraordinary footwork technique. Once executed, ordinary martial artists could not even perceive his shadow, let alone detect his fleeting presence. It was an indispensable skill for both acts of vengeance and leisurely travels. After a night of training, the following morning, Xiao Wuji stepped out into the bustling marketplace. He was a man who believed in repaying grievances. Since the Iron Palm Gang had dispatched assassins, they should be prepared for their impending demise. Clad in fine garments and riding a spirited steed, he sought the exhilarating thrill of revenge, embodying the true essence of the martial world. At that moment, a sorrowful wailing echoed through the streets. A young girl, clad in mourning attire, knelt by the roadside, a wooden plaque before her inscribed with the words, "Selling myself to bury my father." Chapter 7. Selling myself to bury my father. Xiao Wuji rubbed his nose, recalling that he had only seen such desperate acts in films. Little did he expect that mere days after his arrival, he would encounter someone on the street engaged in this tragic endeavor. The girl, draped in mourning garments, had reddened eyes and a sorrowful visage. Her delicate features resembled a flawless jade plate, captivatingly beautiful yet heartbreakingly frail, evoking a sense of profound sympathy. At that moment, a crowd had gathered around the girl, pointing and murmuring, "Fellow villager, what is the situation here?" Xiao Wuji approached and gently tapped the shoulder of a middle-aged man nearby, inquiring. A few days ago, the elderly vendor, Zhu Laohan, met a tragic fate at the hands of the Iron Palm Gang, unable to pay their extortionate protection fees. This left his daughter, Zhu Qianqian, in a dire situation. Lacking the funds for her father's burial, she resorted to selling herself to afford a proper send-off. The Iron Palm Gang has grown increasingly brazen, now demanding protection fees every fortnight instead of monthly, leaving many unable to comply. Zhu Laohan merely requested a brief extension from the gang, and for that, he was brutally beaten to death, an abhorrent injustice. Upon hearing of Zhu Laohan's family's plight, the onlookers shook their heads in sorrow, feeling an impotent rage towards the gang. "Has Zhu Laohan's family reported this to the authorities?" inquired Xiao Wuji. The villagers shook their heads, their expressions filled with resignation. What good would that do? The one who killed Zhu Laohan was Hu Jun of the Iron Palm Gang. Who would dare apprehend him? Some had seen Hu Jun entering the home of the local constable, Wu Sheng, laden with gifts, only to emerge inebriated. Even if the Zhu family reported Hu Jun, he would soon be released, and the gang would surely retaliate against them. Hu Jun is one of the 3 most formidable members of the Iron Palm Gang, and his ties with Wu Sheng run deep, as he provides him with a generous monthly stipend. The testimony of Zhu Laohan's family would be insufficient to bring Hu Jun down, and they would face brutal retribution from the gang afterward. Alas, what a cruel fate. "Keep your voice down. We must not alert the Iron Palm Gang," cautioned Xiao Wuji, casting a glance at Zhu Qianqian, who was shedding tears like pearls. The state of the world is truly lamentable. At that moment, a rotund middle-aged man, resembling a prosperous merchant, approached with an air of arrogance. His gaze fell upon Zhu Qianqian, and he was instantly captivated by her beauty. It was Lei Yuanwei, who had recently married his 18th concubine. Did he intend to purchase the young Zhu girl? Upon seeing Zhu Qianqian in mourning attire, a wave of unbidden desires surged within him. The concubines he had taken were mere common beauties compared to her. Everyone in Qixia Town knew that Lei Yuanwei was the epitome of benevolence. How could he stand idly by in the face of such human suffering? He stepped forward, his voice resonating with righteous indignation. A deceased father, an ailing mother, a young sister. Who will help this fragile girl if I do not? He vowed to cover Zhu Leihan's burial expenses, ensuring he would receive a dignified farewell. Zhu Qianqian, upon observing Lei Yuanwei's imposing figure, displayed a flicker of struggle upon her face, yet she found herself with no choice. Just as she resigned herself to her fate, several members of the Iron Palm gang swaggered over, roughly shoving Lei Yuanwei aside. What do you think you're doing? Lei Yuanwei's anger flared. Who were these ruffians to lay hands on him? This is a woman chosen by Hall Master who. Let us see who dares to take her, boasted Wu Lu from the Iron Palm gang, showing blatant disregard for Lei Yuanwei. Upon hearing the name Hu Jun, Mr. Lei chose to heed his heart. Hu Jun, the esteemed leader of the Iron Palm gang, held the favor of Duan Feng, a connection not to be trifled with. Mr. Lei was unwilling to embroil himself in conflict with the Iron Palm gang over a mere woman, and thus he departed in a state of dejection. Witnessing his retreat, the members of the Iron Palm gang erupted into triumphant laughter. The Iron Palm gang reigns supreme in Qixia Town, leader who awaits our return with the captured individuals. Let us hasten our efforts. With a sly grin, Wu Lu waved his hand. 3 burly men seized a burlap sack and approached Zhu Qianqian with menacing smiles. Do not come any closer, Zhu Qianqian exclaimed, panic flaring in her eyes as she attempted to resist, but she was no match for these giants. As the trio lunged towards her, reaching out to seize her and stuff her into the sack, they were met with an unexpected force that surged forth like a tempest. The hulking figures of the Iron Palm gang felt as if they had collided with a galloping steed sent sprawling through the air. To the astonishment of the onlookers, the 3 men tumbled several meters before coming to a halt at Wu Lu's feet. Wu Lu was struck with shock, his expression darkening. How could anyone in Qixia Town dare to assault members of the Iron Palm gang? Who was this audacious newcomer? He lifted his gaze, his eyes narrowing at the young man clad in blue standing not far away. Who dares meddle in the affairs of the Iron Palm gang? Do you wish to court death? No sooner had the words left his mouth than Xiao Wuji vanished, reappearing directly before Wu Lu. Without hesitation, he delivered a fist that sent Wu Lu crashing to the ground. Wu Lu's head buzzed, stars exploding in his vision. Though he was considered a fighter within the Iron Palm gang, he found himself utterly powerless against Xiao Wuji. The latter's speed was so extraordinary that Wu Lu had no time to react. While the blow did not claim Wu Lu's life, it left him gravely injured, rendering him incapable of wielding his martial prowess. Are your eyes blind? Did you not see my official attire? Xiao Wuji chastised, striking Wu Lu's face with a resounding slap. It was then that Wu Lu noticed the blue uniform of the constable adorning Xiao Wuji, sending a chill down his spine. You are Xiao Wuji, Lord Xiao? The only young constable of such formidable strength in Qixia Town could only be him. Wu Lu was drenched in sweat, realizing he had unwittingly crossed paths with a harbinger of doom. Kidnapping a civilian in broad daylight. How brazen, Xiao Wuji remarked, his expression devoid of emotion. It is not my doing, Lord Xiao. It was all Hu Jun's orders. I am merely a pawn in this affair, Wu Lu stammered, trembling in fear. He was merely a lowly underling of Hu Jun, emboldened to bully the common folk, yet he dared not confront the authority of the magistrate. Otherwise, it would cost him his life. Was it you who killed old Zhu? Xiao Wuji inquired. Wu Lu trembled violently, shaking his head in terror. I only struck old man Zhu a few times. It was Hu Tangzhu who kicked him to death. As soon as he finished speaking, Xiao Wuji delivered a swift kick to Wu Lu, who then spewed blood and was launched into the air, lifeless before he even touched the ground. Eliminated the innate second-tier martial artist Wu Lu, gaining his remaining lifespan of 13 years. Regrettably, Wu Lu's demise yielded no martial arts secrets. Witnessing this scene, the men of the Iron Palm gang fell silent, lying on the ground as if dead. At that moment, Zhu Qianqian appeared to make a momentous decision. Kneeling before Xiao Wuji. Please, Sir Xiao, grant justice for this humble girl. Chapter 8. The blade cuts through the spring breeze on the long street. Xiao Wuji gazed at the mourning girl before him and calmly addressed her. If you harbor any grievances, speak swiftly. Zhu Qianqian's eyes brimmed with tears as she bowed gracefully to Xiao Wuji. Originally, she had no intention of reporting to the authorities, for the Iron Palm gang colluded with the local constables. Filing a report would be futile. In a few days, Hu Jun would be released, and the Zhu family would face the gang's wrath. However, Xiao Wuji's appearance ignited a glimmer of hope for justice in Zhu Qianqian's heart. Sir Xiao, upright and noble, with such striking handsomeness, would surely not conspire with the Iron Palm gang. In the current Seven Heroes town, only Xiao Wuji dared to stand up and uphold justice for her. Allow me to report to you, Sir Xiao. 3 days ago, my father, Zhu Hongchuan, was selling noodles on the street when he encountered members of the Iron Palm gang demanding protection fees. Unable to pay, he was brutally beaten and ultimately succumbed to his injuries. Our stall was also destroyed by the gang, led by Hu Jun. Zhu Qianqian's eyes reddened, tears cascading down like pearls. The tragic fate of old man Zhu was not an isolated incident. The Iron Palm gang had long oppressed the common folk. Initially, some had reported their grievances to the authorities, but whenever the constables apprehended gang members, they were released within days. The thugs of the Iron Palm gang faced no consequences, while those who reported them were met with ruthless retaliation, forcing them to flee from Seven Heroes Town. Thus, the Iron Palm gang grew increasingly brazen, even daring to abduct women in the streets, while other constables turned a blind eye. Even when arrests were made, they were swiftly undone by Wu Sheng, and the arresting officers faced reprimands instead. Xiao Wuji's expression darkened. The Iron Palm gang and Wu Sheng had sullied the once pure atmosphere of Seven Heroes Town. It was truly lamentable. Xiao Wuji approached, stepping on the chest of the Iron Palm gang member. "Where's Hu Jun?" The gang member, feigning death, winced in pain and could no longer maintain his charade, hastily replying, "Hu Tangzhu is at Chunfeng Tower." Chunfeng Tower is the finest tavern in Seven Heroes Town, frequently hosting banquets for martial artists by the Iron Palm gang. "Lord Xiao, are you indeed going to Chunfeng Tower to apprehend Hu Jun?" An elderly man, with a face full of concern, remarked, "It is futile. The Iron Palm gang's members were captured one day and released the next. Such actions may even bring harm to the Zhu family's daughter." Upon hearing this, Zhu Qianqian stepped forward, declaring, "Lord Xiao, I fear not. I only wish to restore justice for my father." However, Xiao Wuji was unperturbed, for he knew he would not have the opportunity to emerge unscathed. Summoning several constables, Xiao Wuji had the burly men of the Iron Palm gang taken away, then proceeded alone towards Chunfeng Tower. Before long, news of Xiao Wuji's intent to capture Hu Jun reached Wu Sheng's ears. "What? That scoundrel Xiao Wuji dares to confront Hu Jun at Chunfeng Tower? How audacious!" Wu Sheng's anger flared. Did Xiao Wuji not realize that Hu Jun was the leader of the Iron Palm gang? Such youthful arrogance, believing that mere skill rendered him invincible. Hu Jun was a formidable opponent at the 5th level of cultivation, surrounded by numerous experts from the Iron Palm gang. Xiao Wuji's venture to Chunfeng Tower could result in a grievous encounter. Should he meet his demise at the hands of the Iron Palm gang, it would effectively eliminate a significant threat to Wu Sheng. Indeed, a fortuitous turn of events for him. At Chunfeng Tower, clad in azure robes and with a finely crafted blade at his waist, Xiao Wuji approached. Hu Jun had reserved the entire establishment for a banquet that day, and several members of the Iron Palm gang stood guard below, preventing anyone from disturbing Hu Jun's revelry. As they noticed someone approaching, the gang members immediately blocked Xiao Wuji's path. "The Iron Palm gang is hosting a banquet here. Be gone." In the next instant, the speaking thug was sent flying by a powerful kick, crashing through the entrance of Chunfeng Tower. Witnessing this, the patrons within the establishment rushed out. "Who dares to cause a ruckus at Chunfeng Tower? Seek death," they shouted, indignant at the disturbance to Hu Jun's enjoyment. The Iron Palm gang members drew their weapons. Hurling curses, Xiao Wuji stepped through the doors of Chunfeng Tower, an overwhelming aura of bloodlust washing over him. To assault officers of the law is a crime deserving of death. Upon seeing the azure attire adorning Xiao Wuji, the Iron Palm gang members' pupils dilated in alarm. "My lord, wait. This is a misunderstanding." Had they known an officer had entered, they would not have dared draw their blades, even with 100 lives at stake. Xiao Wuji granted them no opportunity for explanation. A flash of crimson blade light swept through the air, cleaving the first man who dared to draw his weapon in twain. The Iron Palm gang, oppressors of the common folk, had no one among them who was innocent. Xiao Wuji wielded his blade without a hint of remorse. For in this unjust world, he sought to carve out a realm of righteousness. Officers of the law are conducting an investigation. All bystanders, depart at once. His gaze was as frigid as ice. The members of the Iron Palm gang deserved no mercy. The innkeeper and staff of Chunfeng Tower quickly took cover, realizing the gravity of the situation, fearing that he might be mistaken for a member of the Iron Palm gang and be struck down. A burly man from the gang awkwardly spoke up. "My lord, our leader, who is friends with Captain Wu from the Yamen. Where's Hu Jun?" Xiao Wuji inquired in a grave tone. At that moment, a figure stealthily darted up the stairs. Did he intend to send a warning? A flash of crimson blade light flickered, and the man attempting to alert Hu Jun let out a chilling, piercing scream as he tumbled down the stairs, drenched in blood. The sight sent shivers down the spines of the Iron Palm gang members. When did such a formidable constable emerge in Qixia Town? Moreover, he showed no mercy in his strikes, each cut lethal. My lord, Hu Jun is hosting a banquet for martial artists on the second floor, someone said, panic-stricken, fearing that any delay in speaking could lead to his own demise at the hands of Xiao Wuji. Ah, so you enjoy feasting, do you? Xiao Wuji stepped forward. Making his way upstairs, the Iron Palm gang members fell silent, not daring to utter a sound, lest they attract Xiao Wuji's attention. On the upper floor of the Spring Breeze Pavilion, Hu Jun was flushed with triumph, reeking of liquor, exuding an air of self-satisfaction. Just then, a skilled member of the Iron Palm gang suddenly declared, "Leader, the two we dispatched to assassinate Xiao Wuji have perished." Hu Jun's brow furrowed. He had believed this task, assigned by the gang leader, to be foolproof. He never anticipated it would fail. If he could not handle a mere Xiao Wuji, he was truly worthless. Xiao Wuji seems challenging. There shouldn't be any trouble, right? Humph. Anyone the Iron Palm gang seeks must perish. Suddenly, a resounding crash echoed through the room as a table flew through the air, hurtling toward Hu Jun. Who dares? Hu Jun, slightly sluggish from drink, only snapped back to reality as the table neared him. Shouting in rage, he raised his arm to shield himself. In the next moment, a fist, imbued with tremendous force, struck the table, crashing down upon Hu Jun's form like a shooting star. Blood spewed from Hu Jun's mouth as the overwhelming power reverberated through him. Hu Jun, you have crossed the line. A cold voice resonated in the Spring Breeze Pavilion. Chapter 9, 50 Years of Life. Xiao Wuji. As Hu Jun caught sight of Xiao Wuji's figure, a wave of panic coursed through him. He had not anticipated that Xiao Wuji would dare to come to the Spring Breeze Pavilion to apprehend someone. Was Xiao Wuji truly prepared to sever ties with the Iron Palm gang? A multitude of thoughts flooded Hu Jun's mind. Upon witnessing the scene, all the skilled members of the Iron Palm gang rose to their feet. Old One, to dare disrupt the peace of the Spring Breeze Pavilion. You clearly underestimate the Iron Palm gang, bellowed a fourth-level practitioner from the gang as he unsheathed his short knife, charging ferociously at Xiao Wuji. Xiao Wuji was determined to dismantle his opponent utterly. To challenge the authority of the Yamen was tantamount to courting death. With a chilling breath, he exuded a palpable aura of bloodlust. The intense crimson glow reflected in the eyes of the Iron Palm gang's expert, as the ominous scent of death loomed heavily in the air. The expert instantly realized the peril he was in and let out a desperate cry in an attempt to evade the impending doom, yet it was far too late. A terrifying streak of blood light sliced through his form. His lower half remained rooted in place, while his upper half was sent flying, severed in twain. This was the blood slaughter blade technique. Having slain a postnatal fourth realm warrior, he has acquired an additional 18 years of their lifespan. Upon vanquishing the Iron Palm gang's expert, the bloodlust surrounding Xiao Wuji intensified, rendering him akin to a blood-soaked demonic deity. Chaos erupted within the Spring Breeze Pavilion. As terrified screams resonated throughout, Hu Jun's pupils dilated in shock, a look of trepidation creeping across his face. How could a postnatal fourth realm master be so easily dispatched by Xiao Wuji? What was the true extent of his cultivation? Previously, Wu Sheng had informed him that Xiao Wuji had only recently entered the first realm of postnatal cultivation, making him seemingly easy to deal with. What utter nonsense! Who had ever witnessed a first-realm warrior effortlessly slay a fourth-realm master? Had Xiao Wuji concealed his true prowess, masquerading as a fool to ensnare the unwary? A chill ran down Hu Jun's spine as clarity dawned upon him. Were their positions reversed? He could not have achieved such a decisive kill against a postnatal fourth-realm expert. It was a bitter pill for Hu Jun to swallow. Xiao Wuji's capabilities surpassed his own. Though Xiao Wuji was merely at the third realm, he had mastered both the 13 Guardians' unorthodox training and the blood slaughter blade technique to perfection, rendering his strength beyond mere martial realm classifications. Even Hu Jun, at the fifth realm, had not fully perfected a single martial art. What was Xiao Wuji truly after? Hu Jun's countenance darkened, his gaze fixated on the imposing figure before him. You brazenly took a life in the streets, killing Zhu Hongquan. There is undeniable evidence, Xiao Wuji remarked, his gaze as sharp as a blade, regarding Hu Jun as if he were already a corpse. The experts of the Iron Palm gang paused in confusion. Who was Zhu Hongquan? It seemed he was the old man selling noodles on the street, who had been slain by the gang's leader, Hu, for failing to pay his protection fee days prior, as someone quietly noted. Hu Jun was taken aback, realizing that Xiao Wuji had come seeking vengeance for the old man's death. He had not even known the old man's true name. In Hu Jun's eyes, the death of an ordinary citizen was insignificant. Backed by the Iron Palm gang, who would dare stand up for an ordinary man? Yet, against all odds, Xiao Wuji had stepped forward, ruthlessly slaying a master of the gang. From the perspective of the Iron Palm gang, the life of a postnatal fourth realm expert far outweighed that of Zhu Hongquan. Had Xiao Wuji truly lost his sanity? Xiao Wuji, you are seeking personal revenge. Hu Jun seethed, his teeth clenched in fury. He believed that Xiao Wuji was seizing the opportunity to take revenge on the Iron Palm Gang through the case of Old Man Zhu. They moved in unison to obstruct Xiao Wuji. At that moment, 3 masters from the Iron Palm Gang simultaneously launched an attack on Xiao Wuji. Despite Xiao Wuji's formidable swordsmanship, his opponents were no mere pushovers. United, the 3 would undoubtedly be able to subdue him. The criminals not only refused to surrender, but dared to retaliate against the officials, compounding their offenses. As Xiao Wuji's voice echoed, a terrifying aura of bloodlust surged forth like a tidal wave. A brilliant crimson flash of blade light erupted. The weapons of the Iron Palm Masters shattered into pieces. The 3 appeared petrified, frozen in place, their faces reflecting sheer terror and despair. Soon after, a line of blood manifested upon their bodies. Blood trickled down, pooling on the ground to form a crimson lake. Xiao Wuji took a gentle step forward, and the bloodlines on the bodies of the Iron Palm Masters ruptured, causing them to collapse silently onto the ground, their eyes wide open in a state of eternal unrest. Gulpy. Witnessing this scene, Hu Jun swallowed hard in fear. The trio from the Iron Palm Gang had attacked together, but could not even withstand a single strike from Xiao Wuji, falling as easily as one would slay a chicken or a dog. What sort of swordsmanship is this? Xiao Wuji, the Iron Palm Gang will not let you off easily. Hu Jun bellowed in rage, unleashing his power at the 5th level of the post-celestial realm, seizing a sword capable of slicing through steel, and thrusting it violently towards Xiao Wuji's throat. Every master of the Iron Palm Gang possessed their own signature techniques. Hu Jun's specialty was the swift sword. He had once assassinated a 5th-level expert with his rapid strikes. Yet, in the next instant, as his sword struck Xiao Wuji's throat, it felt as if it had hit an indestructible metal, failing to penetrate even an inch. Xiao Wuji's body trembled, and a tremendous recoil surged back through the sword. Hu Jun's face was filled with horror as he spewed blood and was flung backward, crashing onto a table. The 13 bodyguards' horizontal training? He had not anticipated that Xiao Wuji's mastery of the 13 bodyguards technique would be so profound. His strike could not break through the defenses. What kind of monster is this? In that moment, Hu Jun was truly frightened. He had joined the Iron Palm Gang to wield power and enjoy wealth. But he never expected it would cost him his life. No amount of silver was worth more than his own life. What use is money if he were to lose his life? Thinking of this, Hu Jun, with a terrified expression, pleaded, "Wait, Lord Xiao, I confess. I was the one who killed Zhu Hongchuan. Take me back to the Yamen." Hu Jun immediately confessed to his crimes. Being taken back to the Yamen was far better than dying on the spot. Given the relationship between the Iron Palm Gang and Wu Sheng would surely find a way to rescue him. At worst, he would have to compensate Old Man Zhu's family with some silver. With the Iron Palm Gang intervening, he would not remain imprisoned for long. Thus, even the formidable Xiao Wuji could find no excuse to apprehend anyone. How audacious! To dare to resist. Xiao Wuji's fierce reprimand drowned out their voices. Upon witnessing Xiao Wuji approaching with a blade in hand, Hu Jun was instantly engulfed in panic. "I truly did not resist." Xiao Wuji's expression remained impassive as he stated, "I declare you to be resisting. Thus you are indeed resisting. It is for the authorities to decide whether they trust me, an upright and incorruptible constable, or you, a rabble from the underworld." Sensing the murderous intent radiating from Xiao Wuji, Hu Jun was plunged into utter despair. He never anticipated that Xiao Wuji would deviate from the expected script. He had no intention of sparing him. "Xiao Wuji, the gang leader will not let you off." As the words fell, warm blood gushed forth. Hu Jun's head rolled to the ground. Having slain the post-heaven 5th realm warrior, Hu Jun gained his remaining lifespan of 50 years. Acquired the 9 shadow sword technique, not yet initiated. Chapter 10. This person must not be spared. Name, Xiao Wuji Realm. Post-heaven 3rd realm martial arts. 13 bodyguards universal training, perfected. Blood slaughter blade technique, perfected. Fleeting light, perfected. 9 shadow sword technique, not yet initiated. Lifespan, 99 years. After vanquishing the masters of the Iron Palm Gang, Xiao Wuji's lifespan reached 99 years. Just a few days prior, Xiao Wuji lay in a coffin awaiting death, yet now he stood as a post-heaven 3rd realm master, his lifespan nearing a century. Even the leader of the Iron Palm Gang had met his end at his blade. He basked in unparalleled glory. At this moment, the martial artists dining at Chunfeng Tower fell silent, gazing at the dismembered Hu Jun, yet none dared to step forward. They feared that Xiao Wuji, in his bloodlust, might mistake them for allies of the Iron Palm Gang and slay them as well. Xiao Wuji raised his gaze and surveyed the faces around him, a charming smile gracing his handsome visage. "Why do you linger? Sit down and enjoy the feast." The crowd remained silent, as Hu Jun, even in death, could scarcely believe he would meet his end in such a manner. The music resumed, and the dancing continued. Xiao Wuji boldly took his seat, truly beginning to partake in the banquet. At Chunfeng Tower, all present were left in astonishment. This Xiao Wuji had stormed in and slain so many masters of the Iron Palm gang, yet he still found the leisure to enjoy a meal, entirely dismissing the gang's threat. How could there be a constable like Xiao Wuji in Qixia Town? The head constable has arrived, someone called out. Following that, hurried footsteps echoed throughout Chunfeng Tower. Wu Sheng, accompanied by several constables, arrived belatedly. Upon seeing the corpses of the Iron Palm gang's masters, his pupils constricted in shock. "Where's Hu Jun?" he demanded, his expression turning ashen, an ominous premonition looming over him like a dark cloud. Gulp. At that moment, a severed head rolled to Wu Sheng's feet. As he focused his gaze, terror washed over him. The decapitated head belonged to none other than Hu Jun, one of the three formidable masters of the Iron Palm gang. Wu Sheng felt a chill surge through him, a wave of fury rising from within. Xiao Wuji. What on earth is happening? Wu Sheng could scarcely fathom that Xiao Wuji had the audacity to storm into the Spring Breeze Tower alone and slay the gang's master. Was he courting death? The evidence of Hu Jun's murder was irrefutable. When I arrived to apprehend him, I was met with resistance from the Iron Palm gang. Thus, they perished. Xiao Wuji spoke calmly, neither servile nor arrogant. You speak nonsense. Wu Sheng clenched his fists, his eyes widening with rage. Yet, Xiao Wuji's claims were logical and well-founded, leaving him unable to counter them. Ultimately, Hu Jun was dead, and there were no witnesses to testify otherwise. Xiao Wuji could assert whatever he wished. What astonished Wu Sheng was that Xiao Wuji had actually slain a fifth-tier master without suffering a scratch. How had he accomplished such a feat? Had he been concealing his true strength all along? This thought sent a shiver down Wu Sheng's spine, rendering Xiao Wuji even more inscrutable. If you doubt my words, you may inquire among those present, Xiao Wuji said, casting a glance at the onlookers on the Spring Breeze Tower, who nodded in agreement. After witnessing Xiao Wuji's prowess, none dared to oppose him. Wu Sheng's complexion turned ashen. With Hu Jun's demise, the Iron Palm gang would undoubtedly seek retribution. Exhausted from the ordeal, I shall leave this mess for you to handle, Wu Captain. Wu Sheng's forehead throbbed with veins bulging. It was Xiao Wuji who had committed the murder, yet he was expected to clean up the aftermath. With a grim expression, Wu Sheng leaned in, lowering his voice to a whisper only Xiao Wuji could hear, having killed so many masters of the Iron Palm gang. Duanfeng will surely not let you go. Are you not afraid of death? Wu Sheng could hardly believe that anyone could be unafraid of dying, especially a martial artist who, having lived long, would fear death all the more. After decades of arduous training, having finally achieved a modicum of success, only to be slain by another's hand. What a tragic end. My lord seems to have forgotten. I have already faced death once. What is there left to fear? Xiao Wuji replied calmly. Wu Sheng's heart sank. He dreaded this kind of reckless indifference to death. Damn it, a lunatic. Take the corpse back to the Iron Palm gang. At the Iron Palm gang's headquarters, the gang leader Duanfeng gazed at the dismembered body of Hu Jun before him, his expression as dark as the depths of the ocean. It had been years since anyone had dared to kill a member of the Iron Palm gang. And now it was not just any ordinary member, but a highly esteemed master of the gang. Who could have done such a thing? My lord. Hu Jun was slain by the constable Xiao Wuji at the Spring Breeze Tower, reported Chunfeng from the side. Xiao Wuji. Duanfeng's eyes gleamed with menace. How dare a mere constable kill a master of the Iron Palm gang? He is courting death. Wu Captain advises caution. This Xiao Wuji may be concealing his true abilities. Chunfeng cautioned carefully. Duanfeng let out a cold snort, his expression exceedingly grim. He was already aware of the situation without Wu Sheng's reminder. If not for concealing his true strength, how could Xiao Wuji possibly have slain Hu Jun, a fifth-tier martial artist? Leader. Xiao Wuji employed the blood slaughter blade technique to kill Hall Master Hu. It is said that his mastery of this technique has reached an extraordinary level. Even a fourth-tier warrior cannot withstand a single strike from him, Chunfeng remarked with a heavy expression. Initially, none had regarded a mere constable from Qixia Town with any significance, believing they could easily manipulate Xiao Wuji. However, this misconception had cost them a Hall Master. The blood slaughter blade technique. Duanfeng's gaze sharpened. This technique was widely circulated in the martial world, practiced by many, and was not particularly profound. Yet, few had managed to cultivate it to the level of transcendence. Xiao Wuji had achieved such mastery, instilling a sense of crisis in Duanfeng. At this rate, who could predict how far Xiao Wuji would grow? Thus, Duanfeng uttered that classic villainous line, Xiao Wuji must not be allowed to live. Once everyone had departed, Duanfeng activated a hidden door and entered a secret chamber. In the dimly lit room, a gray figure appeared before him. Elder Qiao, there has been a problem. The woman you wanted has been rescued, and as a result, the Iron Palm Gang has lost a home master, Duanfeng said, bowing respectfully to the elderly man in gray robes. Useless. You cannot even handle such a trivial matter, Chao Tianqi replied, showing little concern for the fate of the Iron Palm Gang. After all, the gang was merely a tool of the Luo sect. There were countless such martial factions in the world. Without the covert support of the Luo sect, the Iron Palm Gang would not exist in its current form. I acknowledge my fault. Please do not be angry, Elder, Duanfeng pleaded, resembling a grandson before Chao Tianqi. Put the search for the reincarnated saintess on hold. I have received news that the dragon treasure box has emerged. Many martial artists have come to Qixia Town in pursuit of it. I want you to secure the dragon treasure box before they do, Chao Tianqi commanded. Duanfeng's face stiffened. He did not even know what the dragon treasure box looked like, let alone where to find it. With Chao Tianqi's order issued, he could only brace himself and mobilize the Iron Palm Gang to search for the dragon treasure box. After all, the Iron Palm Gang was but a dog raised by the Luo sect. What intrigued Duanfeng was the true nature of the dragon treasure box. Why did so many martial experts and Elder Chao of the Luo sect covet it so fiercely? Chapter 11. The Essence of Swordsmanship, Blood God Slash. After leaving the yamen, Xiao Wuji returned to his residence. With a thought, a scroll of the Longevity Sutra materialized before his eyes. Having cultivated the 9 Shadow Sword technique, the defeat of the Iron Palm Gang's experts had elevated Xiao Wuji's lifespan to 99 years, alleviating his fears of sudden demise. Yet, his current situation remained perilously precarious. The Iron Palm Gang looms ominously, and the head of the 7 Heroes town, Wu Sheng, seeks his life, while the Qingqing sect also desires his demise. Mere longevity is of no use. Only formidable strength can resolve troubles at their root. Infusing 5 years of lifespan, the 9 Shadow Sword technique breaks through the first tier, achieving minor success in the swordplay. Infusing 10 years of lifespan, the 9 Shadow Sword technique breaks through the second tier, wielding the sword with divine precision. Infusing 15 years of lifespan, the 9 Shadow Sword technique breaks through the third tier, achieving unity of man and sword. You have cultivated the 9 Shadow Sword technique to the realm of man-sword unity, enhancing your swordsmanship aptitude. Boom. In the next moment, a flood of experiences and insights from practicing the 9 Shadow Sword technique surged into Xiao Wuji's mind, as if he had been enlightened. He felt akin to an unparalleled swordsman who had diligently trained for 30 years, and an overwhelming sword aura erupted from his being. Xiao Wuji suddenly opened his eyes, pushed the door open, and stepped into the courtyard. He broke a branch to use as a sword. With a simple flick of his wrist, 9 sword shadows darted forth, leaving 9 evenly spaced sword marks on the courtyard wall. Having infused 30 years of lifespan, Xiao Wuji directly perfected the 9 Shadow Sword technique. Simultaneously, a torrent of true energy surged within him, permeating his limbs and bones. He felt as though he had been reborn, with his strength more than doubled. Reaching the pinnacle of the acquired realm, a brilliant light radiated from him. Xiao Wuji perceived that even without the Blood Slaughter Blade technique, he could vanquish a master of the Iron Palm Gang at the 5th level of the acquired realm with a single punch. Yet, this was far from sufficient. If the masters of the Iron Palm Gang launched a full-scale retaliation against him, he might not withstand it. A trump card was imperative. With this thought, Xiao Wuji opened the Longevity Sutra in his mind and began to infuse lifespan to comprehend the intent of the blade. Infusing 10 years of lifespan to refine the Blood Slaughter Blade technique. Unfortunately, your aptitude for blade techniques is limited, and you have not grasped the true essence of the blade technique. Is this the end? Staring at the words in the Longevity Sutra, Xiao Wuji's expression froze in disbelief. 10 years of lifespan had been squandered, and it felt as if his heart was bleeding. Having already infused 10 years of lifespan, how could he abandon it now? Thus, gritting his teeth, he continued to infuse lifespan to refine the Blood Slaughter Blade technique. Infusing 20 years of lifespan to refine the Blood Slaughter Blade technique, you finally perceived a hint of the true essence of the blade technique, though it remains incomplete. 30 years of lifespan had been spent, yielding only a small splash. However, Xiao Wuji glimpsed hope. Let me refine the Blood Slaughter Blade technique. Infusing 30 years of lifespan to refine the Blood Slaughter Blade technique, you have comprehended the true essence within the Blood Slaughter Blade technique and integrated it, achieving the Blood God Slash. True essence of the blade technique. Xiao Wuji beamed with delight, nearly holding his breath in astonishment. Infusing 60 years of lifespan at last allowed him to grasp the true essence of the blade technique. Blood God Slash. In the next moment, a torrent of blood light erupted from Xiao Wuji. An overwhelming aura of blood surged forth, coalescing into a sea of blood. A dazzling crimson blade radiated under the moonlight, as if the entire world had been cleaved in two by this blood light. Xiao Wuji's eyes turned a deep crimson. resembling a bloodthirsty demon emerging from a mountain of corpses and a sea of blood. A sinister aura of blood lingered around him. After unleashing the blood god slash, Xiao Wuji felt utterly drained, a thin sheen of cold sweat breaking out across his body. The power of the blood god slash was terrifying, yet it exacted a tremendous toll. It could only serve as a trump card. Nevertheless, he was immensely satisfied to have grasped the true essence of the sword technique. Name: Xiao Wuji. Realm: postnatal 4th level. Martial arts: 13 Guardians horizontal training, perfected. Blood Fiend blade technique, perfected. Fleeting light and shadow, perfected. 9 Shadows sword art, perfected. Martial Dao true meaning: blood god slash. Lifespan: 9 years. After a surge in strength, Xiao Wuji's lifespan was reduced to a mere 9 years. Soon, he would need to venture forth to slay foes and earn more years, since the Blood Fiend blade technique could be honed. The 13 Guardians horizontal training and the 9 Shadows sword art should also be capable of further refinement, allowing him to comprehend the true essence of martial arts. However, the pursuit of this understanding was exceedingly taxing on one's lifespan. 60 years could vanish in the blink of an eye. Shaking his head, Xiao Wuji pondered how many years of life had been lost by slaying so many experts from the Iron Palm gang. As long as he possessed lifespan, he could continuously elevate his martial prowess. Within 6 months, he held the hope of breaking through to the innate realm and becoming an innate master. Just then, a sudden commotion arose outside. Xiao Wuji's brow furrowed. Was another assassin at his door? This was not necessarily a bad thing. They were merely offering him a chance to gain experience. A gentle knock echoed through the air. He found it peculiar that this assassin was quite polite, even knowing to knock. Approaching the door, he opened it to find a striking figure standing outside. Little Zhu? To his surprise, it was not an assassin from the Iron Palm gang, but Zhu Qianqian. Noticing the disappointment etched on Xiao Wuji's face, Zhu Qianqian paused momentarily. Thank you, Sir Xiao, for delivering justice on behalf of the people. Her eyes were red-rimmed. She had just learned of Hu Jun's confession and subsequent punishment. If my father were aware, he could finally rest in peace. Everyone had believed that reporting Hu Jun would lead to no repercussions. Even if he were apprehended, he would soon be released, perhaps with a mere fine to settle the matter. Who could have anticipated that Xiao Wuji would storm into Chunfeng Tower and slay Hu Jun with a single stroke, providing him no opportunity to escape? Some speculated that Xiao Wuji had taken a liking to the daughter of the old Zhu and had acted in a fit of rage for her sake. The age-old tale of a beautiful woman paired with a hero was indeed a charming narrative. It is only natural for you, little Zhu, to feel no burden in this matter, Xiao Wuji remarked nonchalantly. Zhu Qianqian shook her head, her cheeks suddenly flushed. The immense kindness of Sir Xiao cannot be repaid. I can only offer myself in gratitude. Xiao Wuji. In the world of martial arts, when a beautiful woman is saved, if her benefactor is handsome, she offers herself in gratitude. If he is unattractive, she vows to repay the kindness in the next life as a servant. Xiao Wuji, being youthful and handsome, was the ideal suitor in the hearts of countless female heroes. A single glance could inspire such devotion. However, Xiao Wuji was solely focused on slaying foes and pursuing immortality. His heart was devoid of thoughts of women. Drawing his blade was his only desire. Women would merely hinder the swiftness of his strikes. Little Zhu. There is truly no need for that. Zhu Qianqian. She, a stunning beauty of unparalleled grace, offered herself to Xiao Wuji, who surprisingly deemed it unnecessary. After dismissing Zhu Qianqian, Xiao Wuji returned home and fell into a deep slumber. The following day, he departed for the Yamen in Qixia Town, where he encountered a flustered constable rushing towards him. Lord Xiao, a bloodbath has occurred at the Tung Fu Inn. Chapter 12. The Tung Fu Inn. The deceased, Jin Mangue, a 46-year-old merchant, met his untimely demise in the heavenly guest room of the Tung Fu Inn last night. Xiao Wuji stood amidst the blood-stained and chaotic scene of the guest room. Before him lay Jin Mangue's lifeless body, propped against a wardrobe, drenched in blood. His expression frozen in terror, as if he had witnessed something extraordinarily horrific. Xiao Wuji, maintaining a composed demeanor, approached the corpse to examine it. Discovering that Jin had suffered 17 stab wounds, the brutality of the attack was evident. The man had been reduced to a grotesque sight, blood pooling around him. Outside the guest room, the innkeeper, Master Tong, wore a look of palpable anxiety as he observed Xiao Wuji's investigation. The occurrence of such a grave incident only compounded the troubles of the already struggling Tung Fu Inn. If the murderer remained at large, who would dare to lodge there in the future? This perpetrator was undoubtedly a professional thief, engaged in robbery and murder. At that moment, a melodious voice, reminiscent of a yellow oriole amidst willows, reached Xiao Wuji's ears. He looked up to see a figure clad in purple. It was a tall, slender young woman, her face as radiant as a silver plate, with exquisite and striking features, her hair tied in a refreshing high ponytail. She wore a purple robe adorned with intricate cloud patterns, reminiscent of a flying fish cloak, which perfectly complemented her elegant stature. Notably, the hem of her robe concealed her feet. Xiao Wuji scrutinized the purple-clad woman. Could she be from the Six Doors? He observed that she wore official boots and was armed with a beautifully embroidered spring knife at her waist, revealing her identity. You guessed correctly. I am Jiang Qingzhu, a constable from the Six Doors. Her gaze fell upon Xiao Wuji's face, her eyes gleaming with surprise at the sight of such a handsome young constable in the modest Qixia Town. I am Xiao Wuji, a constable of Qixia Town, he replied, bowing slightly to the striking purple-clad constable. Jiang Qingzhu nodded gently, her gaze lingering on him. Xiao Wuji, I shall remember you. Lord Jiang, you mentioned that the murderer is a professional thief. What leads you to that conclusion? Xiao Wuji inquired. Jiang Qingzhu waved her delicate hand. We are of similar age. You may call me Qingzhu. The disorder in the deceased's room clearly indicates signs of having been ransacked, suggesting that the murderer came with the intent to rob. Additionally, the numerous stab wounds inflicted upon the victim align with the modus operandi of a skilled thief who never leaves witnesses behind. Jiang Qingzhu believed her reasoning to be flawless. Indeed, the assailant must be a professional thief, motivated by greed, and must have fled the Tung Fu in post-haste. Thus, capturing the murderer has become quite a formidable task. You speak truthfully, yet there remains an intriguing point of suspicion, remarked Xiao Wuji. Jiang Qingzhu blinked her large, captivating eyes, gazing curiously at Xiao Wuji. A point of suspicion? The victim was attacked in the dead of night, a time when one would typically be fast asleep, yet he did not perish in his bed. Upon hearing Xiao Wuji's assertion, Jiang Qingzhu noted that the circumstances surrounding Jean Mangue's demise were indeed peculiar. This suggests that the assailant did not immediately kill Jean Mangue. Perhaps he even interrogated him. Jean Mangue was slain here while attempting to flee, Xiao Wuji continued. Jiang Qingzhu then realized that it was unusual for a mere robber to interrogate a victim, unless the perpetrator sought to extract something from the deceased. Moreover, although the victim had sustained 17 stab wounds, none of them were fatal. Jiang Qingzhu was momentarily taken aback. 17 stab wounds, yet none were lethal? These injuries appear to have been deliberately fabricated by the assailant to obscure the true cause of Jean Mangue's death, Xiao Wuji asserted boldly. The true cause of death? Jiang Qingzhu felt as though her mind was ablaze. Why did this case differ so markedly from the teachings of the Six Doors? She was merely a newly appointed constable with 2.5 years of training, venturing into the world alone for the first time. She hadn't anticipated that what seemed to be an ordinary robbery and murder case would be so intricately layered. Then what was the actual cause of his death? Jiang Qingzhu, now fully convinced of Xiao Wuji's reasoning, could not resist inquiring. Subsequently, Xiao Wuji stepped forward and tore away the victim's clothing. There, on the victim's chest, lay a bloodied handprint. This was the true cause of Jean Mangue's demise. He had been struck by the assailant with enough force to shatter his heart. The murderer then inflicted several additional wounds on the corpse to fabricate the illusion that Jean Mangue had succumbed to stab wounds. This was done to conceal the assailant's martial prowess. Xiao Wuji speculated that Jean Mangue was more than merely a traveling merchant. He possessed formidable skills himself, which compelled the murderer to resort to lethal techniques. To further obfuscate the truth, the assailant inflicted additional wounds on Jean Mangue, creating a false scene. Yet Xiao Wuji discerned the ruse. Thus, it became evident that the motives of the murderer were not as simple as mere greed. An ordinary robber would not have gone to such lengths, complicating matters unnecessarily. Jiang Qingzhu examined Jean Mangue's body and found that it aligned precisely with Xiao Wuji's observations. This is the Xianming Divine Palm. Jiang Qingzhu's expression transformed abruptly. The Xianming Divine Palm was a technique from the once mighty Xianming sect, and those capable of mastering it in the martial world were exceedingly rare. Knowing that the murderer was a practitioner of the Xianming Divine Palm significantly narrowed the scope of the investigation. The assailant struck under the cover of night without alerting any of the other guests at the inn, suggesting that the perpetrator was likely residing within the Tung Fu Inn itself. Xiao Wuji pondered aloud. Perhaps the murderer remains among us in the inn. Upon hearing Xiao Wuji's words, Manager Tong was taken aback. The murderer is still in the Tung Fu Inn? Manager, has anyone checked out this morning? Xiao Wuji inquired. Manager Tong shook his head, unable to contain his curiosity. Master Xiao, is it truly possible that the murderer is residing within the inn? There is no need for alarm. I, Xiao, shall certainly bring the perpetrator to justice. I kindly request that Master Tong furnish me with the guest list. According to the regulations of the yamen, all outsiders lodging at the inn must register to confirm their identities, in order to avoid harboring fugitives sought by the Six Doors. However, in this era, the absence of an identity database makes the fabrication of a false identity exceedingly simple. Before long, Master Tong presented the guest register. Xiao Wuji noted an influx of martial artists recently staying at the Tung Fu Inn, as it was nearly always at full capacity. Upon examining the check-in dates, he deduced that the murderer must have arrived at the inn at the same time as the deceased, Jin Mangue. Soon, several potential suspects came to light. The first was a swordsman from the northern wilderness, who occupied the room adjacent to the victims. Additionally, there was an unremarkable scholar residing on the second floor, curiously carrying a longsword with him. The scholar claimed to carry the sword for self-defense while traveling. Apart from the swordsman and scholar, a couple had also checked in at the same time as the victim. They appeared to be ordinary folk visiting relatives in Qixia Town. A classic case of 3 suspects to choose from. So, who could the murderer be? Chapter 13, The Dragon Sect. Miss Jiang Qingzhu, might I trouble you for a favor? In the Tung Fu Inn, Xiao Wuji addressed the purple-clad female constable from the 6 doors. Jiang Qingzhu nodded gently, asking him to state what she could assist with. You should lie down and rest, Xiao Wuji instructed. Jiang Qingzhu responded with surprise, questioning the appropriateness of such a request during the day, especially since they had only just met. The purple-clad constable blushed. Had a less appealing man made such a suggestion, she would have drawn her blade in protest. Yet, for Xiao Wuji, she found it not entirely objectionable. What I mean is, we shall reenact the murder to simulate the perpetrator's actions, Xiao Wuji clarified. Jiang Qingzhu's face flushed as she realized her misunderstanding. Xiao Wuji had not intended anything untoward. Thus, she approached and lay down, pretending to be the deceased, Jin Mangue. Xiao Wuji assumed the role of the murderer, storming into the guest room to replicate the crime. It was Jiang Qingzhu's first experience with such an investigative method, and she found it quite intriguing. They followed the traces left by the murderer and the victim to the very spot where the latter had met his end. Then, Xiao Wuji mimicked the assailant's movements, striking towards Jiang Qingzhu's chest. With a resounding thud, she leaned against the wardrobe, adopting the same position as the victim. Why did you not evade? Xiao Wuji noted an unusual sensation in his palm. Did you not say to mimic the victim? The female constable's face turned crimson. There was no need for perfect imitation. As long as it aided the investigation, making a few sacrifices was of little consequence. Jiang Qingzhu declared with determination. Very well. Xiao Wuji mused, feeling a fragrant aroma wafting through the air. Have you discovered anything? Shall we simulate once more? Jiang Qingzhu appeared to be utterly captivated by the performance, gazing at Xiao Wuji with lingering fascination. To her disappointment, Xiao Wuji shook his head, indicating that he was already aware. Have you identified the culprit? Jiang Qingzhu inquired, perplexed. This case was far from the simplicity it outwardly suggested, and no leads concerning the murderer had been discovered thus far. Not yet, but we are close, Xiao Wuji replied, moving towards the spot where Jin Mangue died. The death of Jin Mangue was not a mere coincidence. It was deliberate, intended to leave us a clue, namely, the information surrounding his demise. Upon hearing Xiao Wuji's words, Jiang Qingzhu felt a surge of excitement. Information about his death? Xiao Wuji shifted Jin Mangue's body and opened the wardrobe behind him. Inside the wardrobe were merely a few garments, appearing unremarkable. Could I have been mistaken? He raised his hand, tapping the wardrobe inch by inch. Indeed, he discovered a hidden compartment concealed within the wardrobe. This compartment was well hidden. Without a meticulous search, it would have remained undetected. The murderer, having committed the crime, certainly lacked the time to conduct a thorough search. Eureka! Upon opening the compartment, he revealed a small, square box. Upon seeing this box, Jiang Qingzhu felt a stirring in her heart and couldn't help but exclaim, could this be the Heavenly Dragon Treasure Box? What is the Heavenly Dragon Treasure Box? Xiao Wuji inquired. To understand that, we must go back to before the establishment of the Great Jing Dynasty, Jiang Qingzhu explained patiently. At that time, the Central Plains were in chaos, and the most powerful faction in the martial world was a sect known as the Heavenly Dragon Sect. Legend has it that the founding emperor of the Great Jing Dynasty hailed from the Heavenly Dragon Sect. Subsequently, with the sect's support, he swept across the land, unifying the Central Plains. However, once he achieved unification, he turned against the Heavenly Dragon Sect, dispatching a great army to eradicate it. Xiao Wuji was not surprised by this revelation. Any emperor would not tolerate the existence of a faction like the Heavenly Dragon Sect, which posed a threat to their authority. The fault lay with the Heavenly Dragon Sect for being too powerful, instilling fear in the emperor. Forewarned, the Heavenly Dragon Sect constructed a Heavenly Dragon Treasury, concealing all their skills and treasures within, leaving behind a Heavenly Dragon Treasure Box that would grant access to the treasury upon discovery. Xiao Wuji felt a stirring within him. It was evident that the murderer was aware that the Heavenly Dragon Treasure Box was associated with Jin Mangue, which led to his tragic fate. However, the murderer had not found the treasure box on Jin Mangue's person. It was unlikely that the murderer would simply depart from the Tung Fu Inn empty-handed. Thus, Xiao Wuji deduced that the culprit must still be within the inn. Identifying the murderer would therefore be straightforward. With the Heavenly Dragon treasure box now in his possession, all he had to do was bide his time. The culprit would inevitably reveal themselves. Master Tong, please prepare a guest room for me. Xiao Wuji had decided to stay at the Tung Fu Inn, waiting to draw out the murderer. Seeing the situation, Master Tong was naturally more than willing. With a constable like Xiao Wuji present, her safety was assured. However, all the guest rooms are currently occupied, a nearby attendant reminded Master Tong. Manager Tong suddenly recalled that many people from the martial world had recently checked into the Tung Fu Inn. The guest rooms were fully booked, leaving not a single vacancy. Manager Tong's expression turned awkward. Surely, one could not allow Lord Xiao to reside in a storeroom. If there are no empty rooms, I could share one with you. The female constable in purple said, her eyes glinting slightly, though her demeanor remained calm and carefree. That would be inappropriate, wouldn't it? Might it tarnish Miss Jiang Qingzhu's reputation? Xiao Wuji responded. Not at all. We are all children of the martial world and do not concern ourselves with trivialities. Jiang Qingzhu waved her jade hand dismissively. Since the female constable was unbothered, Xiao Wuji also decided to refrain from being overly formal. Inside the Tung Fu Inn, before Xiao Wuji lay a square box. The Tianlong treasure box, crafted from jade, was adorned with a carving of a 5-clawed golden dragon, the emblem of the Tianlong sect. Its form resembled a Rubik's cube that Xiao Wuji had played with in his youth. Strangely, the Tianlong treasure box appeared seamless. Not even a hair could be inserted into its surface. Xiao Wuji attempted to infuse his vital energy into the Tianlong treasure box. Yet it was as futile as a cow sinking into the sea, yielding no response whatsoever. How could one possibly unlock the secrets of the Tianlong treasure box? Just then, as he gazed at the 5-clawed dragon's pattern, a spark of inspiration struck him. If he infused his lifespan into the box, he might unravel its mysteries. However, Xiao Wuji found himself with only 9 years of life remaining, making it likely that his efforts could end in vain. It would be wiser to wait until he had accumulated a sufficient amount of lifespan before attempting such a risk. Master Xiao, Manager Tong has prepared a feast for us downstairs, Jiang Qingzhu announced as she entered the room. Very well, Xiao Wuji replied. And he and Jiang Qingzhu changed into the attire of ordinary travelers before descending to the main hall of the Tung Fu Inn. Manager Tong had already laid out an exquisite spread of food and drink. As soon as Xiao Wuji arrived downstairs, he noticed a couple residing in a room on the 2nd floor, along with a northern swordsman and a scholar, all dining in the hall. Based on their check-in times, they were the prime suspects. Perhaps the truth would be revealed tonight. At that moment, 3 inebriated men approached, their eyes leering at Jiang Qingzhu. Miss, are you lonely all by yourself? Why not join us upstairs for some fun? Chapter 14. The unexpected arrival of 120 years of lifespan in the main hall of the Tung Fu Inn. Although the 3 men reeked of alcohol, their eyes betrayed no signs of drunkenness. They had deliberately approached Jiang Qingzhu under the guise of drunkenness to test her. Most of the martial artists staying at the Tung Fu Inn had come for the Tianlong treasure box, making them competitors. Knowing oneself and one's adversary ensures victory in 100 battles. Thus, the 3 pretended to be intoxicated as they sought to gauge Jiang Qingzhu's background. Little did they know that Jiang Qingzhu was a member of the 6 Doors, and they had unwittingly walked straight into a trap. All 3 men possessed martial prowess and, emboldened by their intoxication, began to harass Jiang Qingzhu with lewd remarks, attempting to provoke her into revealing her abilities. Jiang Qingzhu, embarking on her first foray into the world, had never encountered such a scene. Her cheeks flushed crimson as she grasped the hilt of her blade, poised to strike. The moment she drew her embroidered spring knife, her identity as an officer of the 6 Doors was laid bare. At that instant, a large hand clamped down on the shoulder of a drunken brute, who felt an immense force pinning him in place. His expression darkened as he whirled around, glaring menacingly at the young interloper behind him. Boy, do you wish to meddle? One of the ruffians growled, brandishing a sharp knife toward Xiao Wuji. Have you listened to too many tales? You think you can play the hero? Consider whether you possess the strength for such folly. Just because you're handsome doesn't mean we won't strike you down. The 3 brutish men wore expressions of intimidation, ready to draw their blades at the slightest provocation. In the realm of the martial world, who among them did not carry the weight of several lives? Dealing with this pretty boy would be as effortless as slaying a chicken. Yet, Xiao Wuji merely shook his head. Why should she engage with you brutes while I am denied the same privilege? You exhibit a blatant bias, favoring the female over the male, which is truly disheartening. The onlookers in the hall, immersed in the spectacle, were rendered speechless. This dashing young man wished to join them in revelry? Truly, the times had changed, and humanity had fallen from grace. The drunken giant, upon hearing this, felt goosebumps rise across his skin, his inebriation evaporating significantly. "Daring to mock you, old man? You seek death." The brute's face turned a shade of crimson as he lunged at Xiao Wuji with a fierce strike. With a swift motion, a gust of wind accompanied his attack. Soul-chasing blade technique. "You are the infamous trio from the Happy Valley." Jiang Qingzhu's expression shifted. She had not anticipated that these drunken thugs were indeed the notorious villains of the Happy Valley, renowned for their infamy rather than their valor. The three were wanted by the 6 doors, each burdened with a multitude of crimes, their hands stained with blood. Their nefarious deeds were beyond reckoning. To evade capture by the 6 doors, they had sought refuge in the Happy Valley, utilizing their infamous title to navigate the martial world. Who would have thought that the 3 notorious villains would appear in Qixia Town? This was dire indeed. Just as Jiang Qingzhu prepared to assist, Xiao Wuji's gaze halted her. Primarily, he wished to avoid drawing attention. These villains represented a wealth of experience points. "Happy Valley, is your leader truly so merry?" With a deft movement, Xiao Wuji effortlessly sidestepped the attack from the 3 infamous rogues. The brute who had struck at him was taken aback. Others, upon hearing the name of the Happy Valley's notorious trio, would either flee in terror or kneel in supplication. Yet this young man dared to inquire if their leader was indeed merry. He was truly mad. "Altogether now, let us slay this lunatic." The 3 villains unleashed the soul-chasing blade technique, their synergy impeccable, their blades weaving a seamless and impenetrable assault. The combined force of their attack was far greater than mere addition could convey. Even the formidable warriors of the 5th realm cannot withstand this. They would be reduced to mere pulp in an instant. Just as they were about to strike, Xiao Wuji's figure vanished abruptly. When he reappeared, he stood before a burly man, his fists resembling sandbags, ready to deliver a blow. "How dare he lay hands on us, brothers? It seems you are utterly ignorant of the meaning of death." The man let out a sinister laugh, and as he discerned the martial art practiced by Xiao Wuji, his laughter grew even more boisterous. The 13 bodyguards' horizontal training? A child of 3 could master such feeble techniques, and he dared to flaunt them here? The man scoffed in indignation, dismissing the 13 bodyguards' method as beneath his notice. Did this lad truly believe that such an inferior technique could withstand their soul-chasing blade? How utterly laughable. Upon returning, he would surely share this amusing tale with the leader. Yet, in the next moment, the man's laughter was silenced. The anticipated outcome of Xiao Wuji's hand being severed did not unfold. The blade failed to even graze his skin. A tremendous force reverberated as the villain's knife shattered upon striking Xiao Wuji, splintering into several pieces. In the astonished gazes of the ruffians from the Happy Valley, Xiao Wuji's fist descended like a mountain of immense weight. By the time they comprehended the situation, the man who had attacked Xiao Wuji was already flattened to the ground, his chest caved in, a gaping wound the size of a fist, blood gushing forth. In an instant, his life was extinguished. The heroes in the hall stared in disbelief, their eyes wide. One punch had obliterated a villain of the Happy Valley. Many had practiced the 13 bodyguards technique, which merely enhanced a warrior's resilience, but could never deflect blades or spears, not to mention achieving an indestructible body. Only upon reaching the 9th level of perfection could one hope to attain such strength. Yet, who would squander their lifespan on such a trivial technique? Similarly, why was Xiao Wuji's mastery of the 13 bodyguards so astonishing? The villains of Happy Valley were utterly baffled, leading to their demise. "Big brother, you little brat, you dare to slay our leader? The Happy Valley will never rest until we exact vengeance." As the words left their mouths, 2 burly men retreated at breakneck speed, desperate to escape the wrath of Xiao Wuji. Did they think they could flee after offending him? Without even drawing his blade, Xiao Wuji executed a swift maneuver. Appearing behind them, his fists shot forth like meteors, striking the back of their heads. Crack, crack. The crisp sounds echoed as the heads of the 2 villains burst like watermelons, instantly transforming them into lifeless corpses. Slaying a 5th realm warrior. Gained 39 years of remaining lifespan. Slaying a 5th realm warrior. Gained 43 years of remaining lifespan. Slaying a 5th realm warrior. Gained 38 years of remaining lifespan. Acquired the soul-chasing blade technique, uninitiated. With the defeat of the 3 notorious villains from Happy Valley, Xiao Wuji absorbed a total of 120 years of lifespan. To his surprise, these ruffians had quite a lengthy span of life. Indeed, virtuous individuals seldom enjoy longevity, while evildoers leave a legacy of misery for millennia. However, they encountered Xiao Wuji, and thus met their untimely demise. Before long, a mortuary worker arrived to collect the bodies of the 3 notorious villains. A series of wary glances were cast towards Xiao Wuji. He appeared unfazed, seated comfortably opposite Jiang Qingzhu, indulging in a hearty meal. Jiang Qingzhu's gaze wandered, seemingly astonished that not only was Xiao Wuji exceptionally handsome, but his martial prowess was also formidable. This trip to 7 Heroes Town was indeed worthwhile. Chapter 15. The bloodthirsty soul-chasing blade. Are they connected to the murderer of Jin Mangu? In the main hall of Tung Fu Inn, Jiang Qingzhu whispered, lowering her voice. Xiao Wuji shook his head, explaining that the three villains from Happy Valley employed the soul-chasing blade technique, not the profound darkness divine palm. Thus, they bore no relation to the murderer. They were merely unfortunate souls who crossed paths with Xiao Wuji. Consequently, they became the currency of his longevity. Who do you think is the most suspicious? Jiang Qingzhu inquired softly. Currently, the suspects remain the Northern Blade Master, the sword-wielding scholar, and the couple visiting Seven Heroes Town. Each could potentially be the culprit. I have instructed Manager Tong to disseminate news of the discovery of the Heavenly Dragon treasure box. If the murderers sought it, they would surely come knocking. Xiao Wuji remained unperturbed, for he need not venture out in search of the murderer. The Heavenly Dragon treasure box lay in his possession. He merely needed to wait patiently for the perpetrator to come to him. Whoever wields the profound darkness divine palm shall be the murderer. A look of concern appeared in Jiang Qingzhu's bright eyes. Does that not place you in great danger? Xiao Wuji glanced at her, surprised to find that the newly acquainted, buxom constable possessed such a sense of loyalty. There is no need for concern. I shall be unharmed. The one in peril is the murderer. Seeing Xiao Wuji's calm demeanor, Jiang Qingzhu felt a measure of comfort. As midnight approached, after Tung Fu Inn had closed for the night, Xiao Wuji took a jug of wine to the backyard. Seated in the serene courtyard of the inn, he warmed the wine before his thoughts turned to the longevity sutra within his mind. The three notorious villains from Happy Valley had granted him an additional 120 years of life. Xiao Wuji's longevity now reached 129 years, achieving the milestone of a centenarian. Infusing my lifespan, let me cultivate the soul-chasing blade technique. The pages of the Longevity Sutra fluttered as segments of text emerged. Infusing 8 years of lifespan, the soul-chasing blade technique breaks through to the first level, achieving minor mastery, comprehending the soul-chasing seizure. Infusing 16 years of lifespan, the soul-chasing blade technique breaks through to the second level, achieving major mastery, comprehending the sacrificial blade. Infusing 24 years of lifespan, the soul-chasing blade technique breaks through to the third level, reaching perfection, comprehending the Yama's life-seizing grip. In an instant, Xiao Wuji's lifespan diminished by 48 years. The next moment, a torrent of experience and insights regarding the cultivation of the soul-chasing blade technique surged into his being. It was as if he had truly devoted decades to mastering the technique, finally attaining the third level of perfection. The soul-chasing blade technique comprises 3 formidable moves: soul-chasing seizure, sacrificial blade, and Yama's life-seizing grip. Each move operates on the principle of exchanging life for life, inflicting 1,000 points of damage upon the enemy while suffering 800 in return. Extremely ferocious. The soul-pursuing blade technique is notorious in the martial world, leaving a trail of blood with each strike. The moment an ordinary warrior witnesses the technique, their spirit is already lost. The 3 infamous villains of Happy Valley, having only mastered a mere fraction of the soul-pursuing blade technique, are already considered formidable figures. Alas, they shall never have the opportunity to witness the true essence of this technique. After perfecting the soul-pursuing blade technique, Xiao Wuji chose to further refine it. Infusing 32 years of lifespan, continue to hone the soul-pursuing blade technique. Your exceptional aptitude for blade techniques allows you to merge the soul-pursuing blade technique with the blood-slaughter blade technique, thereby creating a second-tier blade technique, blood-slaughter soul-pursuing blade. Xiao Wuji's eyes suddenly sparkled with brilliance. Both the soul-pursuing and blood-slaughter blade techniques are first-tier martial arts, and by combining the two, he has astonishingly conceived a second-tier blade technique. The power of second-tier martial arts transcends mere addition. Once unleashed, the blood-slaughter soul-pursuing blade compels even innate realm experts to retreat in fear. In the absence of innate realm masters within Seven Heroes Town, Xiao Wuji can dominate with the blood-slaughter soul-pursuing blade and the profound essence of blade techniques. However, Xiao Wuji does not allow himself to relax. News of the Heavenly Dragon treasure box in his possession, once made public, will inevitably attract innate realm experts. A full moon hung high in the sky. Alone beneath the moonlight, Xiao Wuji sipped his drink, his upright figure elongating in the silvery glow. At that moment, footsteps approached. Someone was coming. A graceful and stunningly beautiful young woman, her hair elegantly styled, appeared in the backyard. Xiao Wuji recognized her as the lady from the couple visiting Seven Heroes Town. His gaze fell upon her lightly adorned jade-like face, stirring a slight response within him. Madam, your hairstyle is rather perilous. I am Mei Yinxiu, honored to meet you, young Master Xiao. Mei Yinxiu approached and offered a graceful bow. Her voice, reminiscent of a haunting melody, seemed to possess an enchanting power capable of captivating any man. Just hearing it could leave one spellbound. Mei Yinxiu's figure was alluring, akin to the legendary natural seductress, embodying the innate charm of a celestial being. Yet, at that moment, Xiao Wuji's heart remained unperturbed. This woman, sneaking out in the dead of night to seduce him, was surely not of noble character. Is there something you require, Madame Mei? Observing Xiao Wuji's indifference, Mei Yinxiu's gaze darkened. She had assumed that this young man, brimming with youthful vigor, would be easily swayed, yet he proved to be resolute. However, Mei Yinxiu was prepared and had other strategies to engage him. Young Master Xiao, I cannot sleep. May I trouble you for a drink? Without waiting for his response, Mei Yinxiu sat down with a sigh, pouring herself a drink with a sorrowful expression. Madame Mei, it is quite late. You should return home after having a drink. It would not be good if your husband were to discover this. Xiao Wuji played along with Mei Yinxiu's act, curious about her ulterior motives. Upon hearing this, Mei Yinxiu's expression grew increasingly melancholic. Young Master Xiao, you may not know, but every family has its own troubles. After a few cups, she appeared as if intoxicated, revealing her heart to Xiao Wuji. My wretched husband seeks solace with a concubine. When I voice my grievances, he turns hostile. As she spoke, Mei Yinxiu began to loosen her clothing. The pale skin was marred with bruises, revealing the marks of a beating. Mei Yinxiu presented a picture of delicate helplessness. Witnessing this scene, one could hardly expect any man to remain unmoved. Xiao Wuji, with a clear gaze, silently observed Mei Yinxiu's performance. Noticing the situation, Mei Yinxiu, thwarted in her first scheme, devised another. After consuming a few drinks, she suddenly furrowed her brow, clutching her heart with a pained expression. Xiao Gongzi, my heart feels quite uncomfortable. Could you possibly take a look? With alluring eyes, Mei Yinxiu gazed at Xiao Wuji. I happen to know a gynecologist renowned for his skills. He could surely cure Madame Mei's ailment. I shall have him prepare a remedy for you, ensuring your affliction is swiftly alleviated, Xiao Wuji replied. Seeing that Xiao Wuji was not falling for her ploy, Mei Yinxiu's expression darkened ominously. I sneak out in the dead of night, away from my husband, only for you to suggest I fetch medicine? Is that proper? No sooner had she spoken than Mei Yinxiu, like a wraith, swiftly approached Xiao Wuji. Xiao Gongzi, I know the heavenly dragon treasure box is in your possession. Surrender it, and I assure you, I will elevate you to greatness. With blood-red nails akin to blades, she lunged at Xiao Wuji's throat. Chapter 16. You have arrived just in time. A sinister smile graced Mei Yinxiu's face, as if she could already envision Xiao Wuji meeting a tragic end beneath her skirts. Unlike the three inept fools from the Happy Valley, who fell to Xiao Wuji in mere moments, she was confident in her prowess. Even if Xiao Wuji had perfected the 13 bodyguards' formidable skills, it would be difficult for him to withstand her Xianin claw. However, Mei Yinxiu soon realized her joy was premature. Xiao Wuji was not merely adept in the 13 bodyguards technique. In an instant, Xiao Wuji's right hand vanished. Following that, a vivid splash of blood filled Mei Yinxiu's vision. The speed of Xiao Wuji's strike was so swift that she could hardly comprehend how he had executed it. The blood flashed and vanished. Mei Yinxiu felt a chill in her shoulder, and a severed arm fell before Xiao Wuji. Her pupils constricted in shock, recognizing the arm as familiar. When she glimpsed her empty shoulder, realization struck her. Her arm had been cleaved off by Xiao Wuji's blade. The swiftness of his technique left her without time to feel pain. She merely sensed a coldness. My hand. Moments later, blood gushed from her wound, staining her garments crimson. Never did she imagine that Xiao Wuji not only excelled in the 13 bodyguards' arts, but was also a terrifying master of swordplay. Yet, how could someone not yet 20 years old, who had begun training in the womb, have perfected both the 13 bodyguards' techniques and the blood saber art? The question confounded Mei Yinxiu, sealing her fate. At that moment, she resembled a ghost, too panicked to retrieve her severed arm, and attempted to flee using her lightness skill. Regret consumed her. She deeply wished she had not provoked Xiao Wuji. Perhaps she would pay for her folly with her very life. In the courtyard beyond, Mei Yinxiu moved with an ethereal grace, darting towards the inn's exit at an unprecedented speed. Her sole desire was to distance herself from Xiao Wuji as much as possible. This man was utterly terrifying. Xiao Wuji gazed upon Mei Yinxiu's ghostly figure and, without hesitation, wielded his blade. The bloodthirsty, soul-seizing blade. A piercing scream escaped Mei Yinxiu's lips, as she sensed a chilling aura of death locking onto her. In the next instant, a dazzling crimson blade light erupted forth. The soul-seizing strike, spanning dozens of meters, instantaneously pierced through Mei Yinxiu's form. Did she think she could escape after offending young Master Xiao? With a thunderous crash, Mei Yinxiu fell to the ground. Her face contorted with terror as she turned to look at the figure seated in the courtyard. Throughout this ordeal, Xiao Wuji had remained seated, and with a single stroke, he had nearly claimed her life. As she caught Xiao Wuji's gaze, Mei Yinxiu trembled in fear, unable to comprehend how events had spiraled to this point. How could such a formidable master as Xiao Wuji exist in the small town of Qixia? Young Master Xiao, please show mercy. I am willing to serve you day and night, she pleaded. Just then, a boisterous man reeking of alcohol stormed in, his face twisted with rage. Damn that woman. Sneaking out behind my back while I'm drunk. Is she having an affair with some pretty boy? If I find him, I swear I'll make him pay. In the next moment, the furious man froze in place. Before Li Xiong stood his woman, Mei Yinxiu, with one arm severed and her body impaled. Blood gushing from her wounds, appearing on the brink of death. Witnessing this scene, Li Xiong's demeanor shifted to one of icy calm. He gulped nervously, beads of cold sweat forming on his brow. The reality before him was far from what he had anticipated. He glanced at the blood-soaked Mei Yinxiu, then at the composed Xiao Wuji, realizing perhaps his timing was ill-fated. Xiao Wuji looked at Li Xiong and smiled. No, your timing is impeccable. In the next instant, a tremendous bloodthirsty aura surged forth. The bloodthirsty blade technique. Li Xiong recognized the technique employed by Xiao Wuji, and his expression changed dramatically. Practitioners of the bloodthirsty blade technique must continually slay opponents. The more victims, the more potent the technique becomes, akin to the accumulation of a murderous blade. How many lives had Xiao Wuji claimed to cultivate such a formidable bloodthirsty aura? In a heartbeat, life and death hung in the balance. Li Xiong, disregarding the need to conceal his martial prowess, bellowed and unleashed a palm strike toward Xiao Wuji. The profound, dark divine palm. An eerie, blood-chilling energy erupted forth. Li Xiong had mastered the profound, dark divine palm to the fourth realm, capable of shattering the defenses of a fifth-tier martial artist. Its power was extraordinary. As Li Xiong executed the profound, dark divine palm, Xiao Wuji felt not fear, but delight. Li Xiong was indeed the murderer of Jin Manghua at the Tung Fu Inn. In truth, there were not one but two culprits responsible for Jin Menghua's demise. Mei Yinxiu was also Li Xiong's accomplice. They had masqueraded as a couple visiting Qixia Town, residing at the Tung Fu Inn while plotting their scheme. After killing Jin Manghua, they had staged the scene to resemble a robbery, thereby confusing the authorities' investigation. However, Jin Manghua had long concealed the dragon treasure box. After committing murder, Li Xiong and Mei Yinxiu failed to locate the treasure, which is why they lingered at the Tung Fu Inn instead of fleeing. The dragon treasure box resides within Li Xiong. Strike him down. Upon the arrival of Li Xiong, a fierce glint flashed in Mei Yinxiu's eyes. Under the moonlight, a crimson blade gleamed through the air, slicing into Li Xiong's body. A heart-rending, piercing scream erupted. In an instant, Li Xiong was pierced by numerous blades, blood gushing forth, and with a thud, he collapsed to the ground like a lifeless dog. Had it not been for Li Xiong's profound martial prowess, he would have been slain by Xiao Wuji in that very moment. Xiao Wuji gazed expressionlessly at the blood-soaked Li Xiong. No problem is insurmountable with a single strike. If it is, then let there be another. Xiao Wuji. Li Xiong spat blood, his eyes bulging with rage as he fixed his glare on Xiao Wuji. Before the confrontation, he had never anticipated that Xiao Wuji would possess such formidable strength. Despite being merely at the fourth level of postnatal cultivation, Xiao Wuji had perfected both his martial arts and swordsmanship, far surpassing ordinary warriors in combat prowess. Within the same rank, his might was unrivaled. Slaying foes of higher levels was as effortless as slicing through vegetables. Such a prodigy, even among the sects of cultivation, was a rarity. How could he possibly emerge from the humble Seven Heroes town? With a furious roar, Li Xiong summoned the swirling black energy around him into his body. His skin turned a ghastly blue, reminiscent of a corpse. Enhanced by his true qi, his already formidable physique grew even more imposing. The North Ming true qi erupted. As the mysterious Ming divine palm descended, a resounding crash echoed as the stone table before Xiao Wuji shattered. An overwhelming aura surged forth. Xiao Wuji, are you ready to face your demise? Li Xiong's wounds ceased to bleed, and he revealed a terrifying grin directed at Xiao Wuji. Tonight, the one to perish shall be you. At that very moment, Xiao Wuji moved. An ominous blade intent erupted from his being, his eyes transforming into a sea of crimson. As if he had emerged from a mountain of corpses and a sea of blood. Blade intent. Li Xiong's eyes widened in disbelief. As if he were witnessing the apocalypse. Spare me. Li Xiong's face was a mask of terror, his figure retreating without hesitation. He did not even spare a glance at the fallen Mei Yinxiu. Nothing was more precious than his own life. As Xiao Wuji unleashed his strike, a torrent of blood surged forth, reflecting in Li Xiong's terrified gaze. The scent of death loomed ominously. In that moment, Li Xiong felt as though his deceased great-grandmother was beckoning to him. A dazzling scarlet blade light erupted. Li Xiong bellowed, summoning all his strength to leap away from the Tung Fu Inn. Yet, as he leapt, he found himself crashing back to the ground. Then, his left eye beheld his right eye. Only then did Li Xiong realize, too late, that his body had split in two. Before consciousness faded, he saw himself drifting down like two wisps of cotton. With a single stroke, Xiao Wuji parted Li Xiong's hair down the middle. What kind of sword technique is this? Li Xiong opened his mouth in astonishment, marveling at such a breathtaking display of skill. Yet, his words were cut short as he took his last breath. Having slain the postnatal sixth-layer warrior Li Xiong, he obtained 64 years of his remaining lifespan. Having slain the postnatal fifth-layer warrior Mei Yanxiu, he obtained 47 years of her remaining lifespan. Acquired the Xianming Divine Palm, not yet mastered. Acquired the incomplete Baiming True Qi. Xiao Wuji's eyes sparkled with delight as he unexpectedly unlocked two martial arts techniques. The Xianming Divine Palm was the signature martial art of the Xianming sect, which had been eradicated by the imperial court over 20 years ago. Li Xiong had originally been an ordinary disciple of the Xianming sect. During the sect's downfall, he seized the opportunity to pilfer the secrets of the Xianming Divine Palm and Baiming True Qi. After leaving the sect, Li Xiong and Mei Yanxiu adopted false identities, transforming into an ordinary couple while secretly cultivating the Xianming Divine Palm and Baiming True Qi. However, Li Xiong's aptitude was limited. After over 20 years of practice, he had only managed to reach the fourth layer of the Xianming Divine Palm. With only a fragment of the Baiming True Qi, he could only grasp the most superficial aspects. Li Xiong learned that Jin Mangu had in his possession the legendary dragon treasure box left by the former Tilong sect. Thus, he and Mei Yanxiu disguised themselves as a couple visiting Qixia Town to reconnect with family and took up residence in the Tung Fu Inn. Jin Mangu, unsuspecting of their true identities, welcomed them. That evening, Li Xiong and Mei Yanxiu orchestrated a trap for Jin Mangu. Mei Yanxiu intentionally seduced him, and when he took the bait, Li Xiong struck with a powerful palm, severely injuring Jin Mangu. However, after slaying Jin Mangu, they failed to locate the dragon treasure box. Just then, Jiang Qingzhu appeared in the backyard. Having heard the commotion and realizing that Xiao Wuji was engaged in combat, she rushed over to assist. Upon arrival, she discovered that the battle had already concluded. At Xiao Wuji's feet lay two lifeless bodies, their eyes wide open in death. Jiang Qingzhu immediately recognized them as the couple residing in the adjacent room to Jin Mangu. The woman had lost an arm and bore a ghastly penetrating wound, blood gushing forth uncontrollably. The man fared even worse, cleaved in two, with blood pooling around him. Xiao Wuji stood unscathed beneath the full moon, wielding a bloodied long knife, appearing almost like a deranged killer to the unknowing eye. Witnessing this scene sent a shiver down Jiang Qingzhu's spine. The murderer of Jin Mangu has been apprehended, Xiao Wuji calmly stated. It was them. Jiang Qingzhu could not refrain from asking, astonished to learn that the assailants were not just one, but a man and a woman. She had unwavering faith in Xiao Wuji's words. He had no reason to deceive her. The man is Li Xiong, and the woman is Mei Yanxiu. They are remnants of the Xianming sect. Li Xiong has cultivated the Xianming Divine Palm to the fourth layer. He was the one who killed Jin Mangu. Xiao Wuji explained in one breath. Upon hearing their names, Jiang Qingzhu's expression shifted. The infamous duo, they are indeed them. Do you know them? Jiang Qingzhu nodded. The notorious duo known as the Twin Devils was on the wanted list of the Six Doors. They were responsible for the massacre at the White Horse Manor 6 months prior. The Six Doors had pursued them for half a year, only to discover they had arrived in Qixia Town. In this era, the absence of ubiquitous surveillance cameras and facial recognition systems meant that their search relied solely on the wanted posters. However, the likenesses on these posters bore little resemblance to the actual criminals, and many fugitives lacked any recorded images. The task of apprehending them was akin to finding a needle in a haystack. Unbeknownst to anyone, the Twin Devils had disguised themselves as an ordinary couple and taken residence at the Tung Fu Inn in Qixia Town. Unfortunately for them, they crossed paths with Xiao Wuji, who had them in his sights. They became a pair of desperate lovers on the run. Jiang Qingzhu marveled at Xiao Wuji's extraordinary fortune in capturing the Twin Devils. What astonished her even more was that Li Xiong had cultivated the Xianming Divine Palm to the fourth level, yet he was no match for Xiao Wuji, who effortlessly dispatched him with a single strike. How had he achieved such prowess? In truth, Li Xiong's strength was not to be underestimated. He could hold his own against a practitioner of the 7th level of the acquired realm. Yet, Xiao Wuji surpassed him in strength. Not only had he perfected several martial arts, but he had also grasped the essence of swordsmanship. 99% of swordsmen would struggle their entire lives to comprehend the profound meaning of their craft. The Blood God Slash was a dimensional strike against Li Xiong. It was a miracle he had survived as long as he did. With the resolution of the murder case at the Tung Fu Inn, Manager Tong could finally rest easy. Upon returning to his room, Xiao Wuji's mind stirred as he opened the Longevity Sutra within his consciousness. He noticed that 2 new martial arts had manifested: Xianming Divine Palm, not yet mastered, and Northern Underworld True Qi, incomplete. Li Xiong had spent 20 years cultivating the incomplete northern underworld true qi, barely achieving the entry level. Had he possessed the complete version, he would not have succumbed to Xiao Wuji's blade so easily. At the very least, he would have endured a few more strikes. The northern underworld true qi was a second-tier internal cultivation method, and the complete version could lead to the innate realm. Regrettably, the northern underworld true qi extracted from Li Xiong was flawed. Xiao Wuji pondered whether infusing his lifespan could aid in mastering it. He resolved to give it a try, as he had amassed over a century of lifespan from Li Xiong and Mei Yinxiu, providing him with ample time to experiment. Indeed, one must strike down many foes to seize the chance for eternal life. Infusing 10 years of lifespan, the cultivation of northern underworld true qi commences. Due to the incomplete method, your cultivation speed is slow. It takes 10 years to achieve the first level of northern underworld true qi. Was this the conclusion? Xiao Wuji felt a pang of regret as he gazed at the text in the Longevity Sutra. 10 years of lifespan had only yielded a minor ripple in progress. He wondered how much lifespan would be required to fully master the northern underworld true qi. Having begun the process, he had no choice but to persevere. Infusing 30 years of lifespan, northern underworld true qi breaks through to the second level. During your cultivation, you gain insights and complete a portion of the internal cultivation method. The northern underworld true qi was completed. Xiao Wuji's eyes brightened as the 30 years of accumulated energy surged into his body like a tidal wave. After infusing 60 years of his lifespan, you continuously deduced and completed your cultivation, ultimately breaking through the northern profound true qi to the third layer. With the energy surging like a tidal wave, Li Xiong's incomplete northern profound true qi could only be cultivated to the second layer. Yet Xiao Wuji managed to forcibly advance to the third layer of mastery. In the blink of an eye, a century of lifespan was consumed. Northern profound true qi. Third layer. Chapter 18. Postnatal fifth layer. Suddenly, Xiao Wuji opened his eyes, feeling a cool current surging within him. The true qi overflowed from his dantian like a torrent, producing a sound akin to waves crashing. The northern profound true qi flowed endlessly, invigorating him, as his martial arts realm transcended the formidable barrier of the postnatal fifth layer. It felt as though he had unblocked the meridians, resulting in an explosive increase in power. His strength had augmented more than tenfold compared to when he vanquished Li Xiong. Next, Xiao Wuji infused 40 years of lifespan to master the profound Dark Divine Palm to its fullest potential. The profound Dark Divine Palm was the signature martial art of the profound Dark Sect, a technique that was only accessible to elders within the sect. Li Xiong, being an ordinary disciple, had no right to practice it. Seizing the opportunity during the imperial crackdown on the profound Dark Sect, he stealthily absconded with the manual of the profound Dark Divine Palm. He then concealed his identity and diligently trained in it for over 20 years. Upon emerging from seclusion, he was swiftly slain by Xiao Wuji with a single stroke, dying with regret. Name, Xiao Wuji Realm. Postnatal 5th Layer Martial Arts. 13 Guardians Horizontal Training, complete. Blood Fiend Blade Technique, complete. 9 Shadows Sword Technique, complete. Soul Chasing Blade Technique, complete. Profound Dark Divine Palm, complete. Northern Profound True Qi, 3rd Layer. Ultimate Techniques, Blood God Slash. Blood Fiend Soul Chasing Blade Lifespan, 43 years. In a room at the Tung Fu Inn, Xiao Wuji unleashed a palm strike, causing the Northern Profound True Qi to surge forth like a tidal wave. With a resounding crash, a vase shattered into pieces. At that moment, the female constable in purple, Jiang Qingzhu, entered the room upon hearing the commotion. Sensing the formidable aura radiating from Xiao Wuji, her expression shifted. Have you broken through? Jiang Qingzhu asked, astonished as she gazed at Xiao Wuji, who was seated on the bed. Typically, martial artists would seek a secluded place to cultivate during a breakthrough, often retreating for 3 to 5 days, or even months. If unsuccessful, it could damage their martial foundation. Yet, she felt as if Xiao Wuji's ascension was as effortless as eating or drinking. He had broken through overnight, which was astonishingly swift. I had a moment of enlightenment last night and made a slight breakthrough, Xiao Wuji replied nonchalantly, gesturing modestly. Jiang Qingzhu regarded him with surprise, noting how he differed entirely from the constables she had encountered before. Would you be interested in joining the 6 doors? I could recommend you, she inquired. However, Xiao Wuji politely declined the invitation, stating, I am quite content as a constable in Qixia Town. The people there are all talents with delightful conversation. While a postnatal 5th layer cultivator might be considered a master in Qixia Town, he would merely be an ordinary constable within the 6 doors. Jiang Qingzhu, a purple-clad constable, had attained the pinnacle of acquired cultivation, standing merely a step away from the realm of innate masters. The outside world was fraught with peril. it was prudent to remain in Qixia Town and develop in seclusion. Furthermore, the perpetrators of her original self's demise, Wu Sheng and the leader of the Iron Palm Gang, were still thriving. How could Xiao Wuji leave Qixia Town without avenging his deep-seated grudge? Jiang Qingzhu felt a twinge of regret. With Xiao Wuji's prodigious talent, his inclusion in the Six Doors would undoubtedly lead to resplendent achievements. Yet, each person harbors their own aspirations, and she respected Xiao Wuji's decision. I shall embark for Luo Jiazhuang today, Jiang Qingzhu announced. Recently, the notorious thief, Bai Yifei, had boasted of his intent to steal the legendary sword, Jiu Jiejian. During the sword testing conference, Bai Yifei? Xiao Wuji inquired, intrigued by how this thief was reminiscent of the infamous Kaido Kid, always announcing his intentions. Indeed, Bai Yifei had gained notoriety a century ago, attempting to infiltrate the imperial palace to seize the national jade seal from the Emperor of Dying. Just as he was about to succeed, he was discovered by the dragon guards of the Baolong clan and sustained severe injuries while escaping the palace, subsequently vanishing from public view. However, 2 years ago, the thief resurfaced. Six Doors issued a wanted notice for Bai Yifei. Jiang Qingzhu patiently elucidated to Xiao Wuji. Six Doors has dispatched you to apprehend the thief? Xiao Wuji pondered. Given that Bai Yifei managed to infiltrate the palace and escape unharmed after being discovered, he must be a master above the innate level. For someone of your caliber, capturing him would seem akin to delivering a meal to the table. My mission is to safeguard the Jiu Jiejian from being stolen by Bai Yifei, Jiang Qingzhu clarified. As for capturing him, I have yet to possess such capability. Is the Jiu Jiejian truly so significant? Xiao Wuji inquired with curiosity. During the founding of the Dying Dynasty, the emperor confiscated weapons from across the land and forged 10 divine armaments, of which the Jiu Jiejian is one. The ancestors of the Luo family were founding heroes, and it is said that the Luo clan has intricate ties with the imperial family. Thus, the emperor bequeathed the Jiu Jiejian to the Luo family, and it has resided in Luo Jiazhuang for a millennium. The Six Doors likely seeks to broaden Jiang Qingzhu's horizons rather than expecting her to capture Bai Yifei, she explained. This time, she is merely passing through Qixia Town and fortuitously stayed at the Tung Fu Inn, where she encountered the recent murder case. The sword testing conference will commence in 3 days. I must take my leave. After bidding farewell to Xiao Wuji, Jiang Qingzhu departed Qixia Town early the following morning. That morning, as Xiao Wuji entered the yamen, Constable Song Ji rushed in, visibly agitated. Xiao Wuji, Captain Wu commands you to come at once. Something grave has occurred. Soon, Xiao Wuji found himself before the solemn Wu Sheng. A glint of malice flickered in Wu Sheng's eyes upon Xiao Wuji's arrival. He had long wished to eliminate Xiao Wuji. His previous attempt to poison him through Zhang Ergu's soup had failed, but now, an opportunity had finally presented itself. We have just received word from the court. The Black Wind 17 bandits have fled to the outskirts of Qixia Town. The court has ordered us to eradicate the Black Wind bandits without leaving a single one alive. The Black Wind 17 bandits were a ruthless gang of robbers, wreaking havoc like locusts, leaving nothing but devastation in their wake. The court had issued a stringent decree, demanding that the Black Wind bandits be exterminated at all costs. Wu Sheng received orders to pursue the notorious Black Wind bandit, and he immediately recognized this as an opportune moment to eliminate Xiao Wuji. Should Xiao Wuji perish at the hands of the Black Wind bandit, it would undoubtedly evade the scrutiny of the Six Doors, allowing him to orchestrate his plans without arousing suspicion. These marauders, notorious for their ruthless pillaging and destruction, were formidable adversaries, each a powerful figure in their own right, making them exceedingly difficult to confront. The leader of the bandits, known as the Bloodhand Butcher, Zhang Tianhen, was a martial arts master of extraordinary prowess. Having slain over 100 officials with his lethal blade, his strength was formidable, and even Wu Sheng could not be entirely confident in subduing Zhang Tianhen. Capturing the Bloodhand Butcher would be a remarkable feat, promising swift promotion and wealth beyond measure. Zhang Tianhen, infamous for his brutal and merciless methods, had claimed the lives of countless lawmen. If Xiao Wuji were to fall into the clutches of the Bloodhand Butcher, his fate would be sealed. Wu Sheng contemplated ways to compel Xiao Wuji to confront Zhang Tianhen. Should Xiao Wuji defy his orders, Wu Sheng could use that as a pretext to expel him from the precinct. Stripped of his position as a lawman, dealing with Xiao Wuji would be a trivial matter. Wu Sheng was resolute. He would ensure Xiao Wuji's demise. No divine intervention could prevent it. Chapter 19. Those who obstruct my ascent to power shall pay with their lives. A bounty of 200 taels for the elimination of a Black Wind bandit of the third heaven, 500 taels in promotion for a fifth heaven bandit, and a staggering 3,000 taels for the Bloodhand Butcher, Zhang Tianhen, along with a rank elevation. Upon Wu Sheng's proclamation, the lawmen of Qixia Town erupted in fervor. The Black Wind Bandits were notorious for their bloodthirsty rampages and formidable strength, making them perilous quarry. Yet, under the allure of substantial rewards, courage would surely emerge. An ordinary constable earned merely a handful of taels in a year. The prospect of 200 taels for dispatching a Black Wind Bandit was tantalizing. Even if the bounty were divided among all the constables, each would still receive a respectable sum. The temptation of wealth and promotion was irresistible, compelling these lawmen to risk their lives. In the event of death at the hands of the Black Wind Bandits, their families would receive a generous compensation. While ordinary constables harbored no illusions of besting the Bloodhand Butcher, the chance to eliminate several Black Wind Bandits promised riches. "Let us set forth," Wu Sheng declared, a sinister smile gracing his lips, envisioning the impetuous Xiao Wuji charging recklessly into battle against the Black Wind Bandits. These marauders were far from ordinary thieves. They were ruthless killers, each a formidable foe. No matter how skilled Xiao Wuji might be, confronting the Black Wind Bandits would be a perilous endeavor. Skill alone could not secure one's position. It was influence and power that mattered. With a cold laugh, Wu Sheng led a contingent of constables and officers to encircle the Black Wind Bandits. In total, 50 strong men from Qixia Town were dispatched, yet Wu Sheng remained vigilant. These officers were merely untrained civilians, akin to sheep before the might of the Black Wind Bandits. To eradicate the bandits, it would be the constables of Qixia Town who would bear the brunt of the challenge. Xiao Wuji followed a group of constables as they rushed forth. The ordinary officers unworthy of mounts, obliged to proceed on foot. After 2 hours, a dozen constables clad in blue arrived at an inn just outside Qixia Town. This inn stood at the confluence of 3 counties, serving as a haven for traveling merchants and wayfarers. Typically at this hour, one would find numerous itinerant traders dining and resting here. However, curiously, the establishment's business was particularly desolate today. Having waited outside for quite some time, not a single soul emerged. "I have received word that the infamous Black Wind Bandit is residing within this inn," Wu Sheng remarked gravely, his demeanor betraying no hint of carelessness. While he harbored little fear for the others, his sole apprehension was directed towards the ruthless Zhang Tianin, known as the Bloodied Hand Butcher. It was said that Zhang's 3 butchery techniques had reached a level of mastery, capable of severing heads to form a small mountain. Even Wu Sheng lacked complete confidence in his ability to confront Zhang Tianin's formidable skills. "Xiao Wuji, you shall disguise yourself as a passing traveler and investigate the movements of the Bloodied Hand Butcher," Wu Sheng declared unequivocally. It was highly likely that the notorious figure lay within the very inn before them. Should Xiao Wuji's identity as a constable be unveiled and discovered by Zhang, it would spell certain doom. Wu Sheng's directive for Xiao Wuji to enter was, in essence, a grim sentence of death. Nevertheless, Xiao Wuji perceived it as a fortuitous opportunity to extend his lifespan. Very well. Without hesitation, Xiao Wuji moved towards the inn. So eager to court death? Wu Sheng was taken aback by Xiao Wuji's decisiveness, finding it saved him considerable effort. In Wu Sheng's eyes, Xiao Wuji was destined to meet his end at the hands of Zhang Tianhin, the young man oblivious to the vastness of the world, mistakenly believing that a modicum of talent rendered him invincible. At the entrance of the inn, Xiao Wuji pushed the door open and stepped inside. As he crossed the threshold, a series of malevolent gazes fixated upon him. He observed 3 attendants engaged in menial tasks, while a middle-aged man, resembling the owner, calculated accounts behind the counter. Scattered throughout the hall were a few patrons dressed as merchants, indulging in food and drink. The vast inn appeared eerily empty, devoid of customers. Xiao Wuji's nose twitched as he caught a faint whiff of an iron-like scent, an odor to which he was not a stranger. It was the scent of blood. He could not discern whether it was human or animal blood. "Waiter, bring me a bowl of noodles," he said, seemingly oblivious to the sinister glances directed his way. Casually selecting a seat and placing his order, the attendants silently scrutinized the young man, their eyes glinting with a predatory gleam, reminiscent of wolves lurking in the mountains. The atmosphere within the inn was unervingly silent, saturated with the stench of blood. After a short while, one of the attendants approached, presenting a bowl of noodles. 10 taels of gold, he stated coldly, regarding Xiao Wuji as though he were a corpse. A bowl of noodles demanded such a hefty price, clearly indicative of a scheme to ensnare him. Even the golden Jaden would not dare to charge such an exorbitant sum. Xiao Wuji exhibited no immediate reaction, merely inquiring, "What kind of noodles are these?" "Beef noodles," came the reply. At that moment, a flicker of excitement illuminated his strikingly handsome visage. "I do not consume beef." The tavern attendant was momentarily taken aback, revealing his sinister intentions. "You seek death." With that, he swiftly drew a glistening cleaver from beneath the table, aiming a vicious strike towards Xiao Wuji's neck. His technique was both rapid and ruthless, clearly indicating he was no novice at murder, executing his movements with unnerving precision. Were it anyone else, they might have already met a grisly fate. In the instant the attendant launched his attack, a brilliant flash of crimson light ignited in his eyes. Xiao Wuji's right hand seemed to vanish for a fleeting moment. The next, the attendant stood frozen in place, eyes wide with terror as a series of crimson lines emerged upon his body, blood gushing forth and pooling at his feet. No one anticipated that this attendant was a master of the 5th layer of innate skill. Yet, he had not even glimpsed how Xiao Wuji had struck before he succumbed to death. The attendant's lifeless form collapsed with a resounding thud, drawing the gaze of all in the tavern. Who was this newcomer, a murderous fiend who, with a mere declaration of abstaining from beef, had dispatched a tavern worker? Witnessing this scene, several attendants rushed forth, brandishing their weapons, encircling Xiao Wuji with eyes gleaming with malice and murderous intent, eager to render him into mincemeat. Who are you? Really? The tavern manager demanded darkly. Xiao Wuji cast a casual glance at the manager, replying, I am merely a passing swordsman. A passing swordsman? What do you intend to do? I seek a person. Who? The blood-soaked butcher, Zhang Tianhan. Upon hearing this notorious name, the manager's expression shifted dramatically. Kill him, he commanded. Instantly, several attendants lunged forward like ravenous wolves, intent on slaying Xiao Wuji. With a single stride, Xiao Wuji's right hand vanished, and in a flash, he executed a devastating strike. Blood fiend pursuing soul blade. Those who obstruct my rise to fortune shall pay with their lives. Chapter 20. Is Xiao Wuji too extreme? Xiao Wuji's speed in drawing his blade was so swift that the attendants merely caught a fleeting glimpse of a luminous arc slicing through the air. When they regained their senses, they found themselves spinning in disorientation, only to behold several headless corpses, gushing blood like grotesque fountains. The stench of death assailed them. And in that instant, realization dawned upon them. They were already deceased. Lifespan, 19 years. Lifespan, 23 years. Lifespan, 27 years, after slaying several. Xiao Wuji experienced a surge in his own life force, just as he had surmised. The patrons of the tavern had been mercilessly slaughtered by the Black Wind bandits. Subsequently, these brigands had masqueraded as tavern workers and the manager, lying in wait for passing merchants to enter, seeking to rob and murder them. Once they had amassed their plunder, they would set the tavern ablaze, leaving no witnesses behind. However, the Black Wind bandits did not anticipate that someone would dare to confront them so boldly. Such audacity. With a fierce resolve, they rallied together. The innkeeper seized a cup and smashed it forcefully against the ground. The shattering of the cup served as a signal. Instantly, over a dozen cutthroats emerged, their menacing gazes fixed upon Xiao Wuji, intent on reducing him to mere pulp. Die. A bandit of the 3rd layer of postnatal martial arts launched a sneak attack from behind, swinging his axe violently against Xiao Wuji's back. Immediately, a tremendous backlash reverberated. The bandit let out a wretched scream akin to a slaughtered pig, his axe shattered, and his body propelled uncontrollably backward. Horizontal training? The innkeeper's expression darkened, clearly astonished that someone could cultivate horizontal martial arts to such an extent. Not even a blade could harm a single hair on him. At that moment, Xiao Wuji stepped forward, unleashing a torrent of northern underworld true qi. Upon witnessing this, the expressions of the Black Wind bandits shifted dramatically. Realizing that this young man was not one to be trifled with, they instinctively retreated, but it was too late. Xiao Wuji directed a sudden palm strike at a retreating bandit, obliterating the 4th layer bandit into a cloud of blood from a distance of several meters. Mystic Shadow Palm? The bandit masquerading as the innkeeper gasped in disbelief, eyes wide with astonishment. This absurdly youthful lad not only possessed formidable horizontal martial arts and terrifying swordsmanship, but also demonstrated profound mastery of the Mystic Shadow Palm. Who exactly is he? Xiao Wuji had dispatched the Black Wind bandits within the inn with the ease of slicing through vegetables, rendering the once feared bandits as helpless as lambs awaiting slaughter. Not a single one could withstand his strike. Meanwhile, Wu Sheng and the group of constables were still observing the situation outside the inn. Suddenly, a tremendous commotion erupted within. Captain Wu, there's activity inside. Could it be that Xiao Wuji is engaged in a fight with the Black Wind bandits? When shall we intervene? I fear Xiao Wuji may not hold out. An elderly constable expressed his concerns. Xiao Wuji's father had been the former captain of Qixia Town, who had perished in the line of duty. The veteran constables had all watched Xiao Wuji grow up and did not wish for him to come to harm. However, Wu Sheng harbored different intentions. He had long desired to eliminate Xiao Wuji, whom he viewed as a thorn in his side. Entering the fray would inevitably alert the enemy. If the Bloodhand Butcher were to escape, could he bear the responsibility? Wu Sheng scoffed, his expression devoid of emotion. But Xiao Wuji, if he cannot endure, he will seek help. We merely need to wait for the opportune moment. Wu Sheng thought it best that Xiao Wuji perish at the hands of the Bloodhand Butcher. After all, Xiao Wuji had offended the young master of the Qixia sect. The connections of the Qixia sect were formidable. It was rumored that an exceptionally talented female disciple from the sect was soon to enter the palace as a consort. With such influence, even the six doors could do little against them. For a mere constable like Xiao Wuji to provoke the young master of the Qixia sect, who would survive? Wu Sheng aimed to leverage Xiao Wuji's life to gain favor with the Qixia sect. As long as the esteemed concubine of the Qixia sect uttered a single word, he would ascend to great heights with ease. At that moment, a resounding crash echoed through the air. Wu Sheng instinctively turned his gaze, only to witness a figure hurtling out of the inn, bloodied and crashing to the ground like a bloodied gourd. Wu Sheng promptly rushed forward with the constables, only to discover that the figure was not Xiao Wuji, but rather a black-wind bandit masquerading as the innkeeper. Upon closer inspection, Wu Sheng saw that the bandit was covered in wounds, as if he had been subjected to a torturous execution, his head lolling at an unnatural angle, lifeless. Wu Sheng produced a wanted poster for comparison and immediately recognized the individual as Hu Taihan, the second-in-command of the Black Wind Bandits. Who could have done this? Could it be Xiao Wuji? A tremor ran through Wu Sheng. Hu Taihan was a formidable opponent at the 6th level of the innate realm. How had Xiao Wuji accomplished such a feat? Let us investigate further, he urged. When Wu Sheng and the group of constables stormed into the inn, they were met with a horrific sight. Corpses of Black Wind Bandits sprawled across the ground, their lifeless eyes wide open in death. In the vast expanse of the inn, only one imposing figure remained standing. Who else could it be but Xiao Wuji? At that moment, Wu Sheng was utterly astounded. Had Xiao Wuji single-handedly vanquished all the bandits? How could this be possible? The transformation of Xiao Wuji was beyond his comprehension. What on earth is happening, Xiao Wuji? Wu Sheng inquired, his expression grave. They served me a bowl of beef noodles, which I refused to eat, and so I dispatched them all, Xiao Wuji replied nonchalantly. Wu Sheng was left speechless. Was it truly so extreme to slaughter everyone in the inn simply for refusing to serve beef? Captain Wu, all those slain by Xiao Wuji are indeed Black Wind Bandits. An elder constable remarked in astonishment as he compared the faces in the wanted poster. Just as they were pondering this revelation, a thunderous roar akin to a tiger's growl reverberated from the 2nd floor of the inn. A burly man appeared, exuding a terrifying aura that seemed to emanate from a mountain of corpses and a sea of blood, the result of countless lives extinguished. He bore a fearsome ghost-headed sword upon his shoulder. The Butcher of Blood, Zhang Tian'an. Wu Sheng gasped, feeling the overwhelming malevolence wash over him. His expression turned grave. He had not anticipated that the infamous butcher would be even more formidable than the legend suggested. The sheer intensity of his aura sent chills down his spine. Zhang Tian'an surveyed the lifeless bodies of the Black Wind Bandits strewn about the floor. Rage and murderous intent surged within him. Damn the court's lapdogs. Return my brother's lives to me, he bellowed, fixing his gaze fiercely on Wu Sheng. He had been sleeping in his room when the commotion awoke him, only to find his comrade slaughtered. And now, Wu Sheng stood amidst the carnage. If he hadn't been responsible, who else could be to blame? With a furious roar, Zhang Tian'an leaped from the balcony, brandishing his ghost-headed sword with ferocious intent, ready to strike at Wu Sheng. 3 slaughters, sword technique. With a powerful and forceful strike, Wu Sheng swiftly raised his blade to defend himself. An overwhelming force surged forth, causing Wu Sheng's knee to crash heavily against the ground. Chapter 21. The 3 slaughtering blade technique. Slaughtering thousands is majestic. A chilling and piercing scream echoed through the air as Zhang Tian'an delivered a deep, bone-revealing gash to Wu Sheng's shoulder. Enduring the agony, Wu Sheng executed a hasty roll to evade further harm. Despite both being at the 7th level of postnatal cultivation, he was utterly outmatched by Zhang Tian'an, who felled him with a single blow. Wu Sheng's lack of mastery in advanced blade techniques rendered him defenseless against Zhang Tian'an's fearsome 3 slaughtering blade technique. This technique, renowned for its lethality, has claimed countless lives at Zhang Tian'an's hands, bringing him to a formidable level of mastery. Wu Sheng found himself in a dire predicament. As Zhang Tian'an was convinced he was the one responsible for his brother's death, relentlessly pursuing him like a rabid dog. The true culprit was Xiao Wuji, but the blame fell squarely on Wu Sheng. Seething with rage, Wu Sheng cursed Xiao Wuji for inciting the chaos that had driven Zhang Tian'an into a frenzy. Initially, Wu Sheng had hoped that Xiao Wuji would perish at the hands of the Black Wind Bandits, but instead, he had shot himself in the foot. At this moment, Wu Sheng's face was grim, drenched in cold sweat. Had he not reacted swiftly, he would surely have been cleaved in two by Zhang Tian'an's blade. He had assumed that his 7th level of postnatal cultivation would suffice against the Bloodhand Butcher, believing that sheer numbers would allow them to triumph. Little did he know that the 3 slaughtering blade technique was so dreadfully formidable. In mere moments, it could annihilate all the constables of the 7 Heroes town. leaving none alive. Fortunately, Wu Sheng recognized the peril of the Bloodhand Butcher and had prepared accordingly. Xiao Wuji blocked him. Wu Sheng quietly retreated behind a group of constables. His gaze dark as he observed Zhang Tianhen and Xiao Wuji. He feared that even Xiao Wuji, no matter how powerful, could not withstand the onslaught of the three slaughtering blade technique. Just then, Xiao Wuji's form vanished abruptly, like a fleeting shadow, reappearing behind Zhang Tianhen. Channeling the profound underworld divine palm, he struck forcefully at Zhang Tianhen's back. The chilling and bone-piercing energy of the north underworld surged into Zhang Tianhen's body, freezing his meridians. Seeing this unfold, Wu Sheng's expression darkened, astonished that Xiao Wuji could inflict harm upon the Bloodhand Butcher. What gave him the capability? Zhang Tianhen roared in fury, swinging his ghost-headed blade and pivoting violently to strike at Xiao Wuji. Due to his meridians being sealed, Zhang Tianhen's speed had diminished significantly, allowing Xiao Wuji to evade the blow with ease. In response, Xiao Wuji unleashed a strike, unleashing a tsunami of bloodthirsty energy that cut into Zhang Tianhen. However, to his surprise, Zhang Tianhen was clad in a golden cicada mystical armor, which absorbed the impact of Xiao Wuji's strike. Suddenly, Xiao Wuji sensed an ominous presence and, without hesitation, executed the floating light shadow technique, vanishing from Zhang Tianhen's sight in an instant. The next moment, a tremendous explosion reverberated through the inn, as the terrifying flames engulfed the figure of the Bloodhand Butcher. Latency. Xiao Wuji stood at a distance, observing the metallic sphere hurled by Wu Sheng, the hidden weapon of the Thunderbolt sect, Latency. Its power was extraordinarily formidable. A single sphere, no larger than a longan, could obliterate a master at the 7th level of postnatal refinement. Latency was the Thunderbolt sect's secret weapon, and a mere one would cost several hundred taels of silver. Wu Sheng possessed only that one Latency. This time, in his effort to eradicate the Bloodhand Butcher, he had indeed invested heavily. Wu Sheng initially intended to eliminate Xiao Wuji alongside the Butcher, but was taken aback by his keen awareness as he evaded the attack. Humph. It seems this Xiao Wuji has a charmed life. Wu Sheng snorted coldly, knowing there would be ample opportunities to deal with Xiao Wuji in the future. As long as he could bring back the corpse of the Bloodhand Butcher, promotion and wealth would be within reach. Suddenly, a realization struck Wu Sheng. The Bloodhand Butcher was not dead. His expression shifted dramatically, a gasp of disbelief escaping his lips. Zhang Tianhen, clad in the impervious golden cicada mystic armor, had narrowly escaped death. The armor repelled both fire and water, shielding him from the searing flames and preserving his life at a critical moment. Yet, Zhang Tianhen was grievously wounded. He leaped forward fiercely, dashing towards the forest beyond the inn. He must not escape. Wu Sheng felt an urgent anxiety swell within him. If Zhang Tianhen managed to flee, his dreams of elevation and fortune would shatter. Thus, in a fit of impulsive determination, he pursued. His speed, that of a master at the 7th level of postnatal refinement, far surpassed that of an ordinary lackey, and in the blink of an eye, he vanished from sight. On a wild, overgrown mountain, Wu Sheng soon caught up with the injured Bloodhand Butcher, Zhang Tianhen. Halt! Wu Sheng's eyes blazed with fervor. The chance for promotion and wealth lay before him, and he could not allow the Butcher to escape. With a furious shout, he summoned all his strength and leaped, closing the distance to Zhang Tianhen. He thrust his blade with ferocity. Upon seeing the constable closing in, a glint of malice flashed in Zhang Tianhen's eyes. Suddenly, he turned and lunged forward. Just in time. Wu Sheng's knife plunged into the Butcher's abdomen. However, the blow was thwarted by the golden cicada mystic armor. It was then that Wu Sheng recalled Zhang Tianhen was clad in an armor impervious to blades and flames. Zhang Tianhen, with a sinister grin, delivered a powerful punch to Wu Sheng's chest, sending him crashing to the ground. Wu Sheng's chest caved in, a bloody hole tearing through him, and blood gushed forth. As he opened his mouth, he coughed up a mixture of blood and internal fragments. Damn it! Despite being a master at the 7th level of postnatal refinement, he had not perished from such grievous injuries. He fought fiercely with Zhang Tianhen, but Wu Sheng was utterly incapable of countering his 3 slaughter blade technique. And in an instant, Zhang Tianhen severed his limbs. Bloodied, he collapsed to the ground. At that moment, a figure suddenly appeared before the Bloodhand Butcher, Zhang Tianhen. Zhang Tianhen recognized this as the young constable from earlier in the inn. Dare to stand before me, and you seek death. Zhang Tianhen grinned ominously, brandishing the heavy ghost head blade, surging towards Xiao Wuji like a tempestuous black whirlwind. The 3 slaughter blade technique. A massacre spanning 1,000 miles. The terrifying aura surged forth in an instant. Xiao Wuji, his expression composed, lifted his gaze and tightened his grip on the tempered blade in his hand. Your 3 slaughter blade technique is commendable. Now, it shall be mine. As the words fell, Xiao Wuji moved forward, unexpectedly advancing towards the blood-handed butcher. What? Zhang Tianhen was momentarily taken aback, unable to comprehend Xiao Wuji's intent. In the next heartbeat, a dazzling crimson blade light soared into the heavens. Is this blade intent? The blood-red blade flash flickered and vanished. Zhang Tianhen's eyes widened in shock and disbelief. A grotesque had ascended into the sky. Clad in the golden cicada mystic armor, Xiao Wuji severed his head with a single strike. Amidst the intertwining figures, Xiao Wuji had already positioned himself behind Zhang Tianhen. With a clang, he sheathed his blade. Behind him, a robust body crashed to the ground. Having slain the postnatal 7th-level warrior Zhang Tianhen, acquired his remaining lifespan of 80 years. Acquired the 3 slaughter blade technique, not yet mastered. The techniques of the 3 slaughter blades surfaced in Xiao Wuji's mind. To slay one is a sin, to slay thousands is to be heroic, to slay millions is to be the greatest of heroes. Chapter 22, The Death of Wu Sheng. The 3 slaughter blade technique has been unleashed. Xiao Wuji's eyes sparkled with brilliance. The blood-handed butcher, Zhang Tianhen, had rampaged with the prowess of a single technique, claiming the lives of countless victims. Even Wu Sheng, also a postnatal 7th-level warrior, was no match for him. Once the 3 slaughter blade technique was invoked, none could withstand it. After vanquishing the Black Wind Bandits and the blood-handed butcher, Xiao Wuji's lifespan surged beyond 500 years, reaching the pinnacle for postnatal realm experts. Longevity scripture, grant me the fullness of the 3 slaughter blade technique. Thank you. With a thought, Xiao Wuji opened the longevity scripture in his mind, directly infusing his lifespan to cultivate the 3 slaughter blade technique. Infused 33 years of lifespan. The first layer of the 3 slaughter blade technique, the human slaughter chapter, is perfected. Infused 59 years of lifespan. The second layer of the 3 slaughter blade technique, the earth slaughter chapter, is perfected. Infused 87 years of lifespan. The third layer of the 3 slaughter blade technique, the heaven slaughter chapter, is perfected. In but an instant, Xiao Wuji elevated the 3 slaughter blade technique to the third layer's perfected state. Even the blood-handed butcher, steeped in the technique for decades, had not achieved this level. Xiao Wuji glanced at his remaining lifespan of over 300 years, and with a thought, infused more lifespan to continue cultivating the Biming True Qi. Infused 179 years of lifespan, gained insight into the Biming True Qi fragment, ultimately breaking through the shackles and refining the 4th layer of Biming True Qi. Current lifespan, 142 years. Suddenly, a tremendous force of True Qi surged into Xiao Wuji's body like a mountain's roar or a tsunami, merging into his limbs and bones. After infusing 179 years of lifespan, he had finally refined the 4th layer of Biming True Qi. Due to possessing only a fragment of the Biming True Qi, requiring constant deduction and cultivation, the process was exceedingly slow, resulting in significant consumption of lifespan. If one were to continue infusing their lifespan into cultivation, it remains uncertain whether the complete essence of the North Underworld True Qi could be unraveled. After mastering the 3rd level of the 3 slaughter blade technique and the 4th level of the North Underworld True Qi, Xiao Wuji's current lifespan is still 142 years. Simultaneously, his martial arts realm begins to ascend dramatically, soaring from the 5th level of the acquired stage to the pinnacle of the 6th level in an instant. The speed of his ascension is akin to a rocket. Breathtakingly swift, Xiao Wuji, wielding his blade, approaches the pale-faced Wu Sheng, who has had his limbs severed by Zhang Tianhen. Wu Captain, are you still alive? Wu Sheng, who had been feigning death, realizes he can no longer maintain his ruse upon seeing Xiao Wuji approach. To his astonishment, Xiao Wuji has actually slain the Bloodhand Butcher, who was at the 7th level of the acquired stage. Could it be that Xiao Wuji had been concealing his strength and playing the fool to catch the tiger? At this moment, Wu Sheng's heart is tumultuous. He senses that Xiao Wuji's aura is that of the pinnacle of the 6th level, merely a step away from the 7th level, and Xiao Wuji is still under 20 years old. What does this signify? At 49 years of age, Wu Sheng had invested over 10,000 taels of silver to reach the 7th level of the acquired stage, while Xiao Wuji, at less than half his age, is nearly on par with him. In comparison, Wu Sheng feels as though his hard-earned cultivation has been wasted. Witnessing the spirited Xiao Wuji, Wu Sheng suddenly feels decades older. Xiao Wuji, what do you intend to achieve? At this moment, regret floods Wu Sheng's heart, profound remorse not for plotting against Xiao Wuji, but for not having eliminated him at any cost before he could rise. The risk of attracting the attention of the 6 doors would have been preferable to being trampled underfoot by Xiao Wuji. Look at this auspicious grave site. It would be quite fitting for Captain Wu to rest here, wouldn't you agree? Xiao Wuji remarks with a smile that barely conceals his intentions. Wu Sheng's heart sinks. You dare. Attacking an official is a grave crime. If the 6 doors catch you, you are doomed. He shouts, attempting to attract the attention of other constables. Yet, disappointment is inevitable. This mountain is vast, and their location is exceedingly remote. It would take ordinary constables a considerable time to reach them. You know that killing an official is a serious offense. Why then did you allow Zhang Ergu to poison my soup? Xiao Wuji's expression is unervingly calm, causing Wu Sheng to feel a chill run down his spine. It has nothing to do with me. Someone seeks your life. Who desires the life of Xiao Wujin? Not receiving a reply, Xiao Wujin swiftly slashes at Wu Sheng's scalp, nearly giving him a close shave. It is the esteemed catch of the 6 doors. Lei Meng. Lei Meng. Xiao Wujin has heard of this name. He is one of the 4 great catchers of the 6 doors. Yet he has never encountered Lei Meng himself. Why would Lei Meng want to kill me? Lei Meng has secretly allied himself with the Qixia sect. He intends to use your life as a token of allegiance to them, Wu Sheng hastily explains. A female disciple of the Qixia sect, having attained the esteemed title of imperial concubine, has caught the attention of Lei Meng, who aspires to ascend the ranks within the bureaucratic realm with her backing. In a desperate bid for favor, he covertly aligns himself with the Qixia sect. If one were to lay blame, it would be for the misfortune of having crossed paths with the sect's young master. Upon learning of this, Lei Meng boldly volunteered to eliminate the young master of the Qixia sect and promised to elevate my status within the 6 gates, granting me nobility. Wu Sheng, like a bamboo tube pouring out beans, divulged the truth. However, Xiao Wuji remained oblivious to the intricate web of deceit surrounding him. The threat to his life did not solely emanate from Zhang Ergu and Wu Sheng, but also from Lei Meng, the formidable enforcer of the 6 gates. To Lei Meng, Xiao Wuji was but a minor character, merely a pawn on the chessboard. The exchange of Xiao Wuji's life for his own rise to prominence was deemed an honor. Yet, Lei Meng did not anticipate that the seemingly deceased Xiao Wuji had returned to life. In a moment of clarity, Wu Sheng pleaded for mercy, believing that Xiao Wuji would not dare to take his life. He reasoned that should Lei Meng discover any incriminating evidence, he could rightfully execute Xiao Wuji. However, Xiao Wuji felt no sympathy for Wu Sheng. He recognized that Wu Sheng's fear stemmed not from remorse, but from the impending threat of death. Do not be foolish. Master Wu, I am an upright constable. How could I harm you? As he spoke, Xiao Wuji approached and retrieved the imposing ghost head broadsword, which belonged to the bloodthirsty Zhang Tianhen. It is the bloodthirsty killer who seeks your demise, not I, Xiao Wuji. Wu Sheng's eyes widened in terror as he witnessed Xiao Wuji unleash the 3 slaughters blade technique, a torrent of malevolent energy surging forth from his grasp. The 3 slaughters blade technique. How is this possible? Wu Sheng was baffled, unable to comprehend how Xiao Wuji could wield the deadly technique of the bloodthirsty killer, and perfected to such an extraordinary degree. It was known that even Zhang Tianhen had not mastered it to its fullest. How had Xiao Wuji achieved such prowess? Could he truly be a genius? The ghost head broadsword cleaved through Wu Sheng's body, severing him in 2. He perished instantly beneath the onslaught of the 3 slaughters blade technique. Having vanquished the postnatal 7th layer warrior Wu Sheng, I gained 50 years of his remaining lifespan. Despite possessing the capabilities of a postnatal 7th layer warrior, Wu Sheng's martial arts were rather unremarkable, yielding no formidable techniques. Chapter 23, Imperial Divine Skills. Heavenly Dragon Heart Method. A day later, within the 6 gates office, several individuals gazed upon the neatly arranged corpses strewn across the floor, their expressions grave. Each of these individuals was equipped with embroidered spring blades, donned in flying fish attire, their feet clad in exquisite brocade boots, exuding an aura of iron and blood. Before them stood a towering, robust man with a black visage, the formidable Lei Meng, one of the 4 great enforcers of the 6 gates. An officer beside Lei Meng stepped forward to meticulously examine the bodies on the ground, paying particular attention to the corpses of Zhang Tianhen, the bloodthirsty killer, and Wu Sheng, the captain of the 7 heroes. Report, my lord, Zhang Tianhen bears multiple wounds, yet the fatal injury was the final strike that severed his head. The assailant's technique must have reached an extraordinary level, transcending the ordinary. A middle-aged man clad in flying fish attire reported to Lei Meng after inspecting the bodies. The individual in question is Wei Long, a silver medal constable of the 6 doors. Wu Sheng's swordsmanship is utterly mediocre. Such a strike is beyond his capabilities. Lei Meng, with his keen insight, immediately discerned that Wu Sheng was inept. Given his abilities, he was entirely unfit to slay the infamous Bloodhand Butcher. The one who vanquished the Bloodhand Butcher was a young constable named Xiao Wuji from Qixia Town, Wei Long softly remarked. Xiao Wuji, it is he. Upon hearing the name, Lei Meng's eyes darkened. Wasn't Xiao Wuji dead? Wu Sheng had clearly informed him that Xiao Wuji had been poisoned to death. Yet now, not only was Xiao Wuji alive and well, but he had also eradicated the Black Wind's 17 thieves and slain the Bloodhand Butcher, achieving significant merit. What could possibly explain this? Lord Lei, I have discovered that Xiao Wuji suddenly fell ill and died half a month ago, only to inexplicably return to life shortly thereafter. With his martial prowess advancing at an alarming rate, there must be some hidden agenda, Wei Long stated, having thoroughly investigated Xiao Wuji's background. Xiao Wuji's lineage posed no issues. His father had been the previous head constable of Qixia Town, marking him as a legitimate second-generation constable. However, according to Wei Long's inquiry, Xiao Wuji's martial arts talent was rather unremarkable. After years of training, he had barely achieved a basic level. Yet following his resurrection, he had transformed into a martial prodigy, with skills escalating tremendously. Even the Bloodhand Butcher met his demise at Xiao Wuji's hands. To assert that Xiao Wuji harbored no secrets would be implausible. However, the Six Doors could not simply interrogate Xiao Wuji based on this. Is there any connection between Wu Sheng's death and Xiao Wuji? Lei Ming inquired, studying Wu Sheng's lifeless body. His instincts suggested an inextricable link between Wu Sheng's demise and Xiao Wuji. Wu Sheng had perished beneath Zhang Tianen's renowned Three Slaughters sword technique, which on the surface seemed unrelated to Xiao Wuji. The Three Slaughters sword technique is Zhang Tianen's ancestral skill. Logically, Xiao Wuji could not possibly master or mimic it. Wei Long reported. Thus, the only plausible culprit for Wu Sheng's death was the Bloodhand Butcher, with no ties to Xiao Wuji. Lei Ming sensed an underlying irregularity, yet lacked concrete evidence. However, there was something peculiar. The individual who killed Wu Sheng had an exceptionally high mastery of the Three Slaughters sword technique, likely having attained perfection. Yet Zhang Tianen's technique was not that formidable, a conundrum that perplexed Wei Long. If it were indeed Xiao Wuji who had used the Three Slaughters sword technique to murder Wu Sheng and frame the Bloodhand Butcher, how could his mastery surpass that of the Bloodhand Butcher? This was illogical. Xiao Wuji could not merely glance at the Three Slaughters sword technique and achieve perfection. Even a martial saint could not accomplish such a feat. Lei Ming suspected that Xiao Wuji had avenged himself by killing Wu Sheng, but this was merely a hunch. Lacking substantiation. Have someone shadow Xiao Wuji. I wish to know every detail about him. No one excels in surveillance and intelligence gathering quite like the Six Doors, he commanded. Sir, Constable Jiang passed through Qixia Town and is acquainted with Xiao Wuji, Wei Long discreetly reminded him. Jiang Qingzhu was merely a novice constable within the Six Doors. By all accounts, Lei Ming had no need to regard her. However, the multifaceted identity of Jiang Qingzhu compelled Lei Ming to approach the situation with utmost caution. A single misstep could potentially lead to grave consequences. I understand, Lei Ming stated with an impassive expression. Following Xiao Wuji's eradication of the Black Wind Bandits, he promptly returned to the magistrate's office in Qixia Town. With the demise of Wu Sheng, the protective umbrella behind the Iron Palm Gang had been dismantled. The connections within the office severed, rendering the Iron Palm Gang's existence far less comfortable than before. In the wake of Wu Sheng's death, the position of the town's constable became vacant. Given Xiao Wuji's commendable feat of slaying the Bloodhand Butcher, the role of constable was rightfully his. Simultaneously, after the defeat of the Black Wind Bandits, Xiao Wuji's lifespan experienced a remarkable increase, now totaling 192 years. Rather than further infusing his lifespan into cultivating the Northern Ming true qi, he decided to unveil the Heavenly Dragon treasure box, eager to probe into its mysteries. With determination, Xiao Wuji initiated the process, opening the longevity scriptures within his mind, and began to infuse his lifespan into comprehending the Heavenly Dragon treasure box. 9 years of lifespan infused into the Heavenly Dragon treasure box, yielding no results. Such a waste of 9 years of lifespan, how infuriating. Xiao Wuji scratched his head, resolutely continuing to infuse his lifespan. He remained unconvinced that he could not unravel the secrets of the Heavenly Dragon treasure box. 9 years of lifespan infused. A flicker of insight finally dawned upon you, albeit faint. 9 years of lifespan infused. You uncovered a hidden technique within the Heavenly Dragon treasure box. 9 years of lifespan infused. After diligent study, you have finally comprehended the secrets of the Heavenly Dragon treasure box, unlocking a technique of the Heavenly Dragon Heart method. In the next moment, the cultivation methods of the Heavenly Dragon Heart method surged into Xiao Wuji's consciousness. A brilliant light radiated from his eyes, illuminating his understanding. The Heavenly Dragon Heart method is the pinnacle of martial arts within the Heavenly Dragon sect, accessible solely to its leader. The founding emperor of the Dying Dynasty practiced this very method. After the extermination of the Heavenly Dragon sect by the Dying Dynasty, the Heavenly Dragon Heart method became a sacred legacy of the royal family, reserved exclusively for the reigning emperor. Yet, Xiao Wuji had discerned the Heavenly Dragon Heart method from the Heavenly Dragon treasure box. Was this tantamount to donning the yellow robe? Xiao Wuji mused, acutely aware that should the royal family discover his comprehension of the Heavenly Dragon Heart method, they would relentlessly pursue him to reclaim it. Thus, the Heavenly Dragon Heart method must remain concealed, otherwise he would be embroiled in a life-and-death struggle with the dying royal family. With his current innate capabilities, once identified by the royal family, he would have no choice but to flee the dying dynasty. What he needed most was time, to eliminate foes, absorb their lifespans, and enhance his strength. After a moment's contemplation, Xiao Wuji concealed the Heavenly Dragon treasure box, recognizing that it was prudent to keep it hidden until he achieved a breakthrough in the innate realm. At that moment, Constable Xing rushed over with an urgent expression. Wuji, I discovered a ledger beneath Constable Wu's wardrobe, detailing the Iron Palm Gang's dealings in smuggling weapons and trafficking people. Constable Xing presented the ledger. Upon reviewing its contents, Xiao Wuji inferred that this was the leverage Wu Sheng had employed to threaten the Iron Palm Gang. Wu Sheng is now of no use. Xiao Wuji gazed out the window at the withering leaves, swirling and falling in the brisk autumn breeze. With the arrival of autumn, let the Iron Palm Gang meet its end. Chapter 24. The Fall of the Iron Palm Gang. At the Iron Palm Gang's headquarters, a middle-aged man with a goatee, resembling a secretary, lamented, "Boss, Wu Sheng is dead. What will become of our business?" He could not fathom how Wu Sheng, seemingly in good health, could suddenly perish. With Wu Sheng's demise, the protective shield of the Iron Palm Gang had crumbled, jeopardizing their smuggling and human trafficking operations. Without business, the gang would face financial ruin. The numerous brothers within the gang relied on their earnings. Without money, survival would be impossible. A gang without funds is like a handful of sand, easily scattered without the need for a gust of wind. In the loyalty hall, the gang leader, Duan Feng, sat in the main seat. His brow furrowed and his expression grave. Wu Sheng's death was too sudden, leaving the Iron Palm Gang unprepared. Furthermore, Duan Feng had received news that Xiao Wuji had slain the Bloodhand Butcher, achieving great merit, and was poised to succeed Wu Sheng as the chief. Previously, the Iron Palm Gang had attempted to assassinate Xiao Wuji. Once he ascended to power, it was evident that the Iron Palm Gang would not fare well under his rule. However, Duan Feng's concern did not solely lie with this. It was Xiao Wuji's strength that troubled him. In a short span, Xiao Wuji had transformed from an ordinary constable into a formidable practitioner of the 6th level of innate strength. Even the Bloodhand Butcher had fallen to his hand. It is worth noting that although Duan Feng was at the 8th level of innate strength, he could not contend with the Bloodhand Butcher. In a confrontation, he would likely be slain by the Butcher's infamous 3-slicing technique. Sometimes, martial prowess does not equate to true strength. Since becoming the gang leader, Duan Feng had grown accustomed to a life of comfort, his abilities far inferior to those of a bloodthirsty outlaw like the Bloodhand Butcher. How formidable must Xiao Wuji be? Who had bested the Butcher? Duan Feng dared not dwell on this thought. At this moment, he regretted having antagonized Xiao Wuji in order to curry favor with the Qingqing sect. A storm was brewing outside, and the Iron Palm Gang's prosperous days seemed numbered. "Boss, can we reconcile with Xiao Wuji?" the secretary asked anxiously. All gangs in the martial world sought fame and fortune. Fighting was merely a means to an end. Isn't Xiao Wuji serving to gain promotion and wealth? Chunfeng interjected. As long as the bribes are substantial enough, I cannot believe Xiao Wuji would remain indifferent. Su Langlang, the deputy leader of the Iron Palm Gang, agreed, stating, "Everyone has their weaknesses. If Xiao Wuji covets wealth, we shall offer him silver. If he desires women, we shall provide women. What if he prefers men?" Someone suddenly interjected. The atmosphere in the loyalty hall grew tense and peculiar. "If Xiao Wuji refuses our overtures and insists on opposing the Iron Palm Gang, we shall not be easily trifled with," Duan Feng declared with a fierce glint in his eyes. His reputation on the streets was built upon 3 pillars: ruthlessness, a loyal brotherhood, and formidable martial skill. No matter how powerful Xiao Wuji might be, he could not withstand the sheer numbers of the Iron Palm Gang. Each of them, armed with a blade, could reduce Xiao Wuji to mere paste for the dogs. Indeed, the unassuming Xiao Wuji has no reason to fear. Before his words could fully resonate, the doors of the Loyal Righteous Hall were abruptly thrust open, revealing a young man who boldly strode inside, disregarding the presence of others as he approached Duan Feng. Witnessing this audacious intrusion, Duan Feng's expression soured, annoyance flickering across his visage. His subordinates had become increasingly unruly. He was in the midst of a meeting with the core members of the Iron Palm Gang when this youth brazenly entered. Just as Duan Feng was about to rebuke him, the intruder inquired, "Are you the leader of the Iron Palm Gang?" "Who are you?" Duan Feng responded, realizing that this young man was not affiliated with the Iron Palm Gang. How had he managed to infiltrate their stronghold? Had everyone outside perished? Allowing an outsider to wander in so audaciously? "You seek me, yet you do not even know my identity?" Without further ado, Xiao Wuji directed a lethal strike towards the seated leader, executing the blood fiend pursuing Soul Blade. With a swift motion, a brilliant crimson blade of energy surged forth, cleaving through Duan Feng's body. A chilling, piercing scream echoed within the loyal righteous hall as Duan Feng's garments were instantly shredded by the blade's force, revealing his protective inner armor. However, this impenetrable armor was swiftly dismantled by Xiao Wuji's blade aura, which punctured Duan Feng's abdomen, creating a gaping wound from which blood gushed forth. Pale with terror, Duan Feng hastily attempted to stanch the flow of blood from his injury. "You are Xiao Wuji?" The masters of the Iron Palm gang within the loyal righteous hall were momentarily paralyzed with shock. No one had anticipated that Xiao Wuji would dare to boldly infiltrate their territory and, in the presence of their formidable experts, deliver a strike to their leader. How could he summon such audacity? Did he not fear being reduced to mere pulp by the collective might of the Iron Palm gang? "Xiao Wuji, the Iron Palm gang bears you no grudge. What is it that you seek?" The astonishment deepened as they realized that even the leader, a formidable practitioner at the 8th level, was unable to withstand a single blow from Xiao Wuji. Just how terrifying was his swordsmanship? With the revelation of the Iron Palm gang's collusion with the notorious Wu Xingguan in arms smuggling and human trafficking, Xiao Wuji had been dispatched to investigate, declaring, "Those who obstruct my path shall perish." As he spoke, he unleashed another strike. The scintillating blade light arced through the air like a silver ribbon, aimed directly at the neck of the Iron Palm gang leader. Duan Feng, face contorted in terror, let out a frantic cry and rolled to the ground in a desperate attempt to evade Xiao Wuji's blade. Yet, the swiftness of the strike was unparalleled. By the time he reacted, it was already too late. The blood-red blade pierced through Duan Feng's shoulder, blood spraying forth in a gruesome display. At that moment, Duan Feng was engulfed in a profound sense of helplessness. Despite possessing the formidable prowess of the 8th level, he found himself caught off guard by Xiao Wuji's assault. Unable to unleash his full potential, Xiao Wuji's swordsmanship was astoundingly rapid, capable of inflicting harm from a distance of several meters. Duan Feng stood no chance of approaching Xiao Wuji to employ his Iron Palm techniques. Should he attempt to retaliate, he feared he would be cleaved into pieces on the spot. "Leader," as Duan Feng transformed into a bloodied mess. The masters of the Iron Palm gang could not help but exclaim in shock. Quickly block Xiao Wuji. Realizing the dire situation, the experts of the Iron Palm gang rushed forward to confront Xiao Wuji. If their leader were to perish at his hands, they too would share the same fate. However, to their astonishment, Xiao Wuji's strength was overwhelmingly formidable. Their attacks landed upon him, yet not a single hair on his body was harmed. Not only did Xiao Wuji possess the perfected skills of the 13 Guardians martial arts, but he also donned the golden cicada mystic armor, stripped from the Bloodhand Butcher. For added protection, the blades of the Iron Palm gang's masters failed to breach his defenses. In contrast, with a single sweep of his blade, several heads soared into the air as if they were mere vegetables being chopped. One by one, he dispatched the masters of the Iron Palm gang with ease. With each kill, Xiao Wuji's lifespan surged once more. Shortly thereafter, the Iron Palm gang's stronghold was awash with blood. The remaining masters, terrified, hastily discarded their weapons and surrendered. "Lord Xiao, spare us. We yield, please show mercy," they cried out. "I wish to redeem myself, Lord Xiao." At that moment, a group of constables poured in. Apprehending the surrendered masters of the Iron Palm gang, Xiao Wuji paid them no mind and pursued Duan Feng's direction. Chapter 25. The Threefold Techniques, a Monumental Gain. Within the Iron Palm gang's stronghold, Duan Feng seethed. Damn that madman Xiao Wuji, bloodied and battered. He seized the opportunity amidst the distraction caused by his comrades to flee into the secret chamber behind the Loyalty Hall. No one in the Iron Palm gang, aside from him, was aware of this chamber's existence. The craftsman who had constructed the secret hideaway had also met his demise at Duan Feng's hands. His body submerged in the lake to feed the fish. As long as he could reach the chamber, he could preserve his life. Yet, he lamented that the Iron Palm gang he had built would likely meet its ruin. All of this was due to Xiao Wuji. A deep-seated hatred festered within Duan Feng's heart, yet he lacked the courage to confront Xiao Wuji in a duel. Had it not been for the inner armor he wore, he might have already been cleaved in two by Xiao Wuji's blade. Duan Feng was perplexed. Just days prior, Xiao Wuji had been an inconspicuous constable. How could he have suddenly become so powerful? Just a single strike had nearly sent him to his demise. A nagging suspicion gnawed at Duan Feng that Wu Shengji may have also fallen to Xiao Wuji's hands. This vengeful youth would surely not let him escape unscathed. As long as the Green Hills remain, one need not worry about firewood, he thought. If he could survive, there remained hope for the Iron Palm gang's resurgence. All the wealth plundered by the gang was in his possession. With this treasure, he could forge a new Iron Palm gang. However, he could no longer remain in Seven Heroes Town, and he dared not entertain thoughts of vengeance against Xiao Wuji. At over 50 years of age, The notion of breaking through to the innate realm was akin to chasing a mirage. With Xiao Wuji's terrifying swordsmanship, none beneath the innate realm could rival him. Duanfeng activated the mechanism, and a stone door slowly creaked open before him. With a swift motion, he slipped inside. As Duanfeng twisted the mechanism in an attempt to keep Xiao Wuji outside, a wave of lethal blade energy struck his chest. The razor-sharp, bloodthirsty blade aura sliced through his torso, severing his sternum and leaving a wound deep enough to expose bone. With a harrowing scream, Duanfeng hastily fled into the secret chamber, too late to close the stone door. Xiao Wuji's figure glided like a wisp of light, swiftly following him. Inside the chamber, bloodied Duanfeng crashed into a mound of gold, a hoard he had amassed over the years as the leader of the Iron Palm Gang, extorted from the citizens of Qixia Town. Now, before he could even spend it, death loomed. Lord Xiao, spare my life. All this gold is yours, Duanfeng pleaded, blood gushing from his wounds, his face a mask of desperation. In the next instant, a streak of bloodthirsty blade energy sliced across his neck, spraying blood onto the golden floor. Xiao Wuji shook his head impassively. Foolish man, even if I kill you, this gold remains mine. Having slain Duanfeng, a martial artist at the 8th level of the postnatal realm, I have gained his remaining lifespan of 69 years. With Duanfeng's demise, the Iron Palm Gang was utterly annihilated. From this day forth, Qixia Town would no longer harbor the Iron Palm Gang. Xiao Wuji's gaze swept over the gold and silver before him, his expression unperturbed. What he sought was immortality, boundless longevity. Wealth held no significance for him. While in the secret chamber of the Iron Palm Gang, Xiao Wuji had discovered 3 martial arts manuals that had been meticulously preserved: Dragon Elephant Diamond Technique, Sacred Spirit Swordplay, and Dynamic 8 Directions. The martial arts worthy of being stored in the secret chamber were undoubtedly not commonplace. They were exceptional skills seldom seen. Xiao Wuji picked up the Dragon Elephant Diamond Technique and perused its pages. This profound body-refining technique originated from the Bei Liang Dragon Elephant sect. It could be regarded as an advanced version of the 13 Guardians training method. Mastery would bestow the practitioner with the strength of 10 dragons and 10 elephants, capable of moving mountains, an unstoppable force. Although Duanfeng had attempted to cultivate this technique, his limited aptitude yielded no remarkable results. The cultivation of the Dragon Elephant Diamond Technique required years of arduous training, tempering the blood and refining the body to achieve an indestructible state. Next, he opened the Sacred Spirit Swordplay, a sword technique passed down from a sect known as the Sacred Spirit Sword Sect, founded 5 centuries ago. The sect's leader had wielded this technique to defeat the finest talents of various clans, boasting triumph over the 6 realms of gods and demons. The intricacies of the Sacred Spirit Swordplay contained profound truths, but only those with exceptional insight could grasp its essence. Apart from the sect's leader, no one else had successfully mastered the Sacred Spirit Swordplay. Though Xiao Wuji's swordsmanship was of average quality, with enough lifespan, he was certain he could comprehend this swordplay. If 10 years were insufficient, then 50. If 50 were inadequate, then 100. The final manual, Dynamic 8 Directions, was a lightness skill. To Xiao Wuji's astonishment, it was a creation of the legendary thief Bai Yifei. Once mastered, it would allow one to move without a trace, capable of traversing even the most perilous of places. After securing the 3 martial arts manuals, Xiao Wuji summoned other constables to come in and clear the battlefield, remove the body of Duanfeng and all the treasures of the Iron Palm Gang. For Xiao Wuji, the greatest gain from the annihilation of the Iron Palm Gang is not only the addition of several hundred years to his lifespan, but also the acquisition of 3 martial arts manuals. Furthermore, he discovered several letters within the secret chamber of the Iron Palm Gang. Among these letters, Xiao Wuji made a significant revelation. Duanfeng was affiliated with the Luo sect. As Xiao Wuji understood it, the Luo sect originated from the northern desert and is considered a malevolent cult. The martial arts world of the Daijing dynasty is dominated by 3 major evil sects: Luo, Blood God, and Heavenly Demon. Presently, these 3 malevolent sects are merely branches of the Tianlong sect. In the Daijing dynasty, any individual associated with an evil cult is to be executed without mercy. The shadow of the Luo sect looms over the Iron Palm Gang, which has been extorting money from the common folk, most of which has been devoted to the elders of the Luo sect. The distribution of wealth is a 30-70 split, with the Iron Palm Gang retaining 30% and the Luo sect taking 70%. From the letters, it is evident that the elder Chao Tianqi of the Luo sect has been backing the Iron Palm Gang. He entered the innate realm a decade ago, and is likely at the 2nd level of the innate stage now. By exterminating the Iron Palm Gang, Xiao Wuji has undoubtedly incurred the wrath of the evil cult. However, he is not overly concerned, for members of the evil cult tend to conceal their whereabouts. Should they be discovered by the court's experts, they would meet with a merciless fate. Yet, with the threat of an elder from the evil cult looming over him, he fears that sleep may not come easily. To ensure peaceful slumber, he resolves to find an opportunity to eliminate him once he breaks through to the innate realm. Xiao Wuji jotted down the name Qiao Tianxi in his notebook before departing the Iron Palm Gang's stronghold and returning to the Yamen. Not long after, the news of Xiao Wuji's eradication of the Iron Palm Gang reached Lei Ming of the Six Doors. The thought of Xiao Wuji, with his mere 6th level of postnatal cultivation, single-handedly slaughtering Duan Feng, the 8th level leader of the Iron Palm Gang, weighed heavily on Lei Ming's mind. How could he have accomplished such a feat? Such prowess is a rarity even among the ranks of cultivation sections. Lei Ming increasingly suspected that Wu Sheng's demise was undoubtedly linked to Xiao Wuji. Now, all those who had conspired against Xiao Wuji have met with grim fates. If Xiao Wuji is indeed seeking vengeance, he would surely trace it back to Lei Ming. A sinister smile spread across Lei Ming's face. He was no fool like Wu Sheng. With his peak innate cultivation, even if Xiao Wuji trained for a decade, he would not stand a chance against him. The day after the annihilation of the Iron Palm Gang, Xiao Wuji received a letter. It was sent by Jiang Qingzhu and contained only a single line of elegantly penned characters. Hurry to Luo's Manor for the sword testing conference. Chapter 26, The Heartless Sword. Jing Wuming. Jiang Qingzhu's letter did not divulge any details about the events at Luo's Manor, but her tone suggested urgency, leading Xiao Wuji to speculate that she might be in some form of trouble. Flashes of past works he had encountered in his previous life crossed his mind. Infiltrating the Inspector, the Goddess Inspector's Downfall, the Thief Saint, and the Female Inspector's Heart-Stirring Romance. And 33 Days in the Secret Chamber. All featured a strikingly beautiful female inspector clad in fish-scale attire, possessing a generous bosom. In the tale, the female constables captured by the flower thief ultimately met a tragic fate, marked with the character for justice inscribed upon them. Nevertheless, the fact that Jiang Qingzhu was able to send a missive to Xiao Wuji indicates that she is not in immediate peril. Without delay, Xiao Wuji resolves to visit the Luo family manor. However, he must not approach in the guise of a constable, lest he alarm the thief and draw unwanted attention to himself. Thus, he plans to adopt the persona of a swordsman to partake in the sword trial tournament. In this era, youthful swordsmen from across the land converge at the Luo family manor for the tournament, each aspiring to achieve fame through combat. By masquerading as an unremarkable swordsman, he can blend in without arousing suspicion. Coincidentally, he discovered a scroll containing the sacred spirit sword technique within the Iron Palm Gang's secret chamber. Name, Xiao Wuji Realm. Postnatal 6th level martial arts. 13 Guardians Universal Training, Perfection. Blood Slaughter Blade Technique, Perfection. Flickering Light and Shadow, Perfection. 9 Shadow Sword Art, Perfection. Northern Darkness True Qi, 4th layer. Profound Mysterious Divine Palm, Perfection. 3 Massacre Blade Technique, Perfection. Dragon Elephant Diamond Skill, Unrefined. Spirit Movement, in 8 directions, Unrefined. Sacred Spirit Sword Technique, Unrefined. Lifespan, 533 years. After vanquishing the Iron Palm Gang, Xiao Wuji's lifespan surpassed the 500-year threshold, reaching the limit for martial artists of the postnatal realm. This remarkable increase in longevity was partly due to his proficiency in slaying foes, thus enhancing his power swiftly. As he commenced his training in the Sacred Spirit Sword Technique, a thought crossed his mind, and he infused his lifespan into the cultivation. Throughout history, only one individual had ever mastered this technique. It embodies the essence of the universe, requiring profound comprehension and insight for mastery. Although Xiao Wuji's aptitude for swordsmanship is average, fortune favors him. Infusing 30 years of lifespan, you diligently practice the Sacred Spirit Sword Technique and gain insight, slightly enhancing your swordsmanship aptitude. The Sacred Spirit Sword Technique reaches the minor accomplishment stage. To attain even the minor accomplishment stage after 30 years of rigorous practice, Xiao Wuji inhaled deeply, acknowledging the formidable challenge posed by the Sacred Spirit Sword Technique. Yet, he felt no trepidation, with 500 years of lifespan invested. Even a swine could grasp the essence of swordsmanship. Resolutely, he continued to elevate the Sacred Spirit Sword Technique. Without hesitation, he softly uttered, infusing 45 years of lifespan. You immerse yourself in the Sacred Spirit Sword Technique, experiencing a moment of enlightenment, and your swordsmanship aptitude improves. The Sacred Spirit Sword Technique ascends to the major accomplishment stage. With 75 years of lifespan dedicated, he finally advanced the Sacred Spirit Sword Technique to its major accomplishment stage. However, this was merely the beginning. A mere 75 years of lifespan was but a trifling sum to Xiao Wuji. Infusing 75 years of lifespan, you comprehend the intricacies of the Sacred Spirit Sword Technique. Enhancing your swordsmanship aptitude. The Sacred Spirit Sword Technique reaches the transcendent stage. While delving into the Sacred Spirit Sword Technique, you perceive a fleeting glimpse of sword intent. The momentary essence eludes you, as your aptitude is insufficient to grasp the sword intent. After expending 150 years of lifespan, he finally cultivated the Sacred Spirit Sword Technique to a sublime realm. In the next instant, a multitude of techniques and insights from the Sacred Spirit Sword Technique surged into Xiao Wuji's being. It was as though he had truly comprehended swordsmanship for 150 years, instantaneously becoming a first-rate swordsman. Regrettably, due to his inadequate aptitude, he ultimately failed to grasp the sword intent inherent in the Sacred Spirit Sword Technique. To enhance his swordsmanship aptitude, he must continually practice and contemplate the techniques of various sword schools. At the sword testing tournament, it is likely that several remarkable sword techniques will be unveiled. Subsequently, Xiao Wuji infused his lifespan to enhance both the Dragon Elephant Diamond Technique and the Agile Directions. These two martial arts are not any less intricate than the Sacred Spirit Sword Technique. The Dragon Elephant Diamond Technique is the supreme body refinement method of the Northern Liang Dragon Elephant sect, requiring decades, if not centuries, of arduous cultivation to achieve any significant progress. According to records from the Six Doors, a monk of the Spirit Sea realm from the Dragon Elephant sect spent 500 years in seclusion within the Northern Liang Snow Mountain before mastering the 13th level of the Dragon Elephant Diamond Technique. Upon emerging from his retreat, every cell in the monk's body was imbued with the divine power of the Dragon Elephant, capable of shattering mountains with a single punch. Xiao Wuji expended 33 years of lifespan merely to elevate the Dragon Elephant Diamond Technique to its first layer. Furthermore, as one progresses further in this technique, the pace of cultivation slows significantly, necessitating the consumption of vast amounts of lifespan. After elevating the Dragon Elephant Diamond Technique to the third layer, Xiao Wuji halted, his eyelids twitching at the swiftly depleting lifespan recorded in the longevity scripture. The Dragon Elephant Diamond Technique was indeed exorbitantly life-consuming. Unfazed, he directed his remaining lifespan towards enhancing the Agile 8 Directions. This lightness technique was created by the thief saint Bai Yifei, who utilized its principles to move unseen and unheard, even daring to infiltrate the imperial palace. The efficacy of this technique is thus evident. Although the Agile 8 Directions is a lightness skill, its cultivation difficulty is not any less than that of the Sacred Spirit Sword Technique. Infused 23 years of lifespan, the Agile 8 Directions achieved a minor breakthrough, becoming elusive. Infused 37 years of lifespan, the Agile 8 Directions attained a major breakthrough, becoming an ethereal wanderer of the 8 Directions. In the next moment, the cultivation experience of the Agile 8 Directions melded seamlessly into Xiao Wuji's being. In an instant, he sensed his speed had doubled, emboldened to traverse even the most perilous of places. Current lifespan, 199 years. After elevating the Sacred Spirit Sword Technique, the Dragon Elephant Diamond Technique, and the Agile 8 Directions, Xiao Wuji's lifespan in the longevity scripture was reduced to 199 years. He refrained from further enhancing his martial prowess and, upon leaving the government office, ventured to the marketplace, acquiring a swift steed and a forged iron longsword. Once adequately prepared, Xiao Wuji disguised himself as a wandering swordsman, mounted on his swift horse. With the longsword secured on his back, he galloped towards the direction of the Luo family manor. A day and a night later, a manor appeared before him. Luo family manor resembled a small town, bustling with masters wielding swords entering and exiting. As Xiao Wuji stepped into the manor, he was intercepted at the entrance. "Halt! State your name." A group of burly men armed with knives, spears, and clubs blocked his way, sizing him up. "Heartless sword, Jing Wuming." Xiao Wuji's countenance was as frigid as ancient ice, exuding an aura of icy indifference. "What heartless sword? I have not heard of it," scoffed the foremost towering figure. "There are many who masquerade as swordsmen to feast and revel at Luo family manor. Not every Tom, Dick, or Harry is deemed worthy to participate in the sword testing tournament." As his words fell, a glimmer of cold, blade-like light flickered ominously. The blades and weapons wielded by the burly men shattered simultaneously, their edges smooth and even. Witnessing this, the leader of the group inhaled sharply, astonished by the swiftness of the swordplay. He had not even perceived how this Ji Wu Ming had struck. Had that sword not met their weapons but rather their flesh, they would have surely met their demise. In an instant, the people of the Luo family estate were drenched in sweat. "Young Master Ji, please come in." Chapter 27. A Sword to the Throat, the Heartless Swordsman. In Changlu County, at the Luo family estate, the renowned swordsman Xiao Wuji, disguised as the heartless swordsman Ji Wu Ming, entered the manor in search of Jiangqing Zhu's whereabouts. The Luo family estate was comparable in size to a small town, housing thousands of families, all belonging to the Luo clan. Legend has it that a millennium ago, the patriarch Luo Chunxiu wielded the breathtakingly powerful sword, sweeping the world, and assisted the founding emperor of the Daijing dynasty in establishing a vast empire. He was a celebrated hero of the Daijing dynasty. Subsequently, the emperor collected the weapons of the realm, forging 10 divine armaments, one of which, the Luo Shin sword, was bestowed upon the Luo family. Yet, after millennia, the Luo clan had fallen into decline, their former glory long extinguished. Even the legendary sword of Luo Chunxiu had been lost to time. It is said that the ancestral patriarch left behind a monument inscribed with the secrets of the breathtaking sword, yet, for years, no one in the Luo family has been able to decipher its profound mysteries. Consequently, the Luo family extended invitations to renowned swordsmen across the land for a sword testing tournament, hoping to gain insights and rekindle the legacy of the breathtaking sword. During this period, many famous swordsmen congregated at the Luo estate, drawn by the allure of the breathtaking sword. However, access to the sword monument was not granted to just anyone. Only those who triumphed in the tournament could aspire to comprehend its wisdom. Wherever there are people, there exists a world of martial arts. As the number of participants in the sword testing tournament swelled, so too did the tensions and conflicts. Many sword factions harbored long-standing grievances, some even bearing deep-seated animosities. When disciples of rival factions encountered each other, bloodshed ensued. This inevitably led to large-scale violent confrontations. Even as Xiao Wuji walked the streets, he could sense the faint scent of blood lingering in the air, with dark crimson stains of coagulated blood visible along the roadside. After searching the Luo estate, Xiao Wuji could not locate Jiang Qingzhu, unaware of where the female constable had hidden herself. However, the fact that she had managed to send him a letter indicated that she was, for the time being, safe. Xiao Wuji decided to take shelter at an inn. Emerging from the establishment, the night had fully descended. At that moment, a figure flitted past like a specter in the darkness, the air heavy with the faint scent of blood. As Xiao Wuji gazed up, he beheld a woman clad in white, standing before him. A celestial being? A specter? The woman possessed a striking beauty, her features exquisitely delicate, her figure graceful and alluring, with long black hair cascading to her waist. Yet her complexion was as pale as parchment. She floated towards him, seemingly weightless. Xiao Wuji soon realized that the woman was not a ghost, but rather a master of exceptional agility. A woman clad in white floated gracefully before Xiao Wuji, only to suddenly plummet to the ground with a resounding thud, landing awkwardly with her backside facing the sky. Xiao Wuji, momentarily taken aback by the sight of the white-clad woman sprawled on the ground, pondered whether this was an act of deception. Was this truly a clumsy attempt to feign injury? With a sense of goodwill, he approached her and gently urged, "Miss, please rise. This is not a suitable place for slumber." The woman, upon lifting her gaze to meet Xiao Wuji's countenance, felt a flicker of recognition in her autumn-like eyes. "Leave quickly. Do not concern yourself with me," she suddenly implored. However, as soon as her words fell, her expression shifted dramatically. Behind her, four shadowy figures abruptly emerged, smirking malevolently as they pursued her. "Xuelinger, there is no escape for you. Hand over the Lianqing sword technique, and we shall grant you a swift end," one of them declared. "The entire Ping'an escort agency has perished. Your continued existence holds no significance. You might as well join them in death. A family should remain whole." Xiao Wuji's keen eyes swiftly discerned the identities of the four pursuers. Leading them was a tall, middle-aged man adorned with a green scarf, marked by a conspicuous black mole from which sprouted a solitary black hair. All four were similarly attired in green robes and scarves, wielding glimmering azure swords. Xuelinger clenched her teeth in determination, struggling to rise. "I shall hold them off. You must flee," she insisted, positioning herself protectively in front of Xiao Wuji. "Miss, it seems we are not acquainted," Xiao Wuji remarked. "I am Xuelinger, the eldest daughter of Xue Jing from the Ping'an escort agency," she introduced herself. It was evident that these four were pursuing Xuelinger with the intent of seizing the Lianqing sword technique she possessed. "Huh, none of you shall leave today." The middle-aged man cackled ominously, his eyes gleaming with malice as the four swordsmen encircled Xuelinger, effectively sealing her escape routes. "Be cautious. They are outer disciples of the Qingqing sect, known as the Four Talents of Qingqing," Xuelinger warned gravely. "The Qingqing sect?" At the mention of this name, Xiao Wuji's expression turned icy. He had not anticipated encountering members of the Qingqing sect in this place. It was indeed a case of fated adversaries crossing paths. While it was likely that these outer disciples were unaware of Xiao Wuji's identity, he had no qualms about extinguishing their lifespans. All members of the Qingqing sect must perish. Moreover, the Four Talents of Qingqing had no intentions of sparing them either. The Qingqing sect had annihilated the Ping'an escort agency and slaughtered the entire Shui family, save for the eldest daughter, Shuelinger. Thus, they dispatched the 4 talents to hunt her down, aiming to eradicate any trace of their culpability. First, eliminate that man, and then capture Shuelinger. We shall indulge ourselves. One of the 4 talents, Ho Ping, sneered. He turned his gaze toward the handsome young man beside Shuelinger, adding, "You should consider yourself unfortunate for wandering out at such an hour. Attack." With a swift gesture from Ho Ping, the disciples of the Qixia sect launched their assault. The sound of slicing wind filled the air as a long sword lunged towards Xiao Wuji with the swiftness of lightning. The Qixia sword technique. At the very moment the disciples of the Qixia sect initiated their attack, a brilliant flash of sword light illuminated the eyes of all present. Panic and terror flickered across the faces of the Qixia disciples, just as Xiao Wuji's sword light flashed like thunder. In the next instant, their bodies froze in place, maintaining their stance as if petrified, utterly motionless. "You are already dead," Xiao Wuji declared, and simultaneously, 3 Qixia disciples collapsed to the ground. A slender sword mark appeared on their throats, one strike to seal their fate. The speed of Xiao Wuji's sword was so astonishing that the Qixia disciples could not fathom how he had executed his strike. By the time they processed what had happened, they had already drawn their last breath. Shuelinger, who had been engulfed in despair, stood frozen, her expression one of disbelief. The young man before her, handsome and cold-eyed, turned out to be an unparalleled swordsman. At that moment, upon witnessing the lifeless bodies of the Qixia disciples, Ho Ping was paralyzed with terror. He had never anticipated that a seemingly insignificant encounter would reveal such a formidable opponent. With a single sword strike, this young swordsman had severed the throats of 3 disciples of the Qixia sect. This young master undoubtedly possessed strength rivaling that of senior brother Yu. Chapter 28. The Lianqing Sword Technique. How could I have misjudged? Ho Ping, a disciple of the Qixia sect, was drenched in sweat. As the foremost among the 4 talents of Qixia, his strength exceeded that of his 3 junior brothers, yet it was limited. He could not match Xiao Wuji's ability to instantly eliminate 3 postnatal 6th-level disciples with a single strike. Thus, it would only take 1 blow for the opponent to kill him as well. Realizing this, Ho Ping trembled even more violently. He could not comprehend how such a master could casually appear in this inconspicuous location. It felt as though he had stepped into a nightmare today. "Who on earth are you?" Ho Ping fixated his gaze on Xiao Wuji, as if he were locked in a death stare with the Grim Reaper, the aura of death nearly suffocating him. The ruthless sword, Jing Wuming. A cold voice resonated. A terrifying killing intent enveloped the space, causing Ho Ping's hair to stand on end. The arrogance he had just displayed evaporated, replaced by sheer fear. It was the first time he had encountered someone who would treat disciples of the Qixia sect as mere targets. Every word he wished to say coalesced into a single plea: misunderstanding. In that instant, Ho Ping took a step back and turned to flee. Yet, as he pivoted, Xiao Wuji's figure suddenly appeared before him. What kind of movement technique is this? In a flash, Xiao Wuji drew his sword and struck in one seamless motion. In that moment, Ho Ping's pupils dilated as he beheld a breathtaking sword light. Xiao Wuji's speed was unprecedented, as elusive as the horns of an antelope. How could one defend against such prowess? Ho Ping could not even discern the sword technique, rendering him incapable of defense. He could only close his eyes and await his demise. The sword light flashed like a bolt of lightning. A slender sword mark emerged on Ho Ping's neck. One strike to seal the throat. The 4 disciples of the Qixia sect met their end with unblinking eyes. Xiao Wuji sheathed his sword, his expression as tranquil as a gentle breeze, as if he had merely dispatched a few wild dogs. After vanquishing the 6th-layer martial artist, Ho Ping, from the Qixia sect, he had absorbed 50 years of life essence from him. Although Xiao Wuji had extracted several decades of vitality from the disciples of the Qixia sect, he found no remarkable martial arts techniques among them. Perhaps their skills were so inadequate that nothing of value could be drawn forth. Xiao Wuji paid little mind to it. The Qixia sword technique was of such low caliber that it was merely a mediocre practice for ordinary outer disciples, unworthy of his attention. The 4 talents of Qixia, had they perished? Shuelinger snapped back to reality from her shock. She could hardly believe that the Qixia disciples, who had relentlessly pursued her, had fallen to Jing Wuming's sword in the blink of an eye. The young woman, Shuelinger, expressed her gratitude, bowing deeply to Xiao Wuji. Xiao Wuji waved his hand dismissively. "I am no hero, I am a killer." The persona of Jing Wuming was that of a cold-hearted assassin, for the right price. He would eliminate anyone. A killer? Shuelinger's heart raced. It was no wonder that Jing Wuming exuded such a chilling aura. The juxtaposition of a distressed maiden and a merciless assassin was undeniably thrilling. After a moment's hesitation, Shueling seemed to arrive at a decision. Her teeth clenched as she spoke. "Jing Xiaoxia, I wish to enlist your help to eliminate someone." Upon hearing the prospect of business, Xiao Wuji turned his attention to her. Who do you wish to kill? The outer disciple of the Qingqing sect, Yu Qingxiong. At the mere mention of Yu Qingxiong's name, a profound hatred flickered in Xue Linger's eyes. The entire family of 17 from the Pingan Escort Bureau had been slaughtered by Yu Qingxiong. To cover his tracks, he had set fire to the Escort Bureau, leaving only Xue Linger, who had been absent at the time, to survive. Later, upon discovering that she was still alive, Yu Qingxiong had dispatched the 4 talents of Qingqiang to hunt her down. Though Xue Linger had achieved the 7th layer of martial cultivation, she was no match for Yu Qingxiong. At just 18 years of age, she faced an adversary who was already 36, a decade her senior. Under the relentless pursuit of the Qingqing sect, she could only flee while diligently training in the Xue family's Lianqing sword technique, hoping to one day exact her revenge. It was then that she encountered the ruthless sword, Jing Wuming. As an assassin, he could help her eliminate her foe for a price. However, the disciples of the Qingqing sect were not easily dispatched. Any attempt to strike would provoke a brutal retaliation from them. Furthermore, she had heard whispers that a true disciple from the Qingqing sect had entered the palace as a consort, tied to the imperial family of dying. Xiao Wuji spoke coldly. Upon hearing this, Xue Linger clenched her fists and bowed her head. I understand. I shall not impose upon you, Jing Xiaoxia. This vengeance is mine to bear. Yet, for someone of Xue Linger's capabilities to seek revenge against Yu Qingxiong was akin to courting death. She had steeled herself for the inevitable. You misunderstand. What I mean is, the fee must be increased. Xue Linger. Jing Xiaoxia. I have no silver on me, Xue Linger said, flustered. Xiao Wuji glanced at her. You wish to benefit at no cost? Huh. Xue Linger was momentarily taken aback, then quickly replied. I can offer my family's Lianqing sword technique in exchange. The Qingqing sect annihilated the Pingan Escort Bureau entirely to obtain the coveted Lianqing sword technique. It is rumored that this technique evolved from the fragments of an unparalleled divine skill. Hearing Xue Linger speak of it, Xiao Wujing's interest was piqued. Very well. But I must first test the Lianqing sword technique. The sword manual for the Lianqing sword technique has been burned. I am the only one in the world who possesses this swordplay, Xue Linger replied. I can impart the Lianqing sword technique to you. Should Xiao Wujing learn it, and then abscond, Xue Linger would be powerless to stop him. For some inexplicable reason, she felt a strange inclination to trust him, perhaps because he did not appear to be a villain. Xue Linger was still too young, after all. Scoundrels do not wear the label of their nature on their faces. It's a deal. Xiao Wujing accepted the arrangement. Exchanging the lives of the Qingqing sect disciples for the Lianqing sword technique was indeed a worthwhile bargain. Moreover, by slaying a disciple, he could also gain longevity. It was a resounding triumph. Without further ado, let us practice the sword, Xiao Wujing urged. All right. Xue Linger was momentarily taken aback, then followed Xiao Wujing to a secluded bamboo grove. She began to teach him the Lianqing sword technique. The technique comprises 72 forms, each exhibiting 3 variations. I have practiced for 10 years to master the Lianqing sword technique, and even then, I have merely scratched the surface. I will demonstrate it for you, young Sir Jing. Do pay close attention. Bathed in the cool moonlight, Xue Linger, clad in flowing white, danced with her sword amidst the bamboo. Her movements were as graceful as a startled swan and as fluid as a wandering dragon. Ethereal like clouds veiling the moon, she floated like drifting snow in the wind. Seated in a nearby pavilion, Xiao Wujing observed Xue Linger's swordplay. After half an hour, having completed a set of the Lianqing sword technique, Xue Linger was drenched in fragrant sweat, her charming face tinged with a rosy hue, her breath delicate like orchids. Her chest rose and fell rhythmically. At that moment, Xiao Wujing opened the longevity scripture in his mind, revealing a new martial art. Lianqing sword technique, not yet mastered. With the sword trial conference commencing tomorrow, and Yu Qingxiong also participating, time was of the essence for Xiao Wujing. System, let me go all in. Without hesitation, Xiao Wujing infused all the longevity gained from the Qingqing sect disciples into the Lianqing sword technique. Chapter 29, Xue Linger's Astonishment. Infused 33 years of longevity, through diligent practice. You have made a breakthrough into the minor achievement realm of the Lianqing sword technique, slightly enhancing your swordsmanship aptitude. Though the Xue family's Lianqing sword technique appeared unremarkable, it concealed profound secrets. Grasping the intricacies of the Lianqing sword technique was not as simple as one might imagine. Fortunately, the 4 Qingqing sect disciples had just bestowed upon Xiao Wujing a total of 193 years of longevity. With such longevity infused, even a pig could comprehend its essence. Infused with 61 years of life essence, you entered a state of profound enlightenment while contemplating the Lianqing sword technique, resulting in an elevation of your swordsmanship aptitude. You grasped a fragment of the true essence of the sword technique, advancing the Lianqing sword technique to a consummate level. With the infusion of 99 years of life essence, you thoroughly comprehended the Lianqing sword technique, achieving a state of perfection, thereby breaking through the barriers of your swordsmanship aptitude. From the depths of the Lianqing sword technique, you discerned a divine skill, the Lotus Treasure, Mirror Divine Art, incomplete. Xiao Wuji suddenly opened his eyes, and a torrent of experiences and insights regarding the Lianqing sword technique surged into his being, merging completely with him. It was as though he had genuinely contemplated the path of the sword for 193 years. An extraordinarily fierce sword aura erupted from his body. Simultaneously, Xiao Wuji's martial realm advanced once more, shattering the bottleneck of the 7th level of postnatal cultivation. His entire being radiated vitality, akin to a mighty dragon, as he transformed completely, appearing as if reborn. The rapid progression of his training was astonishing, as he savored the surge of newfound power. Xiao Wuji exhaled a breath of white mist. Not long ago, he was merely an inconspicuous constable in the precinct, having toiled for 2.5 years to barely attain the 1st level of postnatal cultivation. He had even been poisoned and met his demise due to offending the young master of the Qixia sect. However, circumstances had dramatically changed through his relentless efforts. Xiao Wuji had not only become a master of the 7th level of postnatal cultivation, but had also perfected several martial arts techniques. The path to becoming a congenital master was now within reach, a prospect he had once deemed unimaginable. What surprised Xiao Wuji was that upon fully comprehending the intricacies of the Lianqing sword technique, he had inadvertently gleaned a divine skill, the Lotus Treasure, Mirror Divine Art. This was likely the supreme divine skill spoken of by Xueling. The Lianqing sword technique had evolved from the fragmented manuscripts of the Lotus Treasure, Mirror Divine Art. If the Qixia sect were to discover that Xiao Wuji had derived the Lotus Treasure, Mirror Divine Art from the Lianqing sword technique, it would be intriguing to witness their reaction. The Qixia sect had annihilated the entire Shui family of the Pinyin Escort Bureau for the sake of the Lotus Treasure, Mirror Divine Art, only to ultimately create a path for Xiao Wuji. Xiao Wuji did not immediately embark on cultivating the Lotus Treasure, Mirror Divine Art, for his lifespan was limited. What he had gleaned was merely a fragment of the divine art, and he was uncertain how many years of life essence he would need to invest to fully master it. Thus, he decided to defer its practice, waiting until he could extract several hundred years of life essence from a disciple of the Qixia sect before proceeding. At that moment, Xueling took note of the commotion surrounding Xiao Wuji. Her beautiful eyes sparkled with intrigue. Had he broken through? To Xueling's astonishment, Xiao Wuji had merely glanced at her swordplay and achieved such a fluid breakthrough. It was truly incredible. However, this development heightened the prospects of avenging the Qixia sect. Young hero Jing, have you memorized it all? Would you like me to demonstrate the Lianqing sword technique once more? Xueling inquired. Xiao Wuji waved his hand dismissively. No need. I have already mastered it. Xueling could not help but widen her eyes in disbelief. Huh, did I hear you correctly? You learned it after just one glance? Is that true? I find it hard to believe. Seeing her incredulity, Xiao Wuji unsheathed his sword and executed a forward slash with precision. A magnificent surge of sword energy erupted instantaneously, resembling an imposing city, exuding a formidable aura. Where the sword energy traversed, it shattered all that stood in its path. Have you truly mastered the Lianqing sword technique? Xueling gasped in astonishment. Her eyes widened in disbelief. Upon regaining her composure, she beheld the bamboo grove before Xiao Wuji, now in disarray. Bamboo trunks, as thick as a bowl, lay severed by the sword energy, leaving vast spaces in what was once a lush forest. Witnessing this scene, Xueling felt as though she were ensnared in a dream. Utterly astounded, it is worth noting that after a decade of arduous practice, she had only just grasped the fundamentals of the Lianqing sword technique, integrating its myriad forms. Yet Xiao Wuji, after merely observing her practice once, had comprehended the technique's intricacies, effortlessly unleashing such formidable sword energy. Xueling was immediately struck by a profound sense of defeat, her expression vacuous and her eyes devoid of focus, as if she had been utterly shattered. How on earth did you accomplish this? She asked, her voice tinged with bewilderment. Is it possible that I am, in fact, a once-in-a-millennium swordsmanship prodigy? Xiao Wuji replied with nonchalance as he sheathed his sword. A large question mark appeared above Xueling's small head. Could it be that he is truly a genius? No. Even the term genius fails to encapsulate Xiao Wuji's extraordinary talent. He must be a marvel of nature. The hour grows late. Let us return and rest. Tomorrow, we shall partake in the sword trial tournament, and it is prudent to retire early. Xueling's cheeks flushed as she followed Xiao Wuji into the inn, her demeanor dazed. The following day, Xueling awoke in her guest room, her gaze fixed vacantly upon the unfamiliar ceiling. since the annihilation of the Ping'an escort agency. She had not slept so soundly in a long while. However, in the next instant, she jolted awake. There was no sign of Jing Wuming in the room. Had she encountered a scoundrel? Her mother had once warned her to distrust handsome men, and it seemed the warning held true. As Xue Linger was lost in her thoughts, Xiao Wuji entered, announcing, "The sword trial tournament is about to commence. Do you not wish to witness the demise of the Qingqing sect firsthand?" At his words, Xue Linger immediately shook off her drowsiness. She clung to life with the hope of one day avenging herself against the Qingqing sect. "You must be cautious. Yu Qiongxiong is a formidable master at the 9th level of the postnatal realm, perilously close to the innate stage," she warned Xiao Wuji. "The 9th level of the postnatal realm? He must possess a considerable lifespan, then." Xiao Wuji eagerly anticipated extracting more lifespan from the disciples of the Qingqing sect. How could he hope for immortality and boundless longevity without taking lives to harvest their vitality? After departing the inn, the two arrived at the site of the sword trial tournament. The arena was alive with the fervent voices of the crowd, and swordsmen could be seen wandering about, swords slung over their backs. At that moment, Xiao Wuji noticed two factions locked in confrontation, one of which was the Qingqing sect. "My friend, what transpired here?" Xiao Wuji casually selected a bystander from the throng, inquiring. "Yu Qiongxiong of the Qingqing sect has slain by Ruahai, the leader of the Iron Sword sect. And now the disciples of the Iron Sword sect seek vengeance against him. This should prove entertaining," the onlooker replied, clearly excited. They were eager to witness a beheading, indifferent to whose head was to be severed. Xiao Wuji observed a burly figure amidst the crowd, a hefty man adorned with a disdainful smile, none other than Yu Qingxiong, the formidable outer disciple of the Qingqing sect. Towering and robust, he resembled a mighty black bear, exuding an aura of ferocity. "Do not accuse me of denying you opportunities. Anyone seeking vengeance against me, step forth to the stage and engage in a duel. I shall stand here, allowing you to strike at will. For every blow you land upon me, I shall return in kind, and we shall see who succumbs first." Upon hearing Yu Qingxiong's challenge to the Taijian sect, the atmosphere ignited with fervor. According to the unwritten laws of the martial world, a sword duel unfolds akin to a turn-based game. You strike me once, and I shall retaliate in kind, until one is vanquished. In such encounters, the initial attacker holds a significant advantage, should one land a fatal blow. They evade the consequence of receiving a strike in return. For a martial artist of the postnatal realm, sustaining even a single blow can lead to dire consequences, either death or grievous injury, unless one has mastered formidable body-refining techniques like the iron cloth or golden bell. Nevertheless, even basic body-refining methods cannot withstand the sharpness of blades. Moreover, true swordsmen emphasize elegance and agility, often looking down upon the crude fighters who practice mere body techniques, dismissing the notions of iron cloth and golden bell as beneath them. In essence, swordsmen are characterized by their heightened sensitivity and skill, yet possess low defense and vitality. Akin to fragile assassins, failing to deliver a swift victory often results in their own demise. Yu Qingxiong's challenge to duel with the Taijian sect left its disciples visibly hesitant. "A bunch of cowardly creatures. I stand here, inviting you to strike first. Who dares approach?" His face, laden with flesh, contorted into a menacing grin as he boasted. At that moment, a robust man emerged from the Taijian sect. "Do you truly stand here, inviting me to strike first?" The man inquired, gripping his iron sword tightly. "Indeed. It all hinges on whether you possess the skill to slay me," Yu Qingxiong replied, a sinister smile gracing his lips. After signing their names upon the death warrant, the two ascended the martial stage to commence their duel. Who was this audacious individual, daring to confront Yu Qingxiong? He was Luo Yun, the eminent disciple of the Taijian sect, boasting a formidable cultivation of the 9th level of the postnatal realm. With both combatants at the same level, Luo Yun's initiative in the duel provided him with a significant advantage. His unwieldy sword, devoid of sharpness, might not slay Yu Qingxiong outright, but was capable of inflicting severe injury. Yet the situation was far from simple. The Qingqing sect subtly exuded a momentum that hinted at its ambition to become the foremost sect in the realm. The Taijian sect, opposing the Qingqing sect, was destined for a grim fate. In recent times, the Qingqing sect's conduct had grown increasingly domineering, embodying a philosophy of prosperity for allies and annihilation for adversaries. They had eradicated numerous factions within the martial world, with the Taijian sect and the Ping and Escort Bureau being mere examples. Due to the Qingqing sect's ties to the imperial family, even the Six Doors chose to remain neutral, turning a blind eye to their actions. Rumor had it that even the elite enforcers of the Six Doors had covertly allied themselves with the Qingqing sect. Furthermore, the Qingqing sect was not merely reliant on connections. Its martial prowess was equally commendable. Yu Qingxiong, a mere outer disciple, was already of the 9th level in the postnatal realm, while only those of the innate realm could aspire to become inner disciples. The true disciples were martial masters of the Spirit Sea realm. The duel commenced. Upon the martial stage, Luo Yun let out a thunderous roar as he leaped into the air. With both hands raised, he brought his heavy sword crashing down upon Yu Qingxiong's formidable physique. However, in that very moment, Luo Yun's expression shifted dramatically. A surge of formidable energy erupted from Yu Qingxiong, effectively thwarting Luo Yun's strike. The legendary Tian Wuji. A gasp of astonishment escaped the lips of the Iron Sword sect disciples. To their disbelief, Yu Qingxiong had indeed mastered the Tian Wuji. Luo Yun's sword could not even pierce through his protective aura, leaving everyone utterly astonished. To think he lacked the strength to inflict harm, yet claimed to be a master of the Iron Sword sect? Yu Qingxiong cackled wickedly as he unsheathed his sword. Now it's my turn, prepare to face my blade. With tremendous force, he swung his sword down upon Luo Yun. A torrent of scalding blood erupted forth. Luo Yun barely managed to emit a piercing, anguished cry before he was struck down by Yu Qingxiong's blade. Blood dripped incessantly from the wound, pooling into a crimson puddle. Brother Luo. As the disciples of the Iron Sword sect rushed forward, they found Luo Yun had already breathed his last. With a single strike, Yu Qingxiong had slain Luo Yun on the spot. Is there anyone else? Yu Qingxiong stood imposingly upon the martial stage, exuding a fierce aura. The disciples of the Iron Sword sect retreated in unison, filled with a mixture of fury and trepidation. Even Luo Yun could not breach his Tian Wuji, let alone the ordinary disciples. Among the crowd, Shui Ling Er's complexion turned pale. She had intended to master the Lianqing sword technique and seek revenge against Yu Qingxiong. But it now seemed her sword, too, would be unable to penetrate the Tian Wuji. The notion of mutual destruction was but a fanciful dream. The consequences of being captured by the Qingqing sect were too grim for her to fathom. Yu Qingxiong surveyed the crowd, and the onlookers averted their gazes, fearful of attracting unwarranted misfortune. Just when everyone presumed no one would dare to challenge him, a tall, handsome young swordsman stepped forward, signing his name on the death warrant. Jing Wuming. Witnessing this scene, all were left bewildered. Who was this Jing Wuming, and why would he voluntarily seek death? Jing Wuming? Who has ever heard of this name? All I know is that he calls himself the Heartless Sword. Is there truly such a figure in the martial world? Perhaps he is merely an obscure individual, unheard of and unremarkable. How audacious of Jing Wuming to ascend the platform and duel against a disciple of the Qingqing sect. Did he not fear death? If even the formidable Luo Yun of the 9th layer could not breach his aura, what courage did this Jing Wuming possess? The youth, oblivious to the vastness of the world, likely believed that mastering a few sword techniques rendered him invincible. At that moment, Xiao Wuji positioned himself before Yu Qingxiong. Yu Qingxiong appraised him with a disparaging glance and remarked, I didn't expect someone to come forward seeking death. Boy, I'll let you strike first. Stand here and swing your sword at will. If you manage to slay me, I shall concede your prowess. Xiao Wuji's gaze was frigid, akin to that of an emotionless assassin. In an instant, his figure vanished. As he reappeared, he was already before Yu Qingxiong, and without hesitation, he unleashed a strike. The sword art of Lianqing? Yu Qingxiong's pupils contracted sharply, instantly drenched in cold sweat. He seemed unprepared for the fact that Jing Wuming wielded the Lianqing sword art. Not long ago, the Qingqing sect had annihilated the entirety of the Pinyin escort agency, making them all too familiar with this sword technique. In a moment of clarity, he realized that Jing Wuming was avenging the people of the Pinyin escort agency. Yet, he could not fathom why Jing Wuming's Lianqing sword art surpassed that of Shui Jing from Lianqing. It perplexed him. Thus, it became evident that he too was doomed. Yu Qingxiong's laughter abruptly ceased, his eyes widening as he sensed a torrent of sword energy surging towards him, as if it could obliterate all in its path. With a furious roar, he unleashed his heavenly martial vital energy, enveloping his vital points in a protective barrier. However, in the next moment, with a resounding crash, his heavenly martial vital energy was shattered by Xiao Wuji's sword strike. A cold, piercing beam of sword light reflected in Yu Qingxiong's eyes. The long sword in Xiao Wuji's hand glided across his neck with the ease of a hot knife slicing through butter. When the Qingqing sect disciples regained their senses, they were met with the horrifying sight of a crimson line appearing on Yu Qingxiong's neck. Blood gushed forth like a fountain, unabated and unrestrained. You are already dead, Xiao Wuji declared, and with that, Yu Qingxiong's massive form collapsed to the ground. Having slain a warrior of the innate 9th level, 119 years of their remaining lifespan has been acquired. Obtained heavenly martial vital energy, not yet mastered.